Just packed up a real money load and it's coming your way.
Inside man on shipping heist crew risks everything by openly talking about the theft at his workplace. Honking truck driver is oblivious to obvious heist. Also, with two hands on the wheel, he's not honking anything. Truck just happens to have clearance to accommodate a car driving underneath it. When we first meet the Torettos, it's at their family restaurant with the hot sister working the counter. But then we never see this restaurant again, and no one in the entire Toretto clan has to work there for the rest of the movie. Synchronized driving. Also, no one in LA is driving around today, just these assholes. Okay, so according to Mia, Brian has been coming to this restaurant every day for 3 weeks, but this dickhead Vince is just now getting pissed off about it? Cliché villain is cliché. The song, Watch Your Back.
Just can't climb in the ring with all the eight because you think you box.
He knows I can box.
Yeah, he knows that you can hit him in the face, but we're talking about racing, right?
What the hell's going on?
The only person who is inconvenienced by all this is a pizza delivery guy, and I suspect only because the movie had a tie-in with Pizza Hut. Do you really need to lay down a chalk starting line right next to the already there permanent painted white line? Isn't this like playing Rock Band before you go out to play a live show?
I got a 187 in Glendale. Cops are all over it, man. We're good to...
Murder. It's fantastic. Also, one murder is enough to tie up all of LAPD's forces so that the illegal and super loud street race can take place. Wait, his car's still running? There was white smoke coming from under the hood, which I usually take as a bad sign. I mean, look at this. You're telling me this car can even run when it does this?
We have reported street racing along Hawthorne.
Now wait just a damn minute. Earlier during the race, we saw them driving past 120th Street. And the police dispatcher says they're on Hawthorne, which puts them roughly here. Like 3 blocks from LAX. There's no way in hell these streets would be this deserted, or that it would take anywhere near this long for the racing to be reported to the cops.
Toretto, stop right there.
The cops recognize Toretto, but he runs anyway, which turns out to be a good strategy since the cops never show up at his house later to question him about the street race in which he was placed at the scene. Okay, so Toretto's running down this alley and the cop had already turned his car around, but apparently the cop can't close the distance before Brian does, way down at the end of the street here. Did anything really happen to Brian's car? He can still get into a high-speed chase with this thing? This station wagon honks its horn at Brian's car, but the station wagon has a red light, which makes it all the more stupid when the station wagon guy honks at a cop and runs into his car. How the hell did the Asian street gang know that Toretto would be in this otherwise random green car driving down a lonely stretch of road? These pictures.
You can have any brew you want, as long as it's a Corona.
Roll credits. Oh, wait, this is a movie, not a beer commercial.
Thanks, man.
That's Vinci, so enjoy it.
Villain backwash.
Hey, bro, you got a bathroom?
You're upstairs, first door on the right.
2-story house has no bathroom on the first floor.
Muse, will you take these things off?
These cops make Brian wear the handcuffs all the way back to police headquarters. So this guy owns a restaurant, a house, a professional auto garage, and wins constantly at street racing. What the f*** does he have to be stealing shit for again? Who's manning the Toretto Deli restaurant? Anyone? Makes for a cool shot, but no one who is truly putting a car together would buy all the parts at once, open them from their packaging, and lay them out on the ground like this. It's gonna take more than an afternoon to use all these parts.
You know, I think we should go out sometime.
No, I don't date my brother's friends.
But I do make myself look good for them if they happen to show up to a party and I wasn't expecting them.
Cha-cha-cha.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, you can take me there.
Mia says she's tired of all the fighting, but then teases Vince and asks Brian out right in front of him.
Hey, you said you need 3 of all this stuff?
Movie piles an orgy of evidence against the Hispanic street racers by having Hector order parts for the exact number of oddly specific Honda Civics implicated in the truck heists. Oh, come on. You're an undercover cop, man. Haven't you ever heard of parking a few blocks away or using a different car when doing your undercover? Dude, you are right across the street from these fools. Don't you think waving a flashlight around in their garage is a good way to get caught?
He mows like a cop.
So Toretto somehow knew Brian was going to do something coppish? So he agreed to let the hothead tail him even though he's been pissed at the hothead for hating Brian all movie?
He's a cop.
I know we need to create some dramatic tension, but all Brian did was break into a garage. How on earth did hothead guy jump to the conclusion that he's a cop? Do criminals never break and enter? Is that something only cops do? Johnny Trans guy spotted Toretto in Brian's green car earlier just because he was driving in their neighborhood, but now he just drives one of his own cars into that same neighborhood without any issue. Dom and crew access the Asian garage through some bullshit hatch on the roof. Also, the Asian garage full of street racing cars has an easily accessible roof.
There's no engines.
What are they planning on racing with? Hopes and dreams?
Yep, hopes and dreams. They couldn't possibly be putting new engines in later, or as we find out in a second, someone stole them. Movie piles an orgy of evidence against the Asian street racers by having a stash of the exact number of oddly specific Panasonic DVD players stolen in the truck heists in their garage.
What, Jess?
Dumb. We got a wolf pack.
Dude, that took you forever to spit out. Were you worried the guys on the motorcycle might hear you? They didn't see him?
We got no windows, do we?
Yes, thieving is bad, but your garage is not the most fortified place in the world, and even after someone stole your engines, you didn't even crack down on security.
A garage full of DVD players and generally psychotic behavior. And tell me why we shouldn't move on Johnny Tran right now and see...
Can the FBI arrest someone based on the illegal break-in of an undercover cop? I mean, why not make everyone an undercover cop if you can just break into any place and find evidence?
I watched my dad burn to death.
Main character had a dad who died doing the same cliche. Random unexplained shot of a car graveyard.
He's made his decision. We're gonna move on Johnny Tran and his guys at 1700 hours.
Why so long? That's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Would they really take the unnecessary risk of letting their only undercover officer in the street racing world participate in the police raid of a street racing team? So these FBI guys are gonna crack down on an Asian gang, but why are we seeing Dom and Letty's sex scene during it? Does their sex have anything to do with this sting operation?
The DVD players were purchased legally.
So naturally they would store them in the garage of their race cars because that's what you would do when you're a gun-toting Asian street gang. You buy electronics in bulk and store them for safekeeping.
I know there's no way in hell that you paid for all that that's under the hood of those cars by doing tune-ups and selling groceries.
Well, yeah, he won a load of money in those illegal drag races. You were there.
What's up, man? Welcome to Race Wars.
And if you can read lips, welcome to Race Wars again. So on the street race to open the movie, they used red chalk to mark the starting line, but at the uber big deal Race Wars, they set out jugs of antifreeze to mark the center line of the racetrack? Really?
See ya!
Did this guy seriously come to Race Wars without NOS in his car? What a f***ing idiot. This event is too large and too illegal to ever actually be pulled off without cops descending to arrest everyone. Why does the post-race pathway marked with metal trash cans lead racers directly to Toretto's tent?
No, don't give me that crap. We're doing this for you.
There is no way Brian could plainly hear this from this distance inside a motorhome while techno music blasts outside.
Okay, what's the cell number?
B, what's his cell phone number?
Bull. You don't know Dom's cell phone number? Does he only give that out to family or something? I mean, even if he didn't give it to you, wouldn't that be high on the list of things you need to get during an investigation? Yeah, I guess no one ever comes up here to this sewage treatment plant or whatever it is. They definitely wouldn't report the suspicious cars parked outside.
Civics are stashed somewhere outside of Thermal.
So normally when Dom and his crew have to get the cars, they have to make the 2-hour drive from LA to Thermal? How do they catch up with a truck that has a 2-hour head start?
We shouldn't be doing this without Jesse.
And what did Jesse do? You have 3 cars. Someone basically plays passenger the whole time anyway. With this rash of truck robberies happening, why do any truck drivers go down this stretch of road? And with no partners or help? Also, these roads never have any other drivers on them. Look, this is the exact same way they've been jacking trucks the whole movie. Isn't it about time the truck drivers put something in the front seat to prevent this, like a mannequin or a stack of books? Hanging from the front of a semi at 65 miles per hour on the highway? Better take off that helmet.
Son of a bitch!
I know, what a dick, defending his truck and... Dom's car has amazing resilience with a blown-out tire. He's still keeping up with the truck with no problem. Isn't it someone's job to make sure the stuntmen at least somewhat resemble the actors they're taking the place of? Okay, it's 2001, we're in a desert. Sure, cell phones work fine. Wow, Dom, perfect timing. How did you know to take this route? Also, Lance was right on Brian's tail. So how is there enough space for Dom to come roaring in like this? This truck driver sees 2 souped-up cars speeding down the street and says, yep, probably safe to pull out in traffic. Cop lets bad guy go, and the movie treats it like an act of heroism. End credit scene used to tease a sequel stars the one guy who won't be in the next 2 sequels. Also, despite a highly probable warrant for his arrest, Dom makes it into Mexico with no problem.
Unnecessary forcing of the Universal logo onto car wheel is unnecessary. These jackasses are yelling and making all kinds of noise while rushing out, when they'd be safer just being f***ing quiet and going at a normal speed. If Tej really owns a garage and worked on cars, you might expect his outfit to be a little dirtier. But what you don't know is this is his formal jumpsuit. Movie is a dick to people with epilepsy. Even though Suki is one of the 4 racers tonight, she's wearing an insane outfit more conducive to a slow-mo grinding dance montage than a street race. Suki's pit crew consists of 2 people who barely know how to use chamois towels. Sexual assault.
And where's your 4th at?
Can someone remind me why we need 4 drivers for this race? Is it to force awkward character introductions?
You want to race tonight?
Yeah, you know I could use the money.
Okay, so Brian needs money. So why hasn't he been able to get in any street races? Why is he just now being called about this awesome street race? You know why I think he's not already there? The movie wanted to make Brian's entrance more dramatic. Hell, the guy lives in Tej's garage, so it's not like these guys are mere acquaintances. Movie wastes time with what I can only assume is Exhibit's wet dream. Miami, in addition to being a huge city of over 2 million people, is also dead empty everywhere you go, because Miami is boring. No one calls the cops on this loud, invasive group of assholes that illegally blocked off roads in a semi-urban area.
Nobody said nothing about raising the stakes.
Brian comes in at the last minute, suggests raising the stakes, and suddenly everybody has to raise the stakes just because he said so. And while Brian needs money, he can apparently plunk down $3,500 on a goddamn car race.
35 large, huh? Either that or you can go home.
Why do all 4 of them have at least $3,500 on hand? I get they're criminals, but this still seems like an irresponsibly large amount of money to keep on your person.
When you gonna pop my clutch?
Tej will certainly eat his words when Suki grabs the head of his penis and jerks it like a clutch. You know, it might be helpful if we had any idea how this course is mapped out to get more involved with this race. As is, it's just racing, shifting, blurriness. Movie expects me to believe that all these streets are empty and all these stoplights are disabled because a group of people in a pickup truck put up a road closed sign.
Move, bitch!
Suki's car top is down, yet her hair isn't out of control blowing in her face, and she's able to audibly scream expletives at other drivers. This guy just hit the NOS button, but acts surprised when his car starts going faster. Wait, does the NOS take a car into hyperspace?
Hit it, baby. Hit it.
Tej not only knows someone who can make a drawbridge go up in the middle of the night, but also someone who knows how to kill 4 street racers with this move. If Slapjack is only going over 100, then seconds later Brian hits the NOS and is blasting past 160, how is Slapjack not eating Brian's dust? These cars don't nosedive into the pavement, stopping them immediately and killing the drivers instantly. This wreck is brought to you by... I forgot what company it is. Also, wasn't he just going close to 100 miles an hour? How the f*** is he not dead?
So, you know, we can work on that front end of yours.
At this rate, Tej may run out of sexual car puns. Perfect timing! Despite everyone getting pinned in by cops as they try to escape Street Race Central, Brian apparently has some heretofore unknown secret exit out of this place so he can outrun the cops. Lucius Fox is apparently designing weapons for the FBI.
Carter Verone, born in Argentina.
Expositional cop briefing cliche.
And if I don't?
Here's a list of the laws you broke in L.A.
Movie assumes that if it triple X's itself a little bit, we won't notice that Vin Diesel isn't in it.
What would be a better motor for my Skyline, a Gallo 12 or a Gallo 24?
The 24.
I didn't know pizza places made motors.
Why is it in movies that the FBI is somehow this incompetent when it comes to undercover work? Like, they can't find anybody who knows cars in the entirety of the Bureau.
That's your boy in the Monte Carlo?
Agent Bilkins doesn't already know this.
He's crazy as hell.
Sounds like just the kind of liability that the FBI loves to take on. The front of Roman's car smashed to There's no f***ing way he could get the nose of his car under this station wagon enough to flip it. Also, this ridiculous redneck demolition derby doesn't prove he's a good driver in the slightest. It proves he's an idiot for not wearing a helmet.
Blondie here's not a cop anymore?
That's true. No badge.
Roman asks Bilkins this question like he knows that Bilkins is a cop who can corroborate Brian's previous statement. As Roman and Brian fight here, I wonder, why the f*** did he think this was the best guy to get for the job? Sure, he can play a street racer, no problem, but work for the cops? He could have probably asked any number of people to do this job, and it would have been better than this guy. That's like the 4th or 5th good punch Rome has gotten in during this fight, yet Brian's face remains unscathed.
I need you to come to Miami and drive with me. If you do, they'll take off that anklet and they'll clear your entire record.
I did 3 years in jail. I know you better than you think.
This deal legit.
Rome went from dismissing Brian's request because he's a habitual betrayer to being interested in the deal in literally 15 seconds.
I thought you couldn't wander more than 100 yards from your home.
Why you think I'm parked so close to the Derby?
God damn it! Do they really expect me to believe that a judge sentenced a man to house arrest who lives in a mobile home? That's not house arrest, that's just being completely free, because you can drive that fucking thing anywhere. Also, how the f*** would this even work? Those ankle monitors rely on geofencing, which is fixed to a specific location. It's not a magical anklet that can tell you when you walk a certain distance away from a Winnebago. They would have to put a tracking device in his mobile home in order to see how far away he is from it. But unless they arrest the thing for aiding and abetting, that would be extremely unfair to an innocent Winnebago.
I don't know if I should be trusting you, man.
Does Roman have some outstanding warrants the movie forgot to tell us about? We've established these aren't crooked cops, unless you count hiring former criminals whose only marketable skill is driving well to do their undercover work as crooked. So why is he worried? Does he think they're going to arrest him for something he's already served jail time for?
I wouldn't need a fresh start if it wasn't for you.
Have we established that Rome blames Brian for his criminal record? We have? 3 times in the last 5 minutes? Okay, great. Just checking.
I'm not going back to Barstow.
It takes Roman a matter of seconds to overcome any objections he has to going through with this deal. It's almost as if this movie is just manufacturing all this bullshit conflict.
Need Monica Fuentes.
Wearing her standard police issue sexy blouse. Also, Monica either opted to or was forced to ride standing in the back of this truck, which is refrigerated for maximum sexiness.
They've been briefed.
All right, Here's the deal.
Never mind, I'm going to brief you anyway.
Don't even think about taking the convertible.
Because it's less aerodynamic and an open cabin causes lots of drag at high speeds. Wait, is it because he wants it for himself? Movie shoots standard driving down the road like it's a chase scene. If these two are supposed to be badass street racers driving badass fast cars, then explain to me why they just got passed by a Ford Explorer.
Turn right here.
If you're undercover cops posing as street racers, you need to have a prestige level of commitment to the bit and do street racer on the way to the meeting. This is an easy trick if you're not actually driving.
He did the stare and drive on you, didn't he?
Roman and Brian pulled that frequently enough for it to have a name. Movie Pad's runtime with 30 more seconds of car porn.
Hey, where'd you get them cars at the bottom of a cereal box?
Semi-legitimate burn makes me wonder why the FBI opted to go with Japanese sports cars instead of springing for some nice American muscle cars. Carter is the proud owner of a golden easel that he uses to hold the apparently wireless monitor that displays his surveillance system. Also, the number of camera views displayed here suggests that Carter has 12 cameras around his property, but at least 2 of the views displayed are the same. I don't know who Carter is trying to impress here, but he would have been better served by swallowing his pride and just displaying 4 views on the smaller screen. It's good to see that Smash Mouth could make it to the street race meeting on time. Man, the cops in Miami must be up to their ears in cocaine busts to miss all these tricked-out sleds gunning it down I-95. I'm glad they paid all that money to animate this. Otherwise, I'd have no idea the FBI is tracking the whereabouts of a car they own that's being used in an undercover operation.
They're running. What a surprise.
Why the f*** would Markham think they were running? Even if he is shitty enough at his job not to assume the obvious here, Monica would definitely have told him that there would be some kind of a test, and that this is all part of the plan. Roman, Brian, and all the other drivers slow down to the flow of traffic, just so they can have this playful moment, just before they start weaving through traffic again. This semi doesn't stop before this happens.
Crazy-ass white boy!
Tyrese finally earns his paycheck in this movie. Running into this doesn't f*** up Brian's car or Brian.
What do we got?
You're just now checking up on Roman's credentials. Whoever decides to read up on Roman Pierce is going to be confused because it talks about Brian here, and then suddenly switches pronouns to she here and here.
Look in the center. Look in the center.
The package is in the center console instead of in the
glove box,
which is where Carter said it would be.
Cops. What the hell are they doing here?
I mean, right? It's such a free-for-all in Miami that criminals can do outrageous like this and still question why cops are here. Also, yeah, why are the cops here? Yeah, he thinks Roman and Brian are running, but you've got to be f***ing kidding me with this mess. If their cars have GPS trackers and you can find them at any time, then why take the risk of f***ing up an investigation? Why not at least hang back and see what they're up to before going insane? Good thing Verone doesn't check this thing, because what's with April 8th? This guy has 5 speeding tickets, all on April 8th, and 3 in one day in 1992. Twice he got careless driving violations on Valentine's Day in 1982, even though he was born in 1973. That's a 9-year-old carelessly driving. Also, I find it tremendously endearing that one day in 1991, the cops pulled over this man for a seatbelt violation. He must have been totally going the speed limit that day.
What you checking her out for?
I'm not checking her out.
She can't hear this.
Yes, you were.
No, it wasn't.
And now you're still arguing about this bullshit? I mean, yes, he was checking her out. Tyrese was checking her out. I was checking her out. This whole trial is out of order. Attica! Attica! I don't care how rich you are, it's a waste to throw away a perfectly good, barely smoked cigar. As I see Tej barking out stuff through a megaphone at his garage where he's an ace streetcar mechanic, I wonder how he became such an amazing computer hacker in the later movies.
That's how they do it out here, man.
Every day.
No one in law enforcement seems to be upset that Tej is running illegal gambling outside of his business, and that he's clearly using his garage to launder the money he makes from this jet ski racing scheme. I mean, it's pretty clear that only one dude is actually doing any work on cars.
I hit a wall doing like $120 a couple years ago.
But because I'm a member of the Fast and Furious team and didn't have a Wonder Woman movie to do, I didn't die from that.
Both of them are wired up like I never seen before.
What?
How the actual is Roman surprised that the FBI is tracking them? Also, why the do they care that the FBI is tracking them? Wasn't the whole deal for them to work with the FBI to bring down Carter so they could get their records cleaned? If they ripped out the tracking info from their cars, that would mean the deal is off, right? Right?
Yeah, well, they've been on us ever since we left Verone's house.
And instead of losing them much earlier, Brian decided to lead them right to the place where they plan to hide out. Did these federal agents forget the old idiom? Those who meet in mostly glass restaurants should not meet with undercover operatives because passersby can see them meeting with you? I think that's how it goes.
What's this about, man?
It couldn't be about that time I shot at you 20 times, right?
You think she's compromised? You should know. And your old pal O'Connor didn't tell you? He flipped on Bilkins in L.A. Gave his mark his car keys and let him disappear.
So because O'Connor did this in the first movie, he should know if Monica is f***ing the drug lord? Why is Miami able to shut down during impromptu street races? Tej doesn't market modify these cars to use NOS as ludicrous speed. It seems appropriate for some reason.
Good move, kid. Let's see if you got the ball.
Given how fast they're both traveling and how far away they are from each other, I severely doubt that Fonzie would have enough time to even say, "Good move, kid," before Brian crashed into him head-on. Brian successfully gets this guy to swerve off course for a second, but he's still way, way, way behind, and will somehow bullshit his way back to neck and neck with this asshole just because of the NOS. Movie continues to act like hitting the nitrous button and going over 100 miles an hour is the same as the Millennium Falcon making the jump to lightspeed. Carter's Club is a magical fantasy told of in ancient legends that contains more women than men.
It's a Oasis in here, bruh.
That's Oasis.
What is his deal?
He doesn't trust people to carry badges.
Brian says this right in the middle of Carter Verone's club while they're both undercover because he is very interested in getting them all killed.
I'd been a cop about 2 months when Roman was busted in a garage raid.
And I miss the day where they tell you not to talk about being a cop while undercover. Also, movie decides now is the time to explain why Roman was so mad at Brian when they met up earlier in the film. Explaining it then, when it made more sense to do so, would have been too easy.
Earlier. Yeah, actually, I want it.
Wrist touching. We all know what that leads to. Hand-holding, which can get you pregnant.
He's here, man.
Why is this such big news? Didn't Verone invite them here?
He's over there, don't look.
Even though he's clearly staring at you guys right now and notices you're here, so play it cool.
It's all right, let him in.
Why does this even need to be said? Didn't he specifically ask for them to come to his little VIP room?
5 minutes of her time, and she can get anything she wants from him.
Carter is so brilliant. He was able to figure out that attractive women can use their sexuality to manipulate weak men. Who knew?
I got a problem with authority.
I have that same problem. For me, it's cops.
For me, it's firemen. They're all like, get out of the house, it's on fire. And I'm like, I don't have to listen to you, pig. Oh, you know, I just carry around a rat anywhere I go, just in case there's somebody I want to torture at a moment's notice.
Once the bucket gets hot enough, Detective, the rat is gonna want out. The only direction it can go is south.
This overly complicated torture technique is basically here to show what a sadistic bastard this guy is. But it's an insane waste of time and rats. Rat cam. This torture by rat in a heated bucket just got a whole lot sexier. Oh yeah.
I'll burn him! Noise out, I'll burn him out.
Why not just do that? Save a rat?
I'm a low-budget mechanic, but I overcharge. Pay me! Let's go, man.
Sure, just start raking in the pot before Tej even shows his cards. Why you haven't been shot playing poker yet is beyond me.
It's my garage, boy. Royal flush.
Tej totally slow rolls his employee. It's a wonder both of these guys haven't been shot playing poker. And a royal flush? Come on. Who the f gets a royal flush when the stakes are highest except Tej and James Bond?
I'm gonna crash, Tez. I'll catch you tomorrow.
What was the point of this entire scene? Is Monica wet right now because she swam to Brian's houseboat? Or did she get there a normal way, but the scene wasn't sexy enough, so they dumped a bucket of water on her?
Once you finish the run, they're putting a bullet in your head.
Why the f is she going to Brian about this? Did she forget she's a customs agent working with the FBI? She's clearly risking her own life by sneaking on to Brian's houseboat, given that Carter said,
You ever touch another man again, and I'll kill you.
You'd think it'd be in everyone's best interest for Monica to go and tell the team of federal agents she works for about this instead of going directly to Brian. But that wouldn't be nearly as romantic and probably a lot less damp.
They don't know I'm here. I snuck out.
And besides me not being there and no one having any idea where I am and Carter being suspicious that there's something going on between me and Brian, there is no reason for them to be here. There's a skylight above the bathroom? How's the peeping, Tommy? Also, this movie's gonna have us believe that Monica can somehow lift herself through this window without making any noise or rocking the boat a little, or she's dead is what I'm saying. All of them are dead. I'm going to remove 3 sins because Eva Mendes exists.
Man, you remember us growing up?
That transition into this attempt at emotional character development just gave me whiplash.
I got Verone's navigator leaving the residence.
The FBI has guys on the inside at Verone's place, but only when it's convenient to the plot. This guy is checking in at his office so we can see pictures of his family, allowing the viewer to remember his internal conflict.
Move on the trailer property. Right now.
Okay, so I understand that Verone paid this guy off to keep a window open for his guys to steal the money. But my question is, why does the cop know about this operation at all? Seems like they could have stolen this money without any cop involvement, unless this is a place where cops were already scoping out, and were waiting for Verone to take the money out of it. But this movie has never explained this money, or why he hid it in a wall in a random house, or why the cops are involved. Sure, that SUV stayed in a straight line without anyone gripping the steering wheel. Sure it did.
Let's get the chopper over them. One eye is right on top.
No one in the local police department questions why an FBI chopper is also chasing these guys. This weapon, which is clearly complete bull, is only stuck to the door, yet still messes up all the inner workings of the car. I guess it's sending its bolts to the bullshitometer inside the car's bullshiterator, which is causing everything to go haywire. Brian conveniently pulls out the car stopper hook at the very last second. And apparently you don't even need a gun to fire this thing into a car. You just need a good throwing arm. And even though the hook of this thing basically shut the car completely down before Brian removed it, the car still works just fine even after it's removed. Man, I would love to actually watch this car chase, but I guess seeing extreme close-ups of gas pedals, eyeballs, and gear shifts will do just fine. The police don't immediately start yelling at these assholes to come out with their hands up. Cops don't immediately start shooting at these assholes. There are seriously this many street racers who could help out with Operation Confuse the Cops today.
Must have lost them in the scramble.
For some reason, neither the local police nor the FBI used their resources to block the entrances and exits to this facility, preventing anyone from escaping, and then start arresting those fools for whatever the they can definitely arrest them for.
All right, we got them going west on Beach.
Bilkins doesn't assume they ditched those cars and are now using them as a decoy, because that's what I, a normal person who is not an FBI agent, assume they're doing. Okay, so Roman and Brian switch cars, but aren't Tej and Suki in serious trouble for aiding and abetting? Why so happy? And with all the goddamn cars you guys just threw at the cops, why even bother driving these? Sure, you get them chasing after cars that don't actually have the money, but with all the confusion, you could have just kept these cars parked in the garage. So what's their plan here? The money isn't showing up, so I guess they're just gonna arrest Verone for almost getting onto his own plane?
Where's the rest of it? The other car? Another car. Where's the other car?
How do you not know? Didn't you have this master plan to provide Roman and Brian with one goon each to go with them when they got the money? How do you not know there's another car? And how do you not know something happened to one of them? And then this asshole decides he's going to leave without the other half of his money for some reason, without any other explanation.
So you know nothing about the agents that stole my jet?
So if you don't know about the other car, how do you know about this? They arrested the guys that were out there, right? Did the feds give them all their one phone call, and they used it to call Verone and tell him about the jet?
Custom agents sure are getting pretty.
How the f*** does he know that she's a customs agent? I'm sure he could assume that she's informing the police based on what she knows and what the cops now know, but he knows her exact role. Did the screenwriter whisper it to him because there are only 7 minutes left in the movie?
Get on the boat.
No idea why Verone doesn't just kill Monica and Brian right here and now. This is a guy who doesn't even have to think twice about heating up a rat in a metal pail to torture a dude, but he can't just kill some fools, take his money, and leave.
What's that?
Who cares? Just kill him already.
What's that?
It's Barstow, baby!
Roman Han Solo's in at the last minute and announces himself over the walkie just before Brian gets shot. Are they really going to try and pull this Dukes of...
Real Dukes of Hazzard!
He beat me to it. That yacht probably maxes out at maybe 50 miles an hour, and Brian and Roman are going 90, but somehow they don't whiz past the boat and just shoot off into the water. Did Brian know there was a ramp here? If so, how so? Also, it just happens to be in a perfect place to fly his car into the boat. That ramp's anywhere else, this ending doesn't happen. Also, they survived this. Some bullshit. The guys with guns on this boat don't come up and shoot both these assholes dead. Or they're dead and the movie didn't tell us they're dead, and just made us assume that. Even though Verone has the draw on them, Brian still managed to shoot first. Downstairs, the screenwriter was fighting off the remaining guards and vigorously untying Monica so she could make it back up here just in time to conveniently take the gun from Verone.
Open the garage together? How we gonna do that, bruh?
Pockets ain't empty, cuz.
Brian says this like he's got some big surprise for Roman here, but Roman has some of the money stuffed down in his jeans. So why did he think opening up a garage would be hard to do when he's got stacks of cash in his pants?
Bruh. 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 Bruh.
Right out of the gate, movie is a dick to people with epilepsy. Also, why are there metal detectors outside? Did the school splurge on weather-resistant metal detectors? Or is this just some idiotic plot device to make Sean look like more of a badass, when it actually just makes him look like he favors large belt buckles? How was the f***ing mascot kid able to fit through the metal detector in the first place? And why does he already have on the mascot costume? Did he wear it at home and then drive to school with this shit on? This teacher writes some math shit on the marker board, and then walks over to this other marker board and simply writes Monday on it, then goes back to the math. Also, this is the most complicated series of instructions for 8x equals 72 I've ever seen. I mean, x is 9, goddammit. It's that simple. And she not only writes the same equation down twice for some reason, but she's also making solving for x the most confusing thing ever. 2 cents, one for the racist Indian mascot, and a second one for the racist Indian piñata. So it's come to this, the Fast and the Furious franchise, unable to get Paul Walker, Vin Diesel, and others to come back for a third movie, rated Home Improvement for stars 7 years after that show went off the air. Sean goes to a fancy school where they offer slow-mo car repair as an elective, giving him an unfair advantage to star in this franchise. If they aren't painting him purple to make him look like Grimace, then this is a terrible waste of bullying. This movie was written. This asshole football player carries around a spare baseball just in case Lucas Black from Sling Blade talks to his girlfriend and needs to smash his window with it. Also, this kid certainly has one hell of an arm. He's able to completely bust through the rear windshield of this car just by throwing a baseball. Also, the ball went through the rear windshield, passed through a wormhole that exists in the back seat, then came out behind the car. This movie took great pains to show us that Sean had put the wrench back in the toolbox. So what is this supposed to be? It's either the dumbest misdirection in a movie's first 5 minutes ever, or it's a continuity error. Either way, it's sinful as shit.
Winner gets me.
I mean, you're sexy and all, but... Also, the movie thinks it can avoid the women are prized to be one criticism by having this girl volunteer herself as the prize. No one's working in this large development during a weekday. Either this subdivision really feels the effects of the housing market crash 2 years before it actually happened, or this is some bullshit. This truck that is not part of the race is able to keep up with 2 cars that are custom built to go fast. Back in 2006, there were many issues people faced every day, and we dealt with them the best we could. But 2 movies, Cars and The Fast and Furious 3, made clear that many Americans suffered from the embarrassing inability to drift. These movies need to explain how, when Sean was way behind, he caught up in a matter of seconds, but now that he's caught up and on a completely different road, he can't pass the guy he so easily caught up to.
I thought you loved me.
This prompts Clay to do the thing he should have done 10 minutes ago, drive faster than the other guy. Sean busts through a framed house with little to no damage to his car, because his car only sustains damage when it's convenient to the plot. They survive this, and Sean survives all this. This seems like an awkward time for a Tabasco product placement movie. Wait a minute, who was in position to record this? When Sean did his stunt, there was no one around with a camera. Only one set of parents show up for Clay and Cindy, which makes me think that they're brother and sister. So now I'm in some kind of flowers in the attic subplot that's way more interesting than Sean moving to Tokyo and learning how to drive sideways.
So where are we moving this time?
Why does everyone seem to think you can avoid being prosecuted for a crime by moving to a different city? This kid broke several laws. They can move all they want, but he'll still have to go before a judge in the town where he committed the crimes. In case you confused it with Tokyo, French Guiana. Sean is upset that his single adult dad has a woman over, because if Sean isn't getting laid, then no one should get laid.
But your mom, she said the 7th sea, and we're a day ahead of you in Japan.
Which would mean it's the 8th in Japan? Which would mean the 7th came and went, and you weren't at all concerned that your son didn't show up at the airport? Yeah, but which train? How does he get to the station? Which one is his stop? Does he need to make transfers? Can he read the signs to be able to buy a ticket? So many questions left by this note. Sean makes it to school without getting lost as No one is even slightly concerned that Sean speaks basically no Japanese and is still expected to be successful at a Japanese high school. Sean grimaces at what looks delicious. Did he already forget what American school lunches look like?
You selling a Sparko steering wheel?
The steering wheel isn't inside his bag, because writing meaningful dialogue that would reveal their mutual interest in cars would be way too much work. Twinkie's ride is an Incredible Hulk-themed Volkswagen minivan, because he thinks the name of this franchise is the function and the spaciousness.
For when you blow your wad, man.
Everyone loves semen jokes. This large group of car enthusiasts somehow has the ability to take over this entire parking garage at night. Convenient cute girl we saw at school earlier who also shows up to the late night street races is convenient.
Neela, right?
You're a quick learner.
Being able to recall one person's name is hardly indicative of learning speed.
Hey, yo, look, man, he's Yakuza.
Now see, that's funny, cause I thought this was like a free country.
Is this guy supposed to be our protagonist? Because he's really been nothing but a dick the whole movie. If you saw this dude from any other character's perspective, you'd understand why everyone else is a dick back to him.
You know who I am, boy? You like the Justin Timberlake of Japan, right?
Man, this movie can't even get its insults right. Future Sex Love Sounds was a mere 3 months away, and it took the piss right out of this insult in record time.
You know Yakuza? The Mafia?
This is really Twinkie's fault for not briefing Sean on the potential gang activity in this parking garage.
You're the one that's lucky. Zambateres.
Then let's race.
Didn't we see the entire last 13 minutes of this movie in the first 12 minutes? Is this like Groundhog Day and no one told me?
Take mine.
This is the worst decision this guy will make today.
I want to see what the kid's got.
And I have gobs of disposable income and insanely good car insurance, so I don't care if he beats the shit out of my car.
You know what DK stands for? Drift King.
Drift.
Sean, who is a car and racing enthusiast, doesn't know what drifting is, forcing the movie to explain it to him and me and you.
You know that real famous painting? The one of the woman who's smiling all the time?
The Mona Lisa.
Come on, you're telling me this dude didn't know what the Mona Lisa was called? I mean, for Christ's sake, pick something different for him to be ignorant about.
This car right here is like the Mona Lisa of the drift world.
And even though Sean has never drifted before, they still let him drive it. This guy is eating out of a magical Mary Poppins bag of croutons that never runs out. It's literally insane that Sean doesn't kill anyone during this race, with his lack of drift knowledge and all. By the way, how is Sean even close right now? This guy is drifting all over his ass, and Sean crashed like twice, but here he is, making it some kind of a race. It's amazing this movie wasn't more successful. It took something really cool, racing, and made it look like someone aggressively trying to find a parking spot. Sean decides to keep racing, instead of stopping, and saying, you know what, you've clearly won this round because I don't know how to do this, so I'm gonna go and learn how to drift during a 5-minute montage, and we'll try again next week. If an asshole drifts up a spiral ramp and no one can see him, is he still an asshole? The answer is yes. Sean loses the race and wrecks Han's car, which is exactly the kind of Purple Rain or 8 Mile kind of conflict this movie needs. Will he ever learn to drift or win respect? Watch those other 2 movies to find out.
Have you been racing, Sean?
Don't lie to me. I can smell it on your breath.
This isn't a game. If you're gonna live under my roof, you're gonna go by my rules.
Oh man, movie just unlocked the secret cliche prize box. Tell them what they've won, Jeremy. Thanks, Jeremy. Movie, you have won an additional 10 sins for all the cliches in this movie.
There's a guy in there with a paw that owes me some money.
How hard would it be to say this guy has a paw tattoo on his shoulder? Han decides to be needlessly cryptic to create this unsatisfying reveal. Han is making a convincing case to change the apple asshole sin to nondescript bag of snacks. It's basically working the same magic here. Movie continues the tradition of this franchise putting its cars on roads where there is no traffic.
I call you show. Only if you teach me how to drift. This ain't a negotiation. I wasn't negotiating.
Okay. So I'd be happy to teach you how to drift in my spare time then, as long as it's not a negotiation, which your language, context clues, and tonal inflection all suggested. I am totally down with the drift lessons. Jeez, let me state for the record that Sung Kang is the most oral actor in history.
You really need to stop following me around.
Neela is attracted to Sean for several reasons, but mostly because the screenwriter told her to.
Let me guess.
You're an army brat who moved around a lot.
Why do all these army kids go to regular Japanese high school? Isn't there a special army kid English-speaking school they can all attend?
But why are you letting me race? It's your DK's kryptonite.
Why though? He's been here for maybe a week, and all he's done is severely underperform in one goddamn race.
You can do better than 180K, they can't catch you.
If they ever find out they can bring in other cop cars to block them off or use helicopters to track speeders, they'll be unstoppable. Movie totally thinks it's the Goodfellas of drift movies. Okay, cars are great and all, but I have trouble believing that a heterosexual 18-year-old dude can take his eyes off two beautiful women who are giving him attention to go look at some cars.
The red Evo's yours.
Man, crashing this dude's car was the best thing Sean could ever do in his life. Why is this asshole being taught to drift on a dock? Are there no empty parking lots where you can practice this Do they want him to stop the fight? Why don't they just grab a teacher? I would like to pause in the middle of this fight to tell you why we're fighting in the first place. You know, in case any students/filmgoers don't know what this is about. Spit fisting.
So how'd you end up over here anyway?
Well, you know those old westerns where the cowboys make a run for the border? This is my Mexico.
Oh. Also, Han continues to be insanely cryptic because creating an identifiable backstory for this character would be way too challenging and would get in the way of all the establishing shots of brightly colored cars and pretty girls.
It's trust and character I need around me. Who you choose to be around you, but you know who you are.
Or who you're forcing to be with you because he wrecked your car and you need him to pay off the debt. That too.
One car in exchange for knowing what a man's made of. That's a price I can live with.
So having Sean wreck your car proves to you that he's reckless, cocky, and possibly stupid. I guess those are all the qualities of character he's looking for.
So if you don't drift to win, what do you drift for?
Holy shit, this movie is a stone's throw from Disney's Brink. You know, you could also say hello to meet women. That also works. Also, drift seduction. Also, how many tires do you go through per day to keep up a drifting habit? All of that just to get a number. Sorry, if that type of is required for simple digits, then count me out of the dating pool in Drift World.
The first drifters invented drifting out here in the mountains by feeling it.
They lived in a terrible feudal society where they had to drift for their lieges in order to keep their lands. Also, Han leaves out all the crucial technique needed to actually drift. But yeah, just feel it and see how that goes.
Again?
Does he mean repeat this shot again? Because we've seen it 3 times. That guy's learned so much. When are we ever going to stop fishing and get married? This movie expects me to believe that Sean was able to learn drifting at an expert level in a matter of months, and is able to beat these guys that have been doing it for presumably several years. This guy needs to take a drift management class. Yeah, totally.
But I realize now, outsider or insider, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is knowing what you really want and going after it.
And serendipitously crashing some stranger's car who happens to take you under his wing helps too. Also, Sean knows what he wants. He wants to win a drifting race just for the sake of winning one. Synchronized drifting.
We used to come up here when we were kids. Even before we could drive, we'd cut class, sneak out, come up here and watch the older kids drift.
So, before you could drive, you used to come up here to the f***ing mountains to watch people drift? How did that f***ing happen? Did you hike up here? Or did you Marty McFly and hitch a ride on someone's car while on a skateboard? Also, even while drifting, Neela is able to softly whisper this story to Sean, and Sean seems to understand every word.
Yo, come on, man, look.
Are you telling me that Sean saw this dude get out of his car, saw him start walking angrily towards him, and didn't think to run, defend himself, or otherwise prepare for a fight?
Stay away from him. Or the only thing you'll be driving is a wheelchair.
I'll help you beat the shit out of him if you promise me a wheelchair drifting montage.
Do you know who you are? Do you know where you belong?
I'm starting to think all the dialogue in this movie was constructed like a ransom note using screenplay clippings of other popular movies. I like how Sean made friends with 2 other people in high school and the movie doesn't explain anything about them or what they have in common. There's enough space for them to just drive straight away, right? The drifting thing is fun and they've backed themselves into a corner by making it the main reason the movie exists. But would it be way more efficient to just drive normally?
Sean! Sean!
Look, even with a good honk warning, you would not be able to clear out a crowd full of pedestrians and sneak through. Some won't hear the honk, and others will be screwed by their fellow pedestrians, and you will kill 10 of them before everything's over. Chase scenes with cars like this can be fun, but editing like this is f***ing ridiculous. Given how fast they're going, I find it hard to believe they would both be able to walk away unscathed from this crash. Han's death scene doesn't include Jason Statham, and yes, that's a sin I'm giving this movie for something that happened at the end of Fast and Furious 6. Franchise retroactive sinning, baby. No law enforcement shows up, allowing them to just walk away and casually get on a subway. DK knew to find them at Sean's dad's house because he was tipped off by the screenwriter.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Neglectful dad ex machina. Also, how did he get out here in time? Did his dad's sense tingle and he knew the commotion outside was related to Sean? The guy left without a note and has been gone for, I don't know, let's say 3 weeks.
And I'm responsible for my mess. I gotta do this.
Can someone explain to me what he has to do exactly? Is he gonna kill DK? Turn himself into police? Rescue the girl? Convince Bow Wow to add the Lil back? And Sean's vague vagaries somehow convince his father to let him go do this.
At least you're not redoing my mistakes.
I guess that's one way to do it, if you ignore all the original mistakes he's made all by himself. Also, is he saying that Sean's mess doesn't at least equal or exceed the mistakes he's made? Come the f*** on. All Sean's dad did was be a bad father. Sean's going to be wanted on 2 continents after this.
Maybe I should talk to Kamada.
I'll let Twinkie take this one.
I know I just didn't hit it. You can't just walk into Kamada's place, man.
That's all I got.
So Sean walks right up to Kamada's place, gets shot dead, and the movie ends with 23 minutes of credits?
Something I think Han would have wanted you to have. You're gonna need it if you're gonna make it out of Kamada's place alive.
Don't you need it?
Nah, it's cool. Like, I'll figure it out.
Wait a minute. Twinkie said, this is something I think Han would have wanted you to have. So did Twinkie mean Han would have wanted you to take my money? Isn't it Twinkie who is giving Sean this money and it has nothing to do with Han whatsoever? The f***ing f***. Apparently you can just walk right up to Kamada's place. Who knew? The drift training montage ran long and bumped the learning Japanese montage.
I'm here to offer you a peaceful solution.
Is it a race?
A race.
F*** you, movie.
The cops took all the cars.
In addition to being an unexplained friend, this guy also serves as the narrator. Luckily, Sean's dad just happens to be working on a car that could easily be retrofitted with street racing parts for this finale to happen. I think this dude's nickname in the army was God in the Machine. Is this our 3rd or 4th montage? I lost count. Also, after Sean requested the race, did he get a full week or so to prepare for it? The Yakuza overlords must have said, I agreed to the race, but first, get in a good week to prepare. You know what? Make it 2 weeks. And here's 50 grand to start your new business.
DK picked this road for a reason. This is his mountain.
And he's got some barrels he's going to throw at you. As I see the old man get out of the car, I'm wondering, why did he even agree to this? This is a massive waste of time. The stakes are loser leaves town for good. So what? He doesn't get anything from that arrangement. Sean already gave him the money Han owed. If he loses, he doesn't die or learn a lesson or have to give him more money. This is some bullshit. Man, I was hoping this dude was going to use his bra to start the race. How the f*** are they all watching this on their cell phones? Even if there were invisible drones filming it, there's no way those mid-2000s era cell phones could play back live streaming video. Have you ever tried to stream anything on Edge Network? That was the fastest f***ing thing at the time. I know they're all about drifting, but they could easily turn around some of these corners normally. And as far as I know, you don't get bonus points for style in this race, nor do you get a little power boost coming out of the slide like in Mario Kart 64. It's just whoever gets to the bottom first, right? And here, in this case, who's recording this part of the action? There's no one around to broadcast this, but yet everybody looking at their phone sure seems to see the race perfectly clear on their tiny-ass screens. This camera move illustrates the cliff that Sean might tumble over if his car continues to do what this camera just did, which is to confuse us as to how far away Sean is from this cliff. I couldn't really see what was going on, but I definitely smelled some bullshit. It's too bad I don't know how far away from the finish line these guys are. Giving us a course and some updates on their status might have made this exciting. DK conveniently and impossibly falls right in front of where Sean is driving, only so this shot can exist, and he survives this.
Heard he's been beating everybody around Asia, too.
Well, you heard wrong, because Furious 7 makes you a liar, because Dom didn't come to Asia to beat a whole bunch of people racing. He came here to pick up Han's shit. And yes, that's not only a retroactive sin for a future movie, but that's also a sin we already mentioned in the Furious 7 video. Take that, Furious.
This dude over here won a race. Said he knew Han.
Then why the f*** does he want to race? Why can't they just sit and talk about their dead friends? It's because we got 2 minutes left, and that would require writing dialogue? Well, alright then.
I got nothing but time.
Yep, you're just in the middle of all that Jason Statham bull in Furious 7. It can wait. Darwin Awards buy ad space at the end of this movie.
Let's make some money!
Battle cry is the motto for this crew, sure, but also for this rebooted movie franchise.
Well, I thought we'd be robbing banks by now. Not some gas truck in the middle of nowhere.
Isn't this something you say before you go to rob the gas truck in the middle of nowhere? Movie expects me to believe this go into reverse via e-brake turn maneuver is possible at 60 miles an hour. This pickup truck can travel in reverse at the same speed as a semi-truck on the highway. Because, well, this is only the beginning of this crap and you know it. Well, that's some bullshit. Why doesn't everyone have the same hands-free headset that Letty does? It's really strange to me that during these heists, absolutely no one else drives on these roads. The one thing they never counted on was the truck driver seeing something odd in his mirrors. This bullet hits exactly in the spot where Toretto's torso is, and all he has to worry about is shattered glass? Oh no, something! This guy pumps the brakes once, then bails at a lot of miles per hour, and lives. How has this gas tank on fire not exploded yet? Sometimes an exciting scene is so much bullshit the danger isn't real anymore. After this, there's no reason to feel any tension. Spectacular explosion just for the hell of it. All the excitement of the first movie, without the thes. Movie is addicted to epileptics, but is kind of a good friend to my boner, so I'm conflicted. None of the girls in any of these shots is my girlfriend. So they stole a gas truck to use for illegal street races? Is gas that hard to come by? Don't you f***ers bet pink slips and shit? How is a $40 fill-up that big a deal?
Time for you to go do your own thing.
Heard they're doing some crazy shit in Tokyo.
Like nearly drifting this franchise into obscurity.
Dom, how long have we been doing this?
I have no idea, but I'm gonna guess long enough to know better.
We'll figure it out. We always do.
Man, that's touching. I really hope these criminals find a happy ending. Dom is a dick to Letty, but at least he left the cash on the nightstand, like she's a whore. Running! Paul Walker! B-plot! How's the movie so far, gentlemen? Jump cut chase scene has no intention of letting you get your bearings. Rando security guard goes out like a bitch, and gives up his gun so the scene can have added tension. Jeez, just call backup, dude. He had no place to go. They both survived this.
Give me your name! David Park!
Amazing I can remember that, after crashing through a f***ing car. Why am I even alive?
David Park? I could throw a fortune cookie out this window and hit 50 David Parks right now.
That's super racist. Also, that's one magic fortune cookie. Wait, how did O'Connor get another job after absolutely f***ing the police rulebook the last movie?
Tom, it's Letty. She's been murdered.
Because you left her alone, most likely. Also, amazing that her death means so little to this franchise, it wasn't even shown on screen. Probably so they can bring her back later. Everyone in the movie decides to believe Letty's dead without seeing a body, which is convenient beyond words.
Facial recognition software matched Toretto about 10 minutes after he crossed the border. Thought he'd show.
Even though I supposedly have cop instincts, there's no reason for me to check other areas of the cemetery where he might be watching the funeral. Also, how is it that you don't have anyone watching the streets in and around the cemetery, just in case he shows up anywhere near the area? Out of 360 degrees, Brian chooses to dramatically look in the one spot where Dom had actually been. Cops are staking out this home, but not the back way, which Dom so obviously used to sneak in here.
They're staking the place out if they find you.
They won't.
That's all I have to say about that. Anyway, cops are dumb.
Letty wouldn't let them junk it.
You mean the cops? Letty wouldn't allow law enforcement to junk the car? Isn't it their property after that Brian-Dom drag race at the end of the first movie?
I want to see the crash site.
I'm going to crack this case because in addition to being a badass car heist guy, I'm also an honorary Scotland Yard sleuth.
If we don't make serious inroads into the Braga case in the next 72 hours, they're going to shut us down. Because it's been 2 years, and the last 3 agents we sent to infiltrate his organization have come back in body bags.
So basically, the government will be cool with all his illegal activities after that, because this case is too damn hard. Also, you sent 3 other undercover dudes before sending Brian Undercover God O'Connor?
Your boy Toretto's Red Chevelle's been spotted in his old neighborhood. Gonna bring his ass in.
Despite this fact, we'll let him drive all the way here, and then we're going to show up after Dom does his Sherlock Holmes routine because nobody in law enforcement is worth a shit. Vin Diesel is fast and curious. Oh shit, he can actually create memories of an accident he knows nothing about by merely standing on this road? He is really good at deducing.
You found something back there.
Yes, memories that are not from my own brain.
There were burn marks on the ground, the kind that could only be caused by natural meth. There's only one guy in all of LA that sells that.
This is something the detectives couldn't figure out. This is f***ing police work 101. Also, what a bunch of bullshit. One f***ing guy sells something that is this coveted in the street racing world? One f***ing guy? Sin City stylized driving shot brought to you by Sin City.
So here I've narrowed it down to 50 or so David Parks.
I want you to throw a fortune cookie at them like that racist agent was talking about earlier. See which one flinches. That's your man.
Don't let him put your hands on me again, okay? Say hi to your sister for me.
Jesus, what world does this dude live in?
A Korean kid brought it in. David Park.
Brian might be one of the worst agents in history. Letty's murder case didn't lead Brian to the same information Dom just got. The only guy who sells nitromethane in the area, and the one guy who knows what David Park and his car look like.
I lied to you.
Well, no shit.
I lied to Dom, I lied to everybody. That's what I do best, that's why the feds recruited me.
Brian's amazing lying was so renowned they recruited him for it. Of course, how did they know he was a liar if he was so good at it? And Brian didn't get in any trouble for letting the girl go yesterday by tricking the other FBI guy and faking transfer orders.
A 98 Saturn, a 95 Sebring, a 98 Nissan 240 with an illegal mod.
Wait. That's it.
Why didn't you plug in all the David Parks with an illegal mod in the database and narrow the search time down? Jesus, do I have to do everything for you? Fate and the screenwriter have conspired to get Brian and Dom to investigate the same guy at the same exact time.
All I can do is get you in the race.
What race?
The guy who was spilling his guts somehow decides to stop so that this window breakage can happen. Either that or Toretto threw him through the window before giving him time to answer the question. There is no freaking way Park was able to hold onto a curtain after being dangled out of a window by his feet and then dropped.
Connor, do you know the difference between a cop and a criminal?
What?
One bad judgment call.
Whether or not you mean to, you're saying that all cops have avoided making one bad judgment call, which is preposterous.
We have intel that Braga's number 2, Ramon Campos, will hold a street race in Koreatown tomorrow night to fill a slot on his team.
Let me guess, winner gets the slot.
Did you just say let me guess and then fill in the rest of the sentence with information the first dude already said? This double-fisted montage of car work makes me f***ing angry. Are they gonna mirror each other the entire film?
You one of Park's guys, Blondie?
I'm wondering, how does a guy who blew his cover in the first movie get to go undercover in this same street racing world a second time with nobody noticing him?
My job is to find the best drivers. Period. Whoever wins the race gets the info.
This seems like a weird way to get your trusted drivers. You run one race, something that could easily end in a fluke, and that's how you pick people? Revving, tires, satellite maps.
You sure you want to do this?
Can he even hear you with all this noise? Is it possible for a car on only 2 wheels to move faster than cars on 4 wheels? I'm sure it is, but it probably requires either sluggishness on the part of the other drivers, or those two tires touching the ground moving at a speed twice that of any other car's tires, which is kooky, right?
How my ass look, Chia Pet?
The 2009 movie makes a Chia Pet reference, yet will spawn at least 3 more sequels, because there is no God. No cops were called in the running of this massively inconvenient street race. Brian should definitely have killed some fools here, but for the power of screenwriting.
Sorry, car.
And then this car proceeds to bust through a wooden staircase and down a hill without stalling or busting tires.
At least we know you can't beat me straight up.
I didn't know there were any rules.
True that, Dom. It actually makes me wonder why you guys didn't start racing immediately before the countdown got to 0. Wouldn't this kind of race reward cheaters? Stupid guy is getting his stupid face arrested during sexual relations cliché. Wherever this is going on, cops would be noticing. This is some loud, invasive shit right here. This girl's ass is not my girlfriend in this scene. I mean, this girl is not my ass in this scene. I mean, this ass is not— oh, f it.
Yeah, Corona.
Dom orders without the waitress even acknowledging him.
Let's just stop someone from telling him you're a cop.
Are we still going with the idea that Dom is the only guy who recognizes Brian? This guy's face was everywhere in that first movie.
I also heard you just got out of the county.
When Brian arrested David Park, the race was the very next night. So how did Brian get the just got out of county street cred? Don't undercover guys have to actually be in jail for a while so that it can be verified? They simply go on Park's word, which I cannot believe is how this worked, considering how hard Braga is to find.
Any one of them would die for Braga.
Including you?
Especially me.
Even though Brian is a dumbass and doesn't realize it, Braga basically just gave away his identity. This is the guy who's so hard to find. This is the guy who's killed 3 other FBI guys before he could be identified.
Braga's mine. I'm taking the whole house now.
And also talking about it in front of a club full of people you were just told are so loyal to Braga they'd die for him. This room with the boss is no longer important to guard now that a girl with a hot ass just walked by. How does Brian know this door isn't leading to a single dead-end room, at which point he'll be caught by the boss man for snooping? Answer, he f***ing doesn't. Thankfully for Brian, everything about the layout of the rest of this building cooperates with his eavesdropping. Same here. Dom has no f***ing clue where this elevator will take him, but whatever. Can we just go back to the 3 girls kissing?
Are you one of those boys who prefers cars to women?
I'm one of those boys that appreciates a fine body regardless of the make.
Are we at a James Bond film all of a sudden?
A dirty shot glass, just what I always wanted.
How in the f*** did Brian get into the office where Braga was drinking without being seen?
So that means I have to contact individual agencies, and that could take weeks.
Fingerprints somehow take weeks of verification. But hey, that's convenient for the plot, so that's something we have going for us.
Yeah.
That's your 3rd traffic violation in less than 3 blocks.
Is this guy serious? Doesn't he know what Braga expects from his drivers?
He stopped.
Thanks, movie narrator. Bad guy gives potential undercover agents plenty of time to destroy any bugs they might have in their cars by making it way too obvious, and not inspecting all the cars at the exact same time. Also, it makes you wonder how dumb the other FBI guys were to get killed by this guy. Also, luckily Brian has an unfinished can of NOS in which he can throw this bug. That's some seriously convenient product placement right there.
I don't have a tally on the target. Repeat. I don't have a tally on the target.
So the FBI knows that Brian went into this one place, but when a huge truck comes driving out of it, they don't follow it for any reason? How do you build a tunnel like this on the Mexico border without anyone ever noticing?
You're running out of time.
Do the drivers who are driving as fast as they can need anyone telling them to get out as fast as they can?
70 Plymouth. Her name was Letty.
Dom spills all his cards during Mexican desert standoff with bad guys that have guns.
And somebody wrecked the car.
I wrecked the car.
So you can tell this is a guy bent on revenge. Why don't you just go ahead and kill him right now?
Last time I saw it was burning.
The Dom you have presented in these movies would crush this f***er's neck right here and now, even if he has some NOS cigarette lighter bomb ready to explode soon.
Come on, get in the fucking car!
Somehow I'll be able to guide us back over the Mexican border without my FBI buddies tracking us, not to mention Border Patrol. Wait, Dom is getting in the Humvee with Brian and leaving without killing the guy that killed Letty? What was all that about then? Are there seriously no cameras on an impound lot? And what happens when they drive out of here in a completely different car and there's a smashed window on the driver's side? Does the guard say, okay, move along?
Well, it's not in there.
Do you have x-ray vision or something? Corona continues their assault on your good taste with second egregious product placement. I have no idea where they are now, and the sister had to drive to get to this oil field trailer, but somehow there is a box full of Letty memories for Dom to sift through. Magic! I wonder, how much of a discount does Campbell's Soup get for product placement that is blurry as hell but still obvious? Dom knows who killed Letty, but he's unnecessarily curious about who she was talking to before she died, so that he and Brian can fight.
She did it for you, Dom! She did it for you!
Brian waits a stupid amount of time in this fight to share the fight-stopping information. With a single fist brush, Brian removes all the blood caused by 10 punches to the face Dom threw a second ago.
Let's use the shipment to lure Braga out and mop the head off a multi-billion-dollar cartel.
And how do you suggest we do that?
A hand-to-hand exchange with Braga.
He'll never show.
He can't afford not to.
You just said this was a multi-billion-dollar cartel. The shipment you're talking about is $60 million. Sorry to say, Braga isn't going to stick his head out for that. But for the movie, he will.
What do you want?
Delivered by Braga himself.
Well, that's not a suspicious way of trying to get Braga at the meeting. Nope. Not at all.
O'Connor hasn't given us a signal yet.
What part of that didn't you understand? We just got confirmation. Do it!
Because that's how FBI operations are done. You go against the plan midstream because you got a supposed fingerprint match in an extremely fluid situation. This isn't much of a surprise, so I guess we'll send dramatic irony here. Machine guns go off in every possible direction and somehow everyone doesn't die. This hench girl, for some reason, runs out and stops in front of her boss's speeding car. I guess so Dom could save her and she could be in future sequels. Wait, are you telling me that absolutely no FBI guys are around to stop this car just in case this exact thing happens?
It was under your nose the whole time.
You know, he's right. He should have known. But even with intuition, he had to verify fingerprints, which somehow take weeks to verify even if you're in the FBI.
Toretto's heading south, probably long across the border by now.
Despite the fact that we have facial recognition software that verifies this type of shit, and should know he hasn't crossed the border yet.
Who's the first bad guy you helped escape the law's grasp?
Actually, he is. He's just done it twice for the same person now. Of course, none of the angry at Brian FBI agents are staking out Toretto's house, because that would make too much sense.
Everyone's looking for you.
But not here, for some reason. Hey, you're crying. I've got just the thing for that. Also, let's f right here in the kitchen, because God knows there's no way your brother Dom will stumble upon such a horrific sight. If it's so easy to cross the Mexican border, why all the drama going through the Batman tunnels and to get a shipment? Just admit to me you created that scene through the tunnels so you could have a cool car scene. I'm a big boy, you can tell me. Something about this note-passing scene is keeping me from paying attention to the note-passing. I can't quite put my finger on it.
So this is where my jurisdiction ends?
Being that I'm not an FBI agent anymore, I don't really have jurisdiction anywhere. I don't even know why I said that. Well, they aren't all black, but these are definitely tailgating SUVs. 2 of the 3 telltale signs of an evil convoy. Hey, remember what hot chick I'll never bang said?
Going in there is suicide.
Yeah, it seems like they got in there without it being even remotely suicidal. All of his dudes are out front, and this is a church, so it has other exits.
You and me, we know so different.
You and I are not so different, cliche. Wait a minute, my evil boss's prayer is taking too long. I'd better go insert myself into the plot. Security fail. You didn't even know about the side entrance, let alone have a guy guarding it?
You'll make it a couple of miles out, if you're lucky.
Your cars, which are souped-up Amazotrons, cannot possibly outrun my guy's cars, which are super-duper souped-up Amazotrons. Cockfighting.
You know where you're going?
He should, but somehow he'll not have a proper escape plan.
Where you boys at? Are they gonna show up or what?
Right after you say this, I'm sure. How did the bad guys know to show up to this random spot in the middle of the Mexican desert? At best, they got a message the boss was kidnapped and the kidnappers were headed out of town. But all of them show up at the same time and correctly guess which spot outside of town to go to? How is there a f***ing red station wagon in on this chase? This is a multi-billion-dollar cartel, goddammit. Also, how did these dumbass cars catch up to the souped-up f*** cars that Dom and Brian drive? How? Only one evil henchman is smart enough to know this obvious rule.
Dom, head to the tunnel! Let's use the tunnel!
What? You just so happen to be at the exact same stretch of US-Mexican border as earlier in the movie? How convenient. Suddenly, all the Mexicans.
This might hurt!
After one time through these tunnels, he knows he can smash through the entrance like this without killing himself. For all he knew, that entrance was made of steel, but thankfully the correct answer is papier-mâché. Brian waits entirely too long to do this. Brian survives this. Awkwardness acknowledged. The last time we saw Dom, his car got super banged up, and a bunch of cars were wrecking into it and causing various tunnel block issues. Now the car looks essentially brand new and is driving perfectly without any issue. Thank God for film editing, right? That makes people totally forget like that. No. Huge rocks are obviously falling in front of Dom, but Dom sees your rocks and raises you infinity impossible escape. Instead of shooting Brian, this moron decides to monologue by kicking. Brian somehow grabs dude's leg to hold him in place, but also then isn't smashed by the impact of Dom's car on this guy's body.
I've listened to the testimony and taken into special consideration Agent O'Connor's appeal of clemency on behalf of Mr. Toretto.
How does the judge consider Brian's appeal, since he's no longer an agent and performed an illegal operation in Mexico as a civilian? What was the point of that no longer on active duty scene? Even prisoner transfer buses drive on interstates with nobody on them. Man, if heists and prison breaks were this easy, everyone would do them. Sorry, disclaimer. Everyone who's dumb enough to do the stunts from this movie are already in the lobby talking about how sick this movie is. Previously on Fast and Furious. I said it before in the last Fast and Furious, and I'll say it again. It's amazing how many highway crimes have absolutely zero other traffic on the roads. It's a perfect day for a prison break. And if I saw 3 souped-up cars blasting down the road while I was transporting prisoners, I'd probably ready my shotgun, maybe even stop the bus, and put the odds ever in my favor. Even though Brian's hitting the brakes, this bus impact should still have blown that car off the road. Instead, the bus flips, the car sticks, and Brian lives. Clearly, Brian's plan for springing Dom includes killing Dom. Never mind any of the non-main character prisoners that died in this horrific crash.
Where everyone on board has been accounted for, except for one, Dominic Toretto.
Accounted for? Did anyone die? Is this the most remarkable bus crash ever? This news broadcast montage never once mentions fatalities, which is what the news lives for.
Where Toretto and O'Connor are now is anyone's guess.
With the terrible copping we saw in the last film, couldn't they be in LA having beers at the Toretto home without law enforcement knowing about it? Rio porn. Yep, this shithead is back.
How's it feel?
Feels great. Wait a minute, what the f are you talking about?
Be on the other side of a wanted poster.
Well, you can't really be on any other side of a wanted poster, can you? You can pick any side and you'll still be on a wanted poster. There's no good side. This Mia putting the baby to bed scene couldn't possibly be foreshadowing her own pregnancy, could it?
Elisabi.
Oh man, I cannot believe it.
It looks like you both could use the payday.
Sure, they're poor, so naturally the only possible action to take is Grand Theft Auto. I guess it's a good thing these DEA agents and anyone else on this train who are Americans are super unobservant. What with Brian and Mia's faces plastered everywhere after the prison break. This stupid heist would never work. The chances of anyone seeing your crew alongside the train are much too high. There are many passengers facing the backside of the train looking out windows and would easily see you. These guys fall on their faces to avoid being killed by the dangerous sheet of death they ripped off the train. But in the next shot, they're standing tall, looking like conquering heroes, as if half the crew didn't almost die from their own stupidity. Wouldn't the plan be prearranged? Because he says this and isn't careful enough to think Dom speaks Portuguese, Dom gets suspicious, and the whole plan blows up in their faces for no reason. And the method of car theft virtually guarantees massive damage to all three vehicles, even though the movie doesn't think so. This car obviously has something in it that these guys want, but why didn't they call some sort of criminal dibs on it before this robbery even started? They could have said, look, you can have any car on that train, but the GT40 is off limits.
Change your plans. Wait for my call.
They got to Rio yesterday, and had no idea until you stepped on this train car you were even coming. What prearranged meeting point could you possibly have under this scenario? Why didn't Mia at least pretend to be going the right way until the dickheads on the train were out of sight? Dom throws this guy to the floor rather than outside, making this fight to the death harder for himself. This movie wants to have everything both ways. Windows don't matter until they do. F you, movie. Yeah, catch up to the GT40, which has a huge head start in this clunky-ass vehicle. Thing comes out of nowhere to imperil the stuff.
Access card! Get the access card!
Cops here to protect the train don't have an access card to the train doors. This guy picks up a crowbar, but he hits Dom in the back instead of lodging it into his head or neck and causing major damage. Maybe this weird vehicle has a blowtorch on it. Maybe. But for this guy getting kicked and driving the vehicle to be able to reach back and turn on the blowtorch to use as a weapon? Yeah, no. Why haven't you thrown him off the train yet? Brian survives this. Also, wow, that is a lot of dead people for our heroes to steal a few cars, am I right? This train is this f***ing close to the bridge when Brian tells Dom about it, but somehow this will take more than 1 minute of movie time to actually get there. Car stunts that aren't possible are one thing. Humans living through shit like this over and over, that's sinful. How are there any bad guys waiting for them anywhere near this water? Even if the dude back on the train radioed it in, how are there readily available assholes on standby under the train bridge? Alright, I'm gonna leave you in an easily escapable situation with my worst henchman on guard. I'll see you later in the movie. Walmart cuffs. Random guy with gun decides that guns don't have long-range capabilities and points it as close as possible to Dom's head. It's easy to look badass when these bad guys are idiots.
Where's Vince?
That's a good question.
Did Vince even know there was a change in plans? He was the first dude off the train, and it was only when Dom realized that the other dudes wanted the GT40 that he changed the plan.
Something I have to tell you.
But I'm sure to be interrupted before I can say it.
That was your job! This was your good!
The problem with this movie is that we don't know what the original plan was, who was supposed to do what, or if the plan got changed before they got on the train. They never explain.
500 years ago, the Portuguese and the Spanish came here.
This business deal will require the history of Brazil in order to move forward.
Almost wish I didn't see that.
Why did the bad guys bother with this huge operation to steal cars if all they wanted was a chip? They could have hired a pickpocket and an auto mechanic to board the train and find the chip and pulled this job off with way less problems.
I thought the job was for the cars.
This whole movie is predicated on the fact that Dom overheard Zizi say he wanted the GT40 and got suspicious. Because of this suspicion, it leads to a chain of events that didn't need to happen. Why did Dom care if they stole that particular car or not? Why does he care if it has a chip in it? Was he worried that once the bad guys took the GT40, they were going to get screwed over or even killed? We don't know. Nothing is implied or explicitly stated.
Wilkes, I want a list of every place within 50 miles.
Bus crash, prisoner escape, train accident, marshal barking out orders. This movie is The Fugitive.
The ground rolls into a hard pack and we lost that track too.
Not necessarily. That road heads up through the hills into the favelas. It's all dirt a mile from where you were.
Okay, but don't tracks become really hard to find after a day or so because of people driving over the dirt and walking over it? Rio Porn 2, Fast, Furious, Fellatio. I didn't see one damn dirt road on their way up here. Lots of cobbled streets and concrete and whatever you want to call it, but certainly not something so easy to find tracks that they went straight to the hideout.
100 million plus in cash houses?
That's how it keeps it off the grid.
Wait, what? He's trying to keep the location of cash houses off the grid and has commissioned a custom computer chip and software interface that is then plugged into regular devices? That puts it on the f***ing grid. Just use ink and paper. It does not get any more off the grid than that. Once again, assholes don't bother finding the other potential exits and guarding them before going in for an attack. How did he miss? 2 full minutes of discount-born ultimatum.
Policia.
This is the 3rd time someone's pulled a gun on Dom this close to him. DSS guys shoot everyone except one of the main bad guys.
Let's go.
By the way, I'm pregnant. Oh, forget it. Brian and Mia survived this. Dom did not lose this freaking necklace. Last time we saw him, it was perfectly fine around his neck and no danger of slipping off.
I'm pregnant.
Well, maybe. I did just jump off of a roof into another roof a minute ago, but last time I checked, pregnant.
All these guys are his names on a list. They come up, we take them down. Not a phone call more, not a bullet less.
Whatever that means. I know you mean we don't ask any further questions, but that's just silly.
Anything else?
Yeah, we tracked the owner off the vehicle ID.
Which we should have already known, considering they were in the DEA's possession just a day ago.
That's just it. I don't remember shit about my dad.
Sudden character backstory is sudden and cliche, and considering the pending baby, super convenient. It's sudden-venient cliche.
We're gonna do one last job. We're gonna take all of Riz's money.
Here's the Fast and the Furious franchise officially turning the keys over to Ocean's 11.
We're gonna take all of Riz's money, every dime of it, and disappear.
Why not just disappear? Wouldn't that be easier and safer? I guess you might need money to start a new life somewhere, but Jesus, if you're that addicted to stealing, I think I'm gonna have to start considering you the bad guys of this series. Oh, I see, you're going to take the 3 or 4 weeks to debate on the right guys, then contact them, then wait for them to get to Rio, and then take down the crime boss you have no real beef with whatsoever. Oh, shit, Tyrese dragged this movie into this shit, didn't he? Also, how are you gonna coordinate and communicate with all these people while The Rock is actively seeking you out? And what, none of your former associates are being bugged or followed or anything?
Sexy legs, baby girl. What time do they open?
Jesus, even we wouldn't say some bullshit like this, but movie gets away with it because I have no idea. Also, this is a convergence of all the franchises. Now we have Too Fast, Too Furious and Tokyo Drift thrown into this mess. Eventually, they'll all be joined by the Expendables.
Because we got a job.
Instead of escaping Rio, we've decided to target the biggest crime boss in the city and steal his money. We think that's justifiable because one time we tried to steal a car that he wanted to steal, and he chained us up for a bit before we escaped. Don't ask any questions, just listen. This is what constitutes security at this place. Guy owns the whole city, and he can afford security cameras on the outside of the building to make sure something like this doesn't happen. Meanwhile, he has 4 on the naked counting chicks.
Invadiram a casa do Leblon.
Random Reyes soldier plays the pronoun game with Reyes so that he has to ask who the hell they are.
Vamos limpar essas casas.
There's no reason to simply up the security or have more guys guarding it. Nope, just put it all in one place. Why not?
If he's moving into a police station, he's got some serious brass in his pocket.
Kinda makes you wonder why he bothers with 10 different secret money houses if he can just openly stash his cash in the police station.
This just went from Mission Impossible to Mission and freaking Sanity.
Yeah, earn that paycheck, Tyrese.
Enhance it.
Zoom and enhance cliche.
The faces are covered.
Run it through FRS.
Facial recognition software? But you just said their faces were covered.
The beauty of public offices, public records.
Even in Brazil? It took the US until the Freedom of Information Act for most to become public, and even then I'm not sure police station blueprints count.
He says Caucasian.
Oh, that's a tan. No, a tan?
Jesus Christ. So of course the box that Tyrese brings in goes right in the room with the safe, because whenever you make a stupid plan with 1% chance of it working, it works. If you had a f***ing camera robot in this box, then why even go to the trouble of trying so hard, or at all, to get them to let you into the evidence room physically? Was it just to create some bullshit comic relief? Also, these cops on the take from billionaire crime lord don't have cameras in the evidence room that contains his vault of billions in order to see this RC car shit. Movie depicts exactly what it's like watching these movies.
O'Connor, let's go get some cars.
Okay, but just as a reminder, this is all just for revenge. You're doing all this to steal from a dude that f***ed with you one time over a car that you were in the act of stealing. Thinnest premise ever. Yes, let's collectively enjoy the hot asses of girls who aren't my sister that you knocked up.
Word on the street is a lot of people looking for you two.
And yet...
What? You didn't think we'd recognize you?
After the last movie? No, actually. We assumed Brian was unrecognizable to the street racing world, since they let him back in undercover after he f***ed over everyone in the first film. But whatever. Just get to the f***ing race already.
Car for car.
If you want it, come and get it.
If the feds ID'd his car from a traffic cam, how the f*** is Dom able to drive it anywhere in this city without being found? Aren't they searching for it via satellite every 15 minutes?
Where'd you get that from? Papa Smurf?
Okay, Tyrese, we need to talk. I'm beginning to wonder if you even deserve to keep earning paychecks. Please call me. The highly wanted Dom and Brian, being tracked by the entire Rio police force and the DSS, can not only find a space where no one can find them, it's also big enough to simulate the police station they're about to rob. Oh look, while the feds are actively hunting you with satellites, you can have a ginormous safe delivered to some warehouse without anyone anywhere getting suspicious.
There's still another problem. Palm scanner.
Which I somehow didn't notice, despite my zoomed-in RC car camera view of the thing. More Rio porn, Fast 5 gangbang. Hobbs specifically told his crew he wanted them to follow Reyes, to the point of knowing how much he shakes it when he goes to the bathroom. Nobody from the DEA here today. Ah, not only did you stop for a change of clothes, you also made sure to choose fingerprint-friendly material. Nice.
So did he just like slap that ass, or did he like grab and hold on to it?
I know you're kidding, but no. It was like he was actually trying to help you rob him with the way he touched her ass.
Guys, we have a problem.
The whole team just got burnt.
You mean just now? That's convenient, since we saw all of you getting investigated 17 minutes ago in movie time, which is like an eternity in real time. This did not just happen, despite the movie wishing it did.
Roman's right. I think we need to get some fresh air.
You, people did not speak this vaguely. You just wanted the audience to wonder what he meant.
We got a hit. 70s Charger.
The fuck? How did this thing not work properly the night of the street race earlier?
You turn around and put your hands behind your back.
I don't think so.
Seems like he could have waited this out and got Dom and Brian later when there weren't so many people around, but that's just me.
This is Brazil!
Something that Hobbs' local agent Elena should have been able to tell him, but seeing how Hobbs talks to her, she probably thinks she's a 1950s housewife at this point. Guys, I don't know if you realize it, but this is the moment when the stars of The Pacifier and Tooth Fairy finally squared off. The only reason this necklace bullshit is in the movie is so that Dom could have another I Miss Letty scene with a woman who misses her husband. Man, they really shot for the moon on their helicopter shot budget for this movie, didn't they?
The only way we're gonna beat the cameras is with invisible cars.
And I know just where to get them.
If it's so easy to steal cop cars, why didn't they do this in the first place? Meanwhile, security at a souped-up cop car mecca is extremely lax. They probably fed the dogs steaks, slipped the guards sleeping pills in their coffee, and found a way for security cameras to not exist.
Next 2 lights.
These f***ing idiots are actually going to drag race stolen police cars in Rio right now. Also, isn't this a pretty f***ing stupid race? Aren't all 4 of these cars identical? Shouldn't this end in a 4-way tie? Welcome to a world with 0 rules, ladies and gentlemen. My brain has officially ended itself watching this scene. I mean, does Rio have a strict nobody out past 9 p.m. curfew or some shit? Here's Mia, wanted by Brazilian and U.S. forces, openly shopping in a public market. Because screw you, we'll do what we want.
Vince, what are you
Quiet! They've been tracking you.
Oh, I see. Mia is being followed by the drug lord soldiers, not the cops, and by Vince, conveniently.
Race's guys were waiting for me at the market.
And that's all they were doing, just sitting there waiting until Vince showed up to save me. I don't know why they haven't started tracking you dickheads yet, but enough of that. Hey, Vince! Dom agrees to let Vince take part in the heist, which is fine, a nice family moment. But doesn't that mean the entire plan has to be reworked to include him? Or at least he needs to spend all night studying to learn his role? Family is one thing, but this is sort of careless if you ask me.
We're less than 24 hours from the biggest celebration of our life.
Movie that is over 2 hours long has time for a long premature celebration scene.
Wait, hold on a second. So, did he just smack the ass or did he grab him?
Haha, that's an inside joke that we don't know the context for, but hilarious nonetheless.
Took me a while to find that tracking chip.
Which had little or no bearing on the story. Also, this doesn't explain how they all of a sudden know where the hideout is, despite the fact that they should have found it way earlier in this movie. Super important cop mission goes out the window for mano-a-mano fisticuffs. How the f*** did they know the DSS people were going to drive through here? Also, does this movie know that it just stole a page from Clear and Present Danger? A movie where the villain was played by the exact same actor who plays the villain in this movie? Look how many poor people in this poor part of Rio have f***ing satellite television. And how much does it cost there for American-only Dish Network? This ambush rescue seems to have a high likelihood of killing the people being rescued. Movie's long string of unconsequences continues. But, I'm sorry, I fell asleep there for a minute. What's going on? Did we win? Somehow all this guy's men died in the shootout, but he lived, which is probably only because he already had lines in the movie or something. Vince got shot, and the movie actually expects me to feel bad about it. Hideout eulogy. Meanwhile, all the other good guy thieves are halfway through the police station heist, right? I mean, how much f***ing time has passed since they tore out of here?
It's a suicide mission. That's your man over there on the table.
Yeah, but the original plan didn't even include him, right?
I'm in.
You saved my life, so the law no longer matters. And in fact, I'm going to break that f***ing law with you.
We can't just go sneaking around anymore.
You weren't even sneaking around at all. You were brazenly shopping in street markets and participating in street races. Well, it's a good thing that all of these police officers are bad guys, and none of them are actually just innocent men protecting the police station, because this might seem rash. All that nonsense about hairpin turns and fast cars avoiding video cameras, and the movie is going to ultimately have them steal the entire safe through tow cable brute force, because if you're still watching, you certainly don't care. Why wasn't the original plan to get an armored vehicle and do this? A couple of fast muscle cars can just pull... How much was it, Ludicrous?
10 tons of top-of-the-line security.
Out of a f***ing wall. Can't we agree at this point that this is where the cars would flip over from, you know, all the physics? I'd complain about the terrible aim, but I'm more concerned about this zillion-ton safe being dragged by 2 American-made cars.
Well, the plan's working. You guys have every corrupt cop in Rio on your tail.
How do you know that all of them are corrupt? Some of these guys, I don't know, might just be doing their job. Dom and Brian very likely kill lots of people and cause millions of dollars of property damage because they're trying to get back at a guy who just wanted a computer chip from a car seized by the DEA. I'm still trying to figure out if this plot is even real. They're now pulling a safe that is crashing through a store. I wish this safe were magnetized so we could watch with hilarity as they pull all the cars and boats and planes and jewelry and basically all that from Spider-Man 2. Now Dom's car is pulling the safe and the other car by itself because there's a great disturbance in the Force. Not the Star Wars Force, mind you. The Force described by Isaac Newton is disturbed. Brian laughs because he doesn't yet realize how many innocent people he's killed during this scene. Anytime this cadre of police officers chasing Brian and Dom want to shoot for the tires is okay with me. Why are they still firing guns anyway when that's been proven ineffective in this movie?
License and registration, please!
Please cut another check to Mr. Gibson. Wow, that's like murder. How has no one in this movie said the word Hemi yet?
It was always the plan. Take care of Mia.
How was it always the plan when the original plan before The Rock came on board did not involve you f***ing dragging the safe out of town like this? Also, hero sacrifices himself to save the others cliche. I guess this is entertaining for many people. With nothing being grounded in any realism at all, we just accept that Dom's pulling a 10-ton safe with this one car right now, maneuvering it in such a way that he can guide the safe anywhere he wants it to go. I think this movie is basically just telling you, relax, it's only a movie, which I f***ing hate. Now the safe and all its weight and momentum can suddenly pull Dom's car in another direction. I guess it was waiting for the movie to allow it to do what it should have done way back at the police station. Guy about to shoot another guy gets shot at the last second by some surprise ex machina asshole cliche.
It's a hell of a mess.
Beyond all the damage to Rio and all the likely fatalities, we're now left with a Rio that currently has no living police department. To quote the kid from Die Hard with a vengeance, it's Christmas. You could steal City Hall.
Just come tomorrow, I will find you.
He's already allowed them to do this crash the safe through Rio thing. He doesn't owe them anything anymore. His character in no way benefits from letting them have 24 hours to go play hide and seek. Hobbs lets these guys go and doesn't check the safe until after they're gone.
You guys just carved out a 10-second window.
A 10-second window to unload a 10-ton safe into a garbage truck and switch it with another 10-ton safe before anyone notices. And despite your considerable driving skills, something you've never practiced in your life is going to go off without a hitch and fool everyone. So you somehow planned this bullshit discreetly in a matter of minutes after The Rock joined the cause? Which is complete bullshit. Cop that tried to bust our heroes ends up respecting them so much he laughs upon learning they got away with it cliche. I know they've been given 24 hours, but I can't believe Hobbs doesn't raid this hideout again. Part of the deal was that they couldn't take the money, and he knows they switched the safes, but he decides to lay off for some stupid reason. Let that be a lesson to you kids. Stealing is totally okay, as long as you steal from a bigger shithead than yourself. Unearned romantic coupling. Aw, they got together because their significant others died, didn't they? But they have so much in common beyond the tragic deaths that tie them together.
You need to look at that.
The irony is, we are looking at that, but Hobbs can't look at that because she's turned the wrong way. Well, Letty's not dead. I'm sure there will be some terrific explanation for this, considering that dude Phoenix from the last movie asked Dom,
You remember her face? Last time I saw it, it was burning.
Probably just a twin sister or something. Poor, long-lost, previously unknown and dead twin sister. Comcast. Least original film franchise continues to be produced by ironically named company. Here's yet another Fast and Furious road with no one on it but our main characters.
You're gonna be a great father, Brian.
Wait, did they drag race just to be here for the childbirth? Is there ever a time these guys think, you know what, today is not a day to risk my life. Let's carpool in a Miata for once.
Let's go for a little ride.
Fast and Furious flashback montage opening credit sequence.
Riley Hicks, read your file.
Now I'm going to read the file out loud to the audience.
Is that legal?
No.
But we'll let it slide because it's awesome. Their sex is made better by remembering their former lovers' deaths.
It wasn't that hard to find you, Toretto.
This surprise visit brought to you by Under Armour.
I need your help, Dom. I need your team.
Well, it should be easy to pry them away from their retired millionaire lives in order to take down a crew that does the exact same illegal things they did to become millionaires in the first place just because your old girlfriend is involved. I am not the director of photography on this movie. Everyone at this table enjoys a nice Coca-Cola. Except one, who ordered it, popped the top, and then just left it full. Movie expects me to believe this kind of third world ATM rigging bullshit is possible. Despite the fact that it's in some sort of container where I can't actually see the food right now. So glad to see these two I didn't care about from the last movie are still together.
Starting a life together.
Aren't we doing that?
Maybe, but something tells me this conversation is going to get interrupted by something, so you can't answer this right now. Also, clearly you aren't, since Tokyo Drift technically comes after this movie and you aren't in it, so clearly you're going to die. At least until the franchise needs you back. Is this a situation these two have been in enough in order to get into formation? And if so, how many times did it work when they were completely surrounded? No franchise in history has done as much to push shitty beer as this one.
Letty's dead, though.
Somehow, despite the fact that I was in the FBI when she died, and she was working for me at the time, I don't have any real evidence of her dead body for some reason. And don't give me that because someone else's body burned and they couldn't verify it bullshit either. I'm wondering if she really died, Sunset.
Our target's Owen Shaw.
Depicted here in the middle of a military operation having his picture taken like he's on vacation.
Hey, man.
Of course, this secret meeting warehouse garage has vending machines, because why wouldn't it?
It's on the house.
And there was no quieter or safer way to tell you that.
We getting paid, right?
Yeah, you'll definitely earn that paycheck, Tyrese. I know this place is surrounded by police, but Do you put a wire on someone out in the open like this?
I just got confirmation on Shaw. They're going in.
Arresting one man requires all the Interpol.
Police scanners are saying alarms are going off at Interpol headquarters.
You brought us here so you could take down Interpol.
Because much like the police station in Bad Boys, Interpol decided to empty their entire station to go after one dude.
Guys, it's a ghost town over here.
Which is notable, because that has been the case in every other previous movie as well. How did Shaw rig all these columns with explosives that nobody could see? They'd have to be inside the columns, right? How'd he manage that especially in the time he had? Interpol decides in a major operation that roadblocks are for suckers. Man, bullets in these movies are worthless.
Sure, we have 3 cars tailing us.
You know what to do.
You want me to blow all 3 drivers? How are any of our heroes' cars fit for driving after the hail of machine gun fire they just endured? Shaw is like a more villainy Batman, with all sorts of wonderful toys. But this weapon makes you unable to control your car. That's it. All sorts of explosive technology could be implemented here, but this will just end up causing a wreck, which these guys survive all the time. And oh yeah, he survives this.
Oh,
What? Just now? Brian ninja drives, so this car grenade thing gets knocked off, which is bullshit regardless, but is extra bullshit since it was lodged in the front bumper, where he could never in a million years see it to know its location well enough to do that shit.
Approaching rendezvous point.
Doesn't that mean you both left at specific times and drove at specific speeds, despite traffic and police interference, to get here at the same time? Wrecks are meaningless. This hench girl is not amazed by Brian's survival. However, it is a perfect opportunity to wink at him and establish superiority. Running into things simply does not matter. You. Also, Hobbs jumps out of his vehicle and lands on a car that, while he's in midair, should be long gone due to things like science. They were not only able to survive the crashes, but recover the cars and drive back with no problem.
You don't turn your back on family, even when they do.
What? But if they did, then they aren't family anymore, according to this motto, right? Somehow, despite never really seeing their faces or knowing their names, this crew is able to find all the heroes' rap sheets with no information whatsoever.
You might want to see this.
A picture that is strangely a surprise, despite the fact that the blonde chick neatly stacked all this evidence into one big file before presenting it to the team. Shaw somehow even has a screenshot of a moment from the first fucking movie.
Yeah, that's the guy I shot.
It's weird that I'm in this picture too, but I chose not to acknowledge that.
I don't remember him.
Amnesia.
You heard that flip car going through those gears.
Sequential transmission.
That didn't sound like a normal engine.
Oh, I guess everyone in this scene gets at least one line. How democratic. Also, this is a scene that could have used a nice long take. This scene is cut to death, and we're not even in a confusing action sequence. But I guess a long take would have required everyone remembering their line.
We find the guy who made that car, we find Shaw.
Because underground auto mechanics who build custom Batmobiles just happen to know the address of extremely careful international criminals.
Kitchen help entrance is towards the back.
This unnecessary prejudice person assumes entirely too much for the audience's amusement.
I don't mean any offense, gentlemen.
This entire scene means offense to me.
Clearly, you're not a baller.
This man's face goes way too unpunched for me.
What's the dude plan on hunt? Moby Dick?
Paycheck, Tyrese.
It's specific to one handgun, the PSM.
Everything in the Fast and Furious world comes from one freaking source. Making investigations look so easy, I just passed the FBI exam sitting in my apartment masturbating at porn. After a handful of truly terrible line readings, Gina Carano finally explains her reason for being in this film.
Bad shirt.
So this guy's comeuppance is that he has to give his clothes to The Rock? Prejudice is fought one garment at a time, ladies and gentlemen. Also, this scene where they bully this guy into taking off his shirt is so Michael Bay, it makes me ask, how can people pile on the Michael Bay Transformers hate train and still defend this f***ing bullshit series here? What is it that makes you see them as different?
Damn, you need some hedge clippers for that shit.
Hilarity. These women somehow miss the obvious beep this phone makes. Doesn't the gaping hole in this window negate the purpose of having such a secure boot? Also, he keeps his weapons just far enough away to be useless in a pinch.
What is she, a street racer?
Where can we find her?
How do I know?
These guys actually went to a pawn shop expecting the owner to know anything of the whereabouts of the woman who came in to buy guns from him earlier. I guess you follow every lead, but this is extremely worthless movie-wise. Is this how you execute people? God, these are supposed to be professionals. Braga. Seriously? Did we need to bring Braga back? Also, this fucker spits out one helpful name before dying because he totally rethought his life choices in the last 30 seconds and became a good guy. Totally. This is one of the only gunshots in this entire franchise to be super accurate. Dude, you had all the space on the right side. It's not like you needed to run in one direction the whole time. The bobbies go out like little bitches, and of course try to apprehend him one by one and don't call for backup. Michelle Rodriguez sort of holds her own in a fight with Gina Carano. Guy who was running from these two a minute ago suddenly feels the need to stay here and fight more dudes and waste more time. Both women survive this without paralysis. Meanwhile, somehow no other cops have been called to the scene, and this fight has gone on for ages. Train that is just now leaving because it's convenient ex machina. Oh, they got their asses kicked. Makes you wonder how they survived those massive wrecks with absolutely no injuries.
If Ivory's dead, he made a mistake.
Letty's been working with this guy for a while now, and is just now coming to the shocking conclusion that he's not that sentimental.
Braga will know what Shaw is up to. I'm gonna pay him a visit.
Don't they have that dude's cell phone, though? He punched a button, and it called one of Shaw's men. Can't you find out a lot more from this cell phone than you can by flying into the U.S. and risking arrest just to talk to Braga? Funny how we never see anyone actually drinking NOS in these movies, but there are always cans on display.
I'm the one that served her up to Braga.
And then did a shitty job actually investigating anything related to her death. I'm actually a shitty bad guy and good guy, as it turns out. Handshaking contest.
Tell me something, O'Connor. How is it you keep running around the world, breaking every law known to man, and yet here I am putting my job on the line for you?
These guys never got along in the fourth Fast and Furious movie, and there was no, hey man, I hate you, but I respect you scene. And we're supposed to believe that this FBI guy gives a shit about nabbing Shaw, who's wanted by Interpol and does most of his crime outside America? Also, why couldn't Hobbs pull some strings on this? Better yet, why doesn't he get somebody to talk to Braga?
It's a 24-hour hold. You need to be out of there by 9 a.m. That's when forensics will run your fingerprints through the national database.
Not to mention, that's when all the assholes who saw your face plastered all over TV during the last movie will suddenly recover from their memory lapse that you're a highly wanted fugitive named Brian O'Connor.
Again?
Man, this guy would be f***ing excellent at CinemaSins. Movie is full of unbelievable bullshit, but this harpoon gag may be the hardest for me to swallow.
So tell me something, because I buried her.
Well, no, you didn't. In fact, this is the first time you've even acknowledged you were around her dead body. Did they not have DNA, dental records, or any kind of real identification? And again, don't give me that some other body burned beyond recognition bullshit.
Humor me, please.
You're a dead man walking. What does it matter? I ran everything for sure.
Villain spills evil plan details to his enemy instead of just killing him. Phoenix decides, nah, I won't shoot her directly. I'll let a violent expansion or bursting with noise decide this.
Shaw found in the hospital 2 days later. He went to finish the job.
What told Shaw to go to the hospital? Did Phoenix find this guy Shaw, who was not his boss in Fast and Furious, and tell him, man, I blew up this car and I'm pretty sure Letty died, but you might want to go check the local hospitals and see if she turned up, because I did not verify whether or not she died. Also, this hospital had no idea who Letty was? Didn't call any law enforcement whatsoever? And international criminal Shaw was just hanging around LA looking for random tough street racing chicks? This is some bullshit just to get Letty back in the franchise. Because he's a main character, movie will now allow Brian to win this unwinnable prison shiv fight.
How do you think he knows your next move before you make it?
He's got eyes on you.
I'm dying, so I might as well tell you, everything. Also, so far, we've seen nothing that Shaw knows anything about what's coming when it comes to Brian and Dom's crew. In the last scene, the only reason he knew was because this dude called them. In the scene before that, they didn't even know who they were. This is setting up the big Riley surprise later, but she's done a poor job telling Shaw jack 10 full seconds of a nighttime London establishing shot. Bravo, movie. Bravo. Every damn one of these pre-street racing scenes are the exact damn same. For all I know, they shot this for Too Fast, Too Furious and inserted it into this movie. Also, didn't you spend time in this film talking about the Big Brother surveillance state of London? Maybe some street races take place, but neon dance parties with this many people would be quashed in a hurry.
Ready?
Ready to drive, sure, but can you tell me what the course is? Because I literally just got here. It's goddamn Piccadilly Circus, and only one cop shows up to track these illegal street racers down. Come on, we need to stop street racing so we can stop this movie in its tracks even further by having an intimate moment.
Just because you know how I ride doesn't mean you know me.
People with amnesia shouldn't say shit like this to people that obviously know them.
Nice scar. Like this scar in here.
Scar history.
What else do you know about me?
I know your favorite sexual positions, your favorite beer, your tattoos, and birthmarks. Jesus, woman, what's it going to take for you, someone with amnesia, to be open to the idea that someone else knows you very well?
Some kid trying to show off lost control of his car, wiped out right next to you. You're lucky you didn't lose your arm.
Is this girl's entire backstory filled with surviving odds-defying ridiculous car accidents? Okay, I've been giving her a hard time for not trusting him more, but trusting him this much for a sexy hair touch? Now she's trusting too much.
How about this one?
What the f***? Okay, I'm now in camp. You're trusting him way too f***ing much right now.
Predictable means vulnerable, and that means I can reach out and break you whenever I want.
So, do it.
At least when I go, I'll know what it's for.
That's deep.
It appears this inspiring tale has come to an end.
If that's the way it has to go.
Does Hobbs, who is behind Dom, know there's a laser sight pointed at him? Because he did that right on cue. And since he tracked Dom here, why didn't he bring more people to arrest Shaw right now? Good God, man. I would have won this shit already.
You know what would have happened if I didn't put that tracker in your car?
Not to mention spending 5 minutes with Letty discussing scar tissue.
You were able to track Shaw after he left you and Dom, but this guy's smart, so we can only track him so far.
If only we had more people who aren't doing anything right now who could have been there when Shaw went to go kill Dom. If only we had people who were, like, really awesome drivers who could maybe have followed him. Or even better, been there to stop him from getting in his car in the first place. Damn. Oh well, back to the digital surveillance. So you think you've got Shaw located, and you're going in with 2 people holding revolvers. Rock looks down at the exact spot where the crucial evidence is. Haha, funny, but how many Marvel characters is Dwayne Johnson supposed to be in this movie? He's Captain America.
Will somebody tell Captain America here that requires clearance?
Now he's Thor. Next up, Black Widow.
Yeah, that paint you got from Shaw's place, highly specialized.
Of course it is.
Fine. Whatever you found out, that's for you.
Discount Morpheus. Also, Brian's highly risky, impossible trip to the US to find Braga was basically so he could find out what he already knew. And it's that Letty didn't die, got amnesia, and was recruited by Shaw. Plus, some bullshit Braga didn't even have to volunteer.
Braga said the only way you get near Shaw is if he wants you to.
Information that was strangely volunteered without any good reason, but will help us now. Also, Braga is to be trusted completely. That goes without saying, right? Former cartel leader. I mean, this guy knows his shit, right?
Shaw ain't hitting that base.
He's hitting the convoy.
Great. Now call Hobbs on the phone or radio and tell him that. Then problem solved, right? Right? So you think a huge, heavily armed criminal is coming for this thing, and you decide to move it, with 2 personnel trucks as the only backup.
Let's go!
Military personnel carrying an important component did not notice this military-grade vehicle behind them, clearly up to no good. What caused this truck to start rolling on the ground like that? Also, good guy truck goes flying off bridge, but other good guys driving cargo truck with obvious rear-view side mirrors don't notice it. These everyday drivers in front of a f***ing tank blowing through military vehicles on the highway are not in any way amazed or concerned.
So who's got a plan B? Plan B? Plan B? We need a plan C, D, E. We need more alphabets.
That's ludicrous.
Hey, we do what we do best.
Defy the laws of physics?
We improvise, all right?
Oh. Also, that still leaves all of you doing your own thing and guessing. Why not at least talk through the improvisational plan? Also, we'll improvise a whole f***ing special place on the highway where we can magically turn around and follow them.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
Lucky that you missed? Or lucky that the motherfucking tank that's been absolutely destroying cars merely bumps into Roman's car after you miss?
Somebody better do something! I got a tank on my ass!
Earn that paycheck, Tyre. You will believe a man can fly.
Letty, go take care of the cable.
You need to be outside when the tank gets thrown, so something really bullshit can happen to save your life. Why would a fucking tank be impeded in any way by the weight of a single Mustang? Wouldn't the cable break before the Mustang stops the tank? This movie is fast and spurious. This movie took an interesting twist, because the remainder of it will be about how Dom and Letty help their friends in the afterlife. Because though they appear to be living right now, I assure you they died. Hobbs and his helicopter arrive way too late to matter, but only because cell phones and radios don't exist in this universe, for just this 10-minute stretch.
Can't believe they stole a 70-ton tank for a 3-ounce computer chip.
Okay, so 70 tons? That tank, 70 tons, were in any way slowed down or stopped by a fucking Mustang. F*** you in the ear, movie.
Nobody makes me do anything I don't want to.
Except Shaw, the entirety of this movie until this point. But yeah, I hear you.
So what's our next adventure after this?
Marriage.
How did you know that there would be a car there to break our fall?
Honey, that is really the most minor of the questions that you should be asking as to why you survived all that bullshit we just saw 3 minutes ago.
Some things you just have to take on faith.
1/4 mile at a time. So he's got Mia hostage. Great. Doesn't the greater good still demand they don't let him go right now? I mean, I like Mia too, but let's use our heads here, people.
But this changes nothing.
Hobbs' character changes whenever the script needs him to be good, bad, or somewhere in between.
Words like amnesty and pardon, walk out with them.
We're 6 movies in. I don't think it matters whether or not these assholes are wanted by cops.
Come in, babe.
Of course.
This so-called surprise only serves to make me even angrier about this movie. Also, yeah, like you didn't have use for her anymore planted inside Hobbs' crew. Do you need the surprise reveal now? Why? She can join you at any time. It should be noted that during Hobbs' dumb surprise that Riley's not a good person, he's not holding a gun to the NATO guy anymore. These bad guys are completely in the open and can be shot, but I guess they really care about Mia like the audience does. Actually, I think the past 40 minutes of this movie probably needs an extra 100 sins for no reason. Everyone cool with that? No? Too bad. This movie is really, really hard to swallow on any basis, even if it's just a fun, stupid movie. It's kind of hilarious that Gina Carano, the worst actor in this movie, ends up playing the surprise mole, a character that would have to be the best actor among them to actually pull off the job.
I just jammed every signal up and down the spectrum.
Let's move.
So your plan is to go after and attack a guy that you just had right in front of you, with none of the he has a hostage situation changed whatsoever? Why couldn't you jam the signal before he left and just shoot his ass?
That ain't a plane. That's a planet.
Yeah, Tyrese, this runway is long enough for a plane to land, board moving cargo, and I presume take off again, since this movie has no regard for common sense.
She's as good as dead if Shaw gets away on that plane.
Just in case you or anyone in the audience needed reminding of that.
Ride or die.
Now that I've hit my already as far as it goes gear shift, I'm really gonna start driving fast. They brought Mia all the way here, but Why? Meanwhile, these assholes don't close the ramp or guard it, allowing easy access for Dom to speed to the rescue. If these vehicles are going 60 miles an hour, then this runway is already over 2 miles long. This is a chick who just got crashed by a car, by the way. This fight is interesting because you already fought once, but you were both on the same side. So all that was pretend? Or did Letty not know that this chick was a double agent? Which means this fight is just a rehash and I'm gonna call you lazy. Don't you have a lot less weight than you were expecting? Some of the bad guys in their jeeps didn't make it into the plane, and only Dom's car drove in. So what a bunch of bullshit is what I'm saying. You took that harpoon thing with you? How convenient. If the plane and cars chasing it are going at least 60 miles per hour, and they are, then this runway is now over 4 miles long. Dom knew that a precisely timed headbutt would knock this guy so far back it'd knock him out and save Brian at the same time. 2 heavy cars drive off the plane, but the pilots still can't get the plane in the air. They probably forgot about that weight nonsense when they made this scene. Everything about this mission is rescuing Mia, who is now rescued, so naturally Brian drives her right back into the action. Also, Brian just knew this ramp car hitting him would merely pop him up in the air harmlessly, because he's Batman. Wherever this asshole came from, man, I no longer have any clue what the f*** is going on. I'm still pretty mad Letty lived. Runway now at 6 miles and counting, if you're keeping track. But of course, this movie's just for fun, so you're not supposed to give a shit, right? Oh, you mean just now? The Rock fights discount Brock Lesnar. Alley-oop punch. Something random is within arm's length to get out of choking cliche. Hobbs has the luxury of wasting time to throw this to Letty rather than just smoking Riley with it himself. Meanwhile, Riley just stands there and lets all this happen, rather than using her considerable reflexes to tackle Letty or anything that might save her. This movie is the kind of thing 4th grade me made up in the bathtub with Star Wars action figures. I'm pretty sure this runway spans 150 miles. I mean, this chase has been going on without one single turn in another direction for at least 8 minutes. Yeah. Also, these assholes should enter all the lotteries. Impossible things! Excitement! Don't worry, Han. She'll show up with amnesia and working for the bad guys 2 movies from now, and you'll be able to turn her back by giving the history of all her scars. Also, taking out your gun and shooting people with amazing precision is possible at these speeds when you're falling from a jeep that is harpooned to a plane taking off. More thrilling punching! Movie rips off bad guy death from Incredibles, which ripped it off from Die Hard 2, which ripped it off from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Jumping from one speeding thing to another is just like breathing in this movie. Double goddammit! Triple goddammit! All the good guys will survive this. The acceptance of shit like this is why we can't have good movies. Letty, it's just a wreck that kills people. Dom will be fine. Not even at the end of the runway yet, and it's been 12 miles. You can sit back and drink your Red Bull and blab all you want about how these movies are escapist fun and you're not supposed to take them seriously, but I'm still gonna f*** your sister later tonight. The end of the runway finally shows up when the action is over, as if they built the runway for this movie or something. Dom is fine, and I'm okay with that. Wait a minute, I am not okay with that. F*** your romance.
Where's Giselle?
Mia, that's f***ing greedy.
Try to keep him out of trouble, though.
I guess this chick needs to get on eHarmony now and look under all the available widowers. You know, honestly, I think Corona and this franchise are a perfect match. Seriously. Both are enormously popular despite being complete shit with glossy marketing.
You know you don't have to go.
Dom, that's f***ing greedy. Recent love interest is way more cool about boyfriend's other recent love interest showing back up than any real person would actually be. I'm glad these criminals finally did enough wrongs to make it right. Movie thinks that in any world there wouldn't be at least 10 deaths because of this stunt. I'm gonna go ahead and tell everyone, whether you believe me or not, that I called this shit before it even happened or looked at any spoilers. This franchise is not too far away from becoming the Expendables, and this is proof. Comcast. This production company continues to be a bit of hilarious irony. Look, I know this is London, and I've never been there. I mostly know this from Star Trek Into Darkness and that one Fantastic Four movie. My point is, the average person knows this is London without being told. So why are we being told?
They say if you want to glimpse the future.
Guy talking to himself basically disguises that this is opening narration. But you bet your bloody Yankee whimpernuts that this is narration, or however British people express it.
When we were kids.
First of all, that this asshole somehow survived that shit in the last movie. Second of all, talking to an obviously comatose person. Third of all, Sudden, even more badass brother villain is Sudden. Yeah, but shouldn't there still be a dozen SWAT teams waiting for him once he reaches the main floor? Yep, movie would have you believe you can do this much damage to a place and then walk out of said place several minutes later with no cops having shown up. By the way, what kind of asshole hospital building waits until you're outside before collapsing parts of itself? And somehow all the destruction managed to avoid hitting this new villain's precious white sports car. It took 4 f***ing editors to edit this bullshit, and 2 to photograph it. Friends, when you you start seeing the star of the movie serve as a producer, it's just like those TV shows that have gone too long and they start giving the cast unnecessary credits to make them feel like they're people. From the creator of the Saw franchise, which is a good fit for this series that has devolved into the car version of torture porn anyway.
They say an open road helps you think.
I thought it shuts down during cryosleep.
About where you been, where you going.
They do not say that.
Race wars.
Someone needs to rename this event quickly. Whoa, when did dirt bikes get invited to girls? Well, I guess it's important to let everyone know just how much you respect women. Thankfully, amidst all this female showering, they remember to actually hold some car races. This girl's ass apparently just signed a 7-picture deal at Universal, because it was featured at least 15 times during this pre-race action. Also, I thought this crew was all about heists now, not car racing. Judging by the last several movies, they should give two shits about race wars. Iggy Azalea isn't not in this scene. Dom allows Hector to touch him with his hands, which were just a minute ago wiping off bloody mouth fluids. This is supposed to be funny.
Buddy, where's the door button at?
Didn't you use the door button when you left this morning? Or did Jordana Brewster do it for you? You're telling me a gearhead like this guy can't figure out where the button is just because he's driving a minivan? Brian just lets this chick take his kid, assuming she works here, which thankfully for him, she does. But Jesus, right? Here, take my kid, I've got a crime to commit. Character knows exactly where other character is because character knows other character so well cliche. Letty gets deep by staring at her own fake gravestone.
That's the date that I lost my memory.
Jesus, Skip.
I have to find myself for me.
Letty breaks up with Dom at her own grave while he's holding a sledgehammer, and somehow, no one thought to walk out of the theater right at this moment. Camera dollies away from a dude wielding a sledgehammer he was going to use to destroy the headstone of his ex-girlfriend who's not dead cliche. Deckard is apparently so good he can sneak into this place without anybody noticing, which is a skill I guess you develop because your brother's in a coma and you really want revenge for it.
Hey, so you better start talking before I break that finger 6 different ways. And
why aren't you doing that already?
You just earned yourself a dance with the devil, boy.
That line.
Like I said, I'm here for the team that crippled my brother.
You didn't say anything about your crippled brother until this statement. These guys have hit each other in the face way too many times for neither of them to be bleeding profusely. I guess I should be excited about seeing The Rock and Jason Statham getting in a fight, but I just can't help but think The Rock should win this easily. Also, Rock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels. Deckard survives this, probably because that table he kicked out in front of him was so sturdy. And Hobbs and Elena survived this, because you don't care anyway. Apparently, we're still not past Tokyo Drift yet in this series, despite the fact that we saw Deckard finish Han off at the end of the last movie. So we basically just saw a 15-minute prequel to the end of Fast and Furious 6, which is chronologically the 5th movie in the 7th movie of the series.
I'm having another baby.
And you didn't tell him, did you?
Telling your brother this before your husband.
I don't want him to be disappointed with his life.
This is the flimsiest of all movie romance obstacles. She's lying to her beloved husband because she thinks he misses the action and crime of his old life so much he can't possibly take the news of yet another kid.
You don't know me. You're about to.
Dom decides, you know what? That box that came from Han? Probably a bomb sent by this mysterious voice on the phone coming from Tokyo, because what else could it be? Also, the fact that Deckard gives any warning before the box explodes. This bomb blows up the entire house, but somehow doesn't harm Dom and his sister who were standing right outside the house. Yeah, totally. Also, despite the considerable force that ran Brian's face into the window and nearly broke through it, his face is as pristine as when he was born. Vin Diesel is wondering where his sledgehammer is for this shot. Also, did Deckard set that bomb up knowing it would fail? He's on this oddly personal vendetta, but he tries to kill Dom, Brian, and Mia with remote-controlled bomb, which might be the dumbest movie bomb in history.
Shattered his collarbone, fractured his leg in 2 places.
I know, getting exploded out of a window and falling 10 stories into your car, you'd think that would taste like cupcakes. But Hobbs was really unlucky. When The Rock suffers, he suffers sexily.
You risk life and limb to save the free world, and what do they give you? Jell-O and a bad 70s TV show.
Did you not see the gun, though? They also gave him a big-ass gun. Also, that show ruled, so shut your whore mouth.
You remember Owen Shaw? The one we tore half of London down trying to get.
Nope. Was that the last movie? Wasn't it Carl Urban, or somebody from Lord of the Hobbit that was that bad guy? I get my Fast and Drive Angries mixed up. Hey, how do we make The Rock a star of this movie while still letting him honor his WWE contract? Easy, injure him early on and have him show back up for the finale. Brilliant! This is a lot of dramatic camera movement for what is a simple phone call, especially for this series.
Just promise me. After this, we're done.
She says this roughly 5 years and 5 movies too late, in case you confused it with Tokyo, Equatorial Guinea. Hey look, in Tokyo they also have unreasonably short skirts at car gatherings. We're not really so different after all.
Hey, yo, son!
Movie saves money by actually playing the end of Tokyo Drift and cutting some of Bow Wow's lines. Also, they cut out the part where Bow Wow told Sean about Dom beating everybody all over Asia, because clearly that's not why Dom came out here.
Han said you was fast, but not that damn fast.
Okay, first of all, did you bring your American muscle car to Japan? Because that had to taken weeks. Second of all, is the race over? Did you guys race and show us none of it?
We found a couple things about a crash.
You did? Were you driving around when Deckard killed him? How did you get your hands on crash site memorabilia?
When you find the guy that killed Han, what are you going to do?
Words ain't even been invented yet.
Jesus, we're in for a real treat when Deckard gets killed, because we've been promised twice it's going to be something the English language has trouble translating.
They say to live in the hearts of those we leave behind.
I thought it shuts down during cryosleep.
I can't do no more funerals.
But how else are you going to earn that paycheck, Tyrese?
First time. Now Hobbs is laid up, of all people.
That line makes no sense. Giselle died first, then Han, and Hobbs is merely hurt. So he does not belong in this train of thought you just began.
Promise me, Brian, no more funerals.
Unkeepable promise-mes. Also, the sad irony is thick and uncomfortable. Yeah, zoom that film out to make it look faster, Tyree. I mean, 4 editors who did this movie. Now we know why Kurt Russell is in this movie, because these cars are definitely death-proof.
Thought this was going to be a street fight?
Sudden SWAT Ex Machina has the element of surprise, and they still missed Deckard.
More of a Corona man myself.
We already knew that because we've seen the previous 6 movies, but still, super obvious dialogue-based product placement is ass.
Say hello to God's eye.
Fast and Furious takes Lucius Fox's sonar concept and applies it to this movie.
This is wrong.
Any rescue plans involving any U.S. government forces or entity has been strictly ruled out.
Yeah, but foreign governments would rightfully blame the U.S. anyway if they saw a bunch of drag racing Americans insert themselves into this situation. So why not use somebody in the world who's less criminal than Dom and his crew?
I mean, I could go back outside, enjoy the rest of the Coronas.
Corona, Corona, Corona? Corona, Corona! Ah, Corona!
Let Shaw come to me.
You could do that? How's that working out for you so far?
It's working out no different from every other Fast and Furious movie, but Dom decides to help Mr. Nobody because Deckard's been slightly more successful than the other bad guys in this series.
Which is why I've taken the liberty of gathering your team.
Right on cue, and straight from Han's funeral. Also, none of them needed the factual persuading you did, apparently, and all just came with my agents without incident. Amazing, no?
This is crazy.
Paycheck, Tyrese. Movie steals that stupid bullshit from A-Team and makes it even more stupid bullshit.
I'm sorry to let you down. What?
Okay, so now the parachute is already deployed, miles up in the sky, attached to a f***ing car, and somehow Tyrese is going to survive this. We're supposed to be concerned that anybody can die in this. That's why they've been talking funerals so much, but I'm not really all that worried, and that's a problem. They've never done this before, but they're going to land perfectly in the drop zone as if it's routine.
Sit tight, Roman. We'll come back for you.
Come back for him? Why did you even shoot him out of the plane if you don't need him in the first place?
All right, you got one chance to hit him here, Dom. You missed, they'll make it to their black site.
Unnecessary orders.
Cash shield!
Why wasn't he already ahead of them? Did they really think they were sneaking up on these guys?
Bulletproof, baby. Can't touch this.
I'll overlook the casual MC Hammer reference and instead say if this vehicle is bulletproof, how did the other cars survive the bullets then? Not that I buy any of the bullshit these movies have shown me, but these movies have shown me this crew being very detailed in their planning, to the point that these surprise guns should not be a surprise.
Armor-piercing round!
Brian Scion was able to withstand hundreds of armor-piercing rounds? The f***? Look, I know this series gets off on showing us not believable stuff, but this is well beyond that, into the realm of f*** you footage. Also, it's worth noting, you don't even need armor-piercing bullets if you shoot at the tires. Watch the road!
Brian, Tesh, blow it!
Let's split up the detonators from the cars firing the bombs, because there's no chance any of the 4 cars will get taken out before this point in the battle.
That was easy.
Chick with guy's name is a chick cliche. I guess the bad guy who's driving this bus is completely oblivious to all the stuff that just happened in the back of it. Probably has headphones on, like all people who miss things in movies do.
1, 2!
Ah, the old trick where you throw a woman onto a speeding car before she's ready for it, and then she loses her grip and has never done this before, but somehow stays in the car. How does this asshole f***ing know anything about this shit? How is he here? How is she screaming when she's clearly dead? Guy with plenty of guns at his disposal decides to do this. Paul Walker versus Tony Jaa. You didn't know you wanted it, but you got it. This should be a pretty easy fight, I'd say, but somehow Brian's going to hold his own. What is she even holding on to? Also, I'm genuinely convinced at this point this franchise is actively trying to create more work for us. Maybe the villain's tank buggy will be fine, but this vehicle Dom's driving is not going downhill off-road in a forest without a fiery accident. This all these street vehicles driving down a mountainside scene is way more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles than I think the movie intended.
What are you doing? This is crazy!
Keeping you alive!
Barely. Also, she probably had better odds to survive longer back in the villain's custody, if we're being honest. Even GTA 5 won't let you drive a vehicle down Mount Chiliad without dying, for f***'s sake. Stunt jump failed. Just because you decide to make this slow motion doesn't mean they should survive this fall. But screw it, what do I know? This is the most critically acclaimed episode in the series. I would have removed 100 sins if that happened to be Letty's car instead of the bad guys. Also, same gun that hit Brian's car 1,000 times will now flip a villain car off the cliff in 3 seconds. The bus driver is in plain view of all this stuff going on in the back. Why did he even keep driving after Brian saved Ramsey? Dead driver somehow manages to keep this bus on the road. You know how hard shuffleboard and paper football is? In the movies, they can score maximum points every time with large vehicles. Yeah! This movie is so very tiring. This is an ex machina, a how the fuck did he know they were here moment, and a paycheck scene all rolled into one. Lost World Jurassic Park Brian moment is still pretty Lost World Jurassic Park. Everyone who loves these movies basically just loves cartoons. That's okay as long as you can admit it. Okay, so where the hell was she this whole time? And how is she able to accurately assess that Brian is running up the bus when she can't even see him? Also, I guess Tej is hanging out somewhere with his bulletproof SUV in Ex Machina mode, waiting to pounce on a situation that needs Ex Machina-ing. Oh no, whatever will he do to get out of this situation? I'm so heartbroken right now, how could you? I feel bad for this guy. He's fantastic. But aside from Amistad and Blood Diamond, has been typecast as token action henchman in everything from The Island to Push to Guardians of the Galaxy to this farce of a movie.
What are you going to do?
Legit, having not seen this film until now, I'm betting he still drives off the cliff and somehow survives.
Fire on my mark!
On your mark? Why not just shoot now? Because no one cares, this is allowed to happen, even in a movie, and people are like, thrilling, let's go give this movie $1 billion worldwide. I love it when there are no consequences whatsoever. If these assholes could make it down to the crash site in time, then surely Give Us Freeze henchmen could have. It's like, I mean, what do you even... What's more, Dom isn't even hurt. I don't care what kind of reinforced bullshit vehicle they made. He doesn't even have a scar. We were worried about funerals in this movie for some reason.
I mailed it to a friend in Abu Dhabi.
Movie rips off Garfield's favorite place to ship Odie.
The way you took out them guys shows training.
Yeah, but you had a hood on during all that. So how did you see his techniques?
We're going to the Middle East.
You're in Azerbaijan. You're like basically already in the Middle East. Go a few miles south and you're in fucking Iran, dude. Do you even map? Meanwhile, very close to our last location. Discount Dubai. This side shot makes it look like they all pulled up in order like this. But then this wide front shot shows how impossible basically any of those timed entries were, due to, you know, all that behind them. Before we've seen one hacker skill, the sexy Ramsey is in a bikini, getting ogled by me, you, everyone, and, well, I like to feel superior by saying liberal douche stuff even though I'm secretly enjoying this. But, damn, can't we see her at her job first before we see this?
I tried to call dibs on Ramsey 2 years ago.
Who are you, and how did you know what they were talking about?
I need the speed drive I sent you. Where is it?
I sold it.
Why would you sell it? Oh, because of the cinematic adventure. I get it.
Now, why in the hell would he keep his car in his penthouse?
He's a billionaire, my friend. He can do whatever he wants.
Plus, we needed some reason for that stupid stunt that's going to happen later, so we'll blame it on the crazy billionaire.
Now, why in the hell would he keep his car in his penthouse?
Despite swapping the word why into the question in place of how, Ludacris would be excellent at CinemaSins.
I think I'm gonna start a new culture. It's called Blara. You know, like Black Arab.
That's racist.
We gotta move in sync if we're gonna pull this off, so let's go over it to make sure everyone clearly understands their roles.
Yeah, let's go over the plan during the plan, instead of beforehand. Brilliant. You had a whole plane ride. Thank God this paranoid billionaire Middle East prince doesn't believe in video surveillance, am I right?
What about my steps? What am I supposed to be doing?
It's kind of like the series realized that Roman was the Hawkeye of the group and started making jokes about it. Guess what? Just like Age of Ultron, making jokes doesn't redeem his character at all. As I stare at these two female asses, which the camera dictates I do, I have to wonder, do I have time to masturbate before anything important happens on screen? Every f***ing guard gets distracted by Roman's happy birthday ruse. I guess Michelle Rodriguez is always going to be tasked to fight some female MMA star in these movies. We're pretty sure she could beat up most guys, but gotta keep those showdowns strictly XX. None of these soldiers use guns. By the way, where in Letty's training was she able to take on 3 experienced fighters all at once? She had her hands full with Gina Carano last movie. It took forever for these guards to finally say enough's enough and stop Roman from doing whatever he was doing. Tonight, the part of Holly Holmes will be played by Michelle Rodriguez. Movie pretends that fall in any way hurt these two women. By Fast and Furious rules, they should have actually gotten stronger by crashing into the DJ station.
I'm losing the final gate. You gotta get out of there.
You're losing the final gate? First of all, how do you even have control over this gate? Second of all, why is one of the gates tardier than all the other gates that fell down at the same time a minute ago? Movie gives Tej even more badassery way before they consider giving Roman anything worthwhile at all. Extremely fragile sports car blasts through the vault wall and gets no damage. I realize this is the bad guy of this movie, but I have no idea how or why he's here right now. Actually, I'm not even sure why our heroes are here right now. I think the movie just hopes to blind me to the nonsensical storyline with crazy action. There are more bulletproof cars in this movie than there are human actors. Instead of just running over Deckard with this car, Dom decides, yeah, I can make this car crash through the window and fly over to the other building. That makes way more sense. I think, yeah, I'm adding 1,000 sins for this. 1,000. Most critically acclaimed movie in the series. Also, at this point, this would be considered a terror attack, and there would be thousands of soldiers, police, and government agencies swarming this place by the time they get downstairs. Also, how many windows have they crashed through at high impact? A spectacular stunt should have some element of danger, but it shouldn't be impossible. I mean, how lucky are these dicks that they didn't hit this building between floors, or like on a support beam or something? Also, why isn't Optimus helping them during the battle? People doing normal stuff don't see the crazy falling from the sky outside cliche. They still would have been okay. Movie will now gloss over how nobody arrests them for this shit. and even Deckard doesn't go down to the ground to figure out where the hell they went next, or wait for them anywhere. Also, if this movie thinks those two stunts are as cool as it thinks it is, they missed a golden opportunity to show in one shot all 3 buildings with all 5 holes cut through them.
My guys are racers, best drivers in the world, but they ain't killers.
Have you even seen any of the previous movies?
I hope you're enjoying your last meal.
Before prison. You meant to say last meal before prison, right? Because you didn't come here specifically to assassinate this guy, did you? None of these guys shoot this asshole right now, for some reason. Redness, darkness, gunfire, bullshit. Good thing he gave everyone a pair of those night vision sunglasses. Oh, shit. Night vision glasses advantage lasts all of 15 seconds. Awesome. Okay, so why did they bring the God's Eye here? They knew where Deckard was. They could have simply left this back at the garage, and Letty, Ramsey, Tej, or Roman could have radioed in any movements. But now it's here, so the bad guy can have it, and I can't think of anything more critically acclaimed than that. Grenade thrown by Shaw seems to basically only hinder Shaw's men.
If a war is coming, we're gonna face him on the streets we know best.
Piccadilly Circus? The US-Mexican border? You guys have had so many adventures, I'm honestly not sure what you're talking about here. I guess maybe LA, but then that was mostly just the first movie, so I give up. I don't know. Guys, I brought you here today to show you Los Angeles. It has nothing to do with what we need to do, but I get this weird feeling people are watching us and need to know where we are. Also, we're going to discuss our plan here, even though we had 16 hours of flight between Abu Dhabi and LA to work it out.
If they use God's Eye, it'll tap the cameras around town to find our location.
Is God's Eye supposed to be Jason Statham? Because this guy manages to find wherever these people are, even without a God's Eye.
We can't start a hack on them until they're within a 2-mile range.
Oh.
I don't know about y'all, but I didn't really plan on dying today.
The completion of that sentence required me to look at my watch, obviously.
We're gonna have another baby.
Jesus, do you now see why you might have told him this earlier?
Okay, kiss Jack for me.
I will.
Mia really got screwed in this movie, eh? She might as well be an answering machine. Of course, the entire house was destroyed by fire, except the garage and the classic dad remembrance car. Good guys and bad guys both head out from their lairs at the same time, almost as though this climax was scheduled. Oh no, we're being hacked and we're in an attack helicopter. I know, send in the automated drones. So, a few things here. Luckily, Brian and Ramsey are right next to one of those rigs where a car can fit underneath. But also, everyone on this street stops and moves to the side of the road except the rig they need to drive under. And then, when the main action starts up, suddenly no one cares about the drone and they're all going for a merry drive like nothing major is happening. And what happened to all the people who stopped in the middle of the road? They vanished. Oh, now you notice something crazy going on in this town. The cops here have less reaction time than the Grand Theft Auto cops. A second game of chicken in a movie is an immediate sin. In fact, it's another 100. Yes, Brian is running this red light because climactic reasons, but why is the light blue Prius in the next lane over also running the solid red light? And the SUV on the opposite lane? I mean, seriously, all we're asking is just once where one of these things does not work and the person doing the stupid thing dies. I could accept loads of bullshit if there were more hero deaths in these situations. In fact, I'd be the first to say, bullshit enchilada supreme please, with extra bullshit. He jumped, but he's also dead. I look forward to this movie explaining to me why he isn't dead. The military still hasn't made it to Los Angeles yet. So, draw? Oh, The Rock is in this movie. I totally forgot. Mostly because he's basically making a cameo.
Toretto.
Yes, some crazy explosion happens, and it must be Toretto. Phew, glad no one was driving down this road in downtown LA. Less believable than him flexing off his cast is the fact that he's got all the military gear in the world in this hospital room. Hero tosses weapon to settle things with fisticuffs cliche. F***ing shoot him, dude! Jesus. We've been waiting for this for so long.
Letty, the football's on fire! We need help!
Seriously, what the f*** has she been doing this whole time? She's just backup? Isn't she way more badass than this to be driving around as a backup? James Wan definitely thinks these camera movements all through the movie when people are falling down are exciting. They are not. This whole movie could have been about Tony Jaa and I would have loved it. Instead, the guy basically has a glorified cameo in the movie. Another expendable. It's amazing when these guys are getting their brains beat in, they suddenly have the clarity to arrange an almost Rube Goldberg-like escape. Oh yeah, The Rock is in this movie. Somehow this missile's direct hit does not destroy or even incapacitate the car. How does this guy know where to go and what the situation is in order to make this crash a faith? This could be the luckiest thing I've ever seen in this series, and I'm still spinning from that Dom becomes Superman to save Letty scene in Fast 6.
No way.
Hey Letty, f*** you.
Woman, I am the cavalry.
Who is that?
Well, based on this movie alone, the Terminator plus God.
Shaw's in the way. And it seems our friendship is at an end.
Why does Jaconda give two shits about Toretto? This whole time he cared about the God's Eye and killing Ramsey, but now he allows the killing of Deckard because he suddenly needs to kill Toretto, all while the military is 3 minutes away.
Thing about street fights, the street always wins.
You're on a roof! How did Dom not only know that stomping would open a huge hole, but also that it would open perfectly to swallow Shaw but leave Dom himself right on the edge?
Goodbye, Toretto.
We have such a crazy history together! Hobbs is trying to be helpful, but It's taking his ass for f***ing ever to shoot down this chopper. Another impossible survival. But for those of you who enjoyed this movie, what's it like being in the Matrix? Ignorance is bliss, right?
Don't miss.
Dom, you're in a Fast and Furious movie, where the thing that is 1,000,000 to 1 actually has way better odds. Like, even money. Stop acting like there's any difficulty here. When critics love this to the point that its Rotten Tomatoes score is 81%, are they really loving it, or are they worried the younger generation will accuse them of being out of touch? Letty, he survived it, okay? Oh, from way down here on the ground, Hobbs just knew that bag was full of grenades. That's some ridiculous intuition right there. This is some Shazam Black Adam test footage that somehow made its way into this film's final cut. Are we really gonna go through this Dom might have died nonsense? What a waste of time. Letty finally remembering is what somehow makes Dom come back to life. F***ing movies, man. They take and they f***ing take, dude. By the way, I'm still pissed the military hasn't shown up yet.
Why didn't you tell me we were married?
Because he didn't know about it until now. The screenwriter went back in time and put this in there so there'd be something emotional to revive it. So this is news to him as well. Yep, he survived that parking garage collapse just fine.
You do know none of this will keep me, right?
Sure, for Furious 8, you'll have the X-Men come and save you, with the help of Quicksilver, but he might be considered dead in one franchise and not dead in another. Anyway, enjoy your escape when the US government gets compromised. It's a waste of time to lock his ass up. And I thought Dom and Hobbs were going to do something so bad to him the English language needed to invent new words. Obviously not Paul Walker shot. What? It's not too soon, right? That was over a year ago, and this is pretty obvious, no? Paul Walker tribute doesn't include his performance in Running Scared, Varsity Blues, Joyride, Into the Blue, and 8 Below. "43 seconds of logos. Comcast. When you're the 8th movie of a franchise and your production company is called Original Film, at what point do you consider a name change? Also, you have a Goosebumps sequel and a Sonic the Hedgehog movie coming out soon, so it's time to invest in a U and an N for your name, in case you confused it with Havana, India. You see, it's different this time because they're using classic cars this time.
You make a deal, you gotta live up to it.
You make a deal, you're gonna live up to it.
Dom's in a new country in this chapter, so therefore the movie has to manufacture some bullshit conflict so we can get a classic Fast and Furious race in before it becomes XXX Ocean 17 identity.
He knows it doesn't matter what's under a hood. The only thing that matters is who's behind the wheel.
Okay then, I'd like to see you race this guy driving a 1985 Toyota Camry.
And we ain't racing no quarter mile here. We race the Cuban mile.
It's like a baker's dozen, only with empanadas instead of donuts.
Done.
Dom agrees to race this asshole in this dilapidated old truck because the movie is unsure if the audience realizes how good a driver Dom really is, so the stakes against him have to keep going up, even past the point of insanity.
Laughing gas?
Nah, Fed. This is Cuban Nas.
Is there a difference between Cuban Nas and regular Nas? I thought Nas stood for nitrous oxide, like, as in, if it were any different, it would no longer be Nas, but some other compound entirely. Conspicuous Coke can confounds consumers calculating cola comparisons.
Only needs to go a mile.
A Cuban mile, Dom. I wonder what the casting call is like for the flag girls in this franchise. Like, they must tell them, you won't be in any other movies after this, but on the plus side, you'll get to show your ass to everybody. This is broad daylight. I realize Cuba's a foreign communist country, but I still don't think they allow Havana streets to be shut down for drag races without some cops showing up. Motorcycle traffic stoppers luck out by getting a wide space to stop traffic in time and not get run over. How have they not already gone a mile? Yeah, I know, it's a Cuban mile, but how have they not already gone the amount of distance I think a Cuban mile is?
Okay, Buster. Let's see if this works.
This works. It's not enough for Dom to win this race with a bag car. It also has to catch fire before the finish line. This is all these movies summed up in one scene, honestly. Also, sure, this car can drive and drive fast while on fire. It's just Cuban fire. Q movie. Yeah, but do they have this slow-mo technology to figure out if Dom actually won? You know, it would have been more awesome to actually see the car at full speed crash into the water without 5 cuts. What, is this motherfucker Gandhi now?
You won my car, and you earn my respect.
I'll bet $10,000 right now Dom asked this guy for a favor before the end of the movie.
Yours was too slow for a Toretto anyway.
You're Impala?
So let that be a lesson to you, kids. You can somehow make a deal with a gangster, not fulfill your end of the bargain, have a cousin who just happens to be in your hometown who's a legendary street racer try to race your piece of shit car against the gangster's car at a terrible disadvantage. Have your cousin destroy that car during the race, then have the same cousin give you his awesome car, and have absolutely no consequences at all. It's like they keep trying to invent new ways to keep all these movies' titles confusing and overlapping. Fate rhymes with 8. Hilarious. Ah, Letty and Dom's love. The heart and soul of this entire Hey, wait a second.
How's that honeymoon going, Dom?
Cypher decides the best way to get Dom's attention is to fake a breakdown, rather than go to some of the many places she's about to rattle off that she knows Dom goes to every day.
Is this the road you take to your apartment every morning? What else is different, Dom? The Santiago's closed?
How does Dom, who has no job and is simply hanging out in Cuba, have a predictable routine every morning?
Oh, and Dom.
So, I heard Cypher open the door to her car, but I'm pretty sure she never closed that hood. Also, she shows him something on a phone that we don't see that causes him to betray his friends and family. So I think it's pretty clear she showed him the Sins video for Furious 7. Movies continue to think we need to know the longitude and latitude of a new place during a scene change. The Rock coaches girls soccer was probably a movie idea at one time, during that Tooth Fairy phase. Thank God we finally got to see a nod to that cinematic greatness here. Movie that is over 2 hours has time for this. Hey Hobbs, this important world crisis needed to be brought to your attention at the soccer game. Not before, not after, but now, damn it. He's just out in the open and in case you confused it with Berlin of Take My Breath Away fame. Also, here's the job Dom and his crew are on mid-operation. We don't need to know how they stole the EMP or what the plan was, because this movie is way more interested in dropping surprise plot twists and girls soccer on you than giving you details of a heist or character motivations. Also, why did the movie give us that scene showing Charlize talking to Dom? Now we know to expect something weird from him. Imagine if we experienced this job the way his teammates do and learned of his deception on the spot. That would have been way better.
Bombs away.
Seriously, how did the team get in here and set up all these bombs and gadgets without anyone seeing it? And this motherfucker is attached to a wrecking ball. I don't care how he did it, someone would have noticed. Also, why not set up bombs on the roadway instead of hoping the wrecking ball plan works? Oh, it's so we can see all those cars get hit by a wrecking ball, isn't it?
I hate you, Tej!
Earn that paycheck, Tyrese. By the way, considering they didn't tell him about the wrecking ball plan, couldn't he have, died? Hobbs survives all kinds of this. Oh great, another airstrip. I wonder if this one's also 22 miles long. Apparently, a cargo plane can just land on a dime going whatever speed it was going, allow a car to drive onto it, and fly straight up into the air with its rear cargo entrance still open. And no one in the control tower was able to ID that plane's transponder signal or decipher where it went after this using radar. Honestly, this movie suggests a successful takeoff is all this plane needs to get away with it. But that's not how airspace works. Germany would be scrambling some fighters right about now. Why did Letty go to Berlin, bring keepsake pictures of her and Dom, and put them in the glove box of the borrowed or stolen vehicle she drove during the robbery?
Dom is clearly communicating with somebody that's above our pay grade.
Hey, remember when they introduced Ramsey Bolton? Missandei to the Fast and Furious crew? And she was some badass hacker or some shit? Yeah, they still haven't given her anything to do. Deckard's in the same prison? What are the odds?
Yeah, good luck with that, Hercules.
I love how characters in both Central Intelligence and Fate of the Furious refer to The Rock as Hercules, as if this meta joke is something side-splittingly hilarious.
All show and no God.
This prison rivalry is still going on.
Because where I'm from, we don't settle fights by throwing bombs.
Well, that's funny because where I'm from.
Skip!
Just a malfunction.
What? What? Also, if tasing one cell's camera electrical thingy opens all the cells, then the designer of this prison is facing a serious lawsuit after this this editing and this camera work. The Rock's punches are made of dynamite or a Sharknado or some Omnipotence this pronounced makes me wonder why you can't steal the MacGuffin thing back via your own general godlike abilities, rather than recruiting a bunch of car thieves. A location so undisclosed, the movie doesn't even know.
6, 8, 9, 10.
So literally half the Interpol top 10 is made up of members of this crew? Is that even possible? Isn't DB Cooper still out there and shit?
Her digital identity is scrubbed every few seconds worldwide.
What? Also, despite this, we knew who we were looking for when we took this picture of her.
I'm bringing in an extra pair of hands.
You know, your mortal enemy. As a big surprise, which definitely builds trust between all of us. I had him waiting outside until I gave him an electric shock to cue him into the room. Also, this franchise is officially Pirates of the Caribbean, where everybody changes their good guy and bad guy status to fit some sort of crazy-ass narrative. And somehow, this secret government doesn't have anyone as good as this guy with computers.
Now, aside from myself, there's only 2 men in the world that have ever managed to actually track him down with any success.
Plus 1 woman, so that's 4 people at least, so he apparently isn't that hard to find. But sure, we still need Shaw for some reason.
So like it or not, you two are gonna work together.
It's just like in all those other movies that paired up 2 cops criminals that hated each other.
He's still green.
Yeah, like fresh baby.
All right, they're not in China.
Thanks for holding our hand during this, Tej.
Europe's clear.
You too, girl, they sometimes give lines to.
This is interesting.
Why?
Because that's here.
You mean Dom and Cypher were attacking this place at the same time they were being tracked? What great dramatic timing! Dom shoots a whole bunch of glass for some reason, as if he lives his life 3/4 through the script of Die Hard at a time. We're supposed to be reminded that Dom is now evil, but everything about this movie tells me he's just faking and will turn good at the last second, so like this is lost on me.
We can't bring Brian and Mia into this.
Can't you just make a phone call? Do they even have to be dragged into the situation to help?
Problem with putting your foot on a tiger's neck is you could never let it out.
The problem with lines like this is the movie thinks they're cool sounding, which they're not, but also that they make no goddamn sense. Oh, that's Elena from... Ah, crap. Which one was it? I think it's the third one. No, it's the fourth one, for sure. Wait, it might even be the fifth one. A baby? So I guess that YouTube video she showed him earlier in Cuba was of this gal in captivity? Even so, how was that enough to get Dom to go 100% rogue to the point where he wouldn't even tip off Letty or the others somehow? Unexpected Elena? F*** everyone else.
When I realized I was pregnant, you had just found out Letty was alive.
This is where the Fast and Furious franchise officially became the days of our lives. It's amazing how side chicks be getting pregnant just before the last time you saw them. Vin Diesel's Oscar clip. Cypher gives Dom a gun and goes through all the reasons why he won't kill her, ultimately saying there's a bunch of dudes ready to kill the son you didn't know you had up until 2 minutes ago. I don't know why she even bothered with this exercise, since I thought it was already common knowledge, but bloated movies gotta bloat, yo.
Satellites and radar grids all across the globe shift like an ocean.
If you say so.
So you know where Dom is headed?
Yeah, New York.
Wait, was he online chatting with somebody who knew where Dom was headed? Did he post a query on Usenet or some I think it would be a lot more awesome to know how he did this, even if you had to go through some sort of Ant-Man explanation. Speeding like this on this famous bridge brings out 0 cops. Weird. Dom just happens to be driving over a bridge that Roman and Tej are currently driving under. That may be the least believable moment in this movie, including the submarine crap.
Welcome to our new base of operations.
AKA God's Car Warehouse. Yes, the Fast and Furious series has always been about cars, but this is pushing it to some total bullshit levels. This is like all the cars.
It's neon orange. Don't choose anything less conspicuous.
Dude, this entire warehouse of cars has nothing conspicuous.
I like your beard. You're Blanta. Black Santa?
I got an ATM.
Dom can see this ATM from here, which is fine, I guess, but where is it? You and I both know there's no ATM outside that red building there. We find out later that Dom got help to block the ATM camera so that he could set up some plan with Shaw's mom. But how did he communicate his plan with everybody when he's being monitored? Are you saying that Cypher trusts Dom enough to allow him to communicate to people unmonitored? Whatever the case may be, he orchestrated impossible connections in an impossible amount of time.
To give you something back.
There is no way Dom does this in 5 minutes. I mean, come the f*** on.
And I'm gonna knock your teeth so far down your throat, you're gonna stick a toothbrush right up your ass to brush them.
Movie believes that we anticipate a Rock Statham fight so much that we'll be delighted with several scenes devoted to dick swinging. The God's Eye really is the only true conclusion to Hollywood's zoom and enhance obsession. It was always going to end this way.
It's zombie time.
Oh, it was zombie time by the 4th or 5th movie, but at least you're finally acknowledging it. Why do you even need Dom, let alone badly need him for this job?
Ouch.
I guess this is kind of cool and all, but this is a super complicated way to get what you want. If you've got God's Eye, you can find anyone, anywhere in the world. With her connections and know-how, did it really require a bunch of hacked cars crashing into him to get what she wants?
Take out the lead and follow cars.
Luckily, there's a car dealership full of cars we can hack that can crash into them right now. Remember, this is all just to steal a case from one man. Overkill watched this movie and walked out after finding it excessive.
I don't care if you send the goddamn Boy Scouts! Just send them some help!
Now that's Dom.
It's actually not, though. Dom hasn't done dick yet. It's actually 1,000 autonomous cars controlled by Charlize and one hacker guy. And Dom is just kind of following along and watching. But whatever. Even after that repeated lecture about choosing inconspicuous cars, all these motherfuckers drive out into battle in the most conspicuous cars ever. And all that car control utter bull technobabble was just to set up this raining car shot. And sometimes, guys, the visual is not worth the flimsy explanation you weave for it. Also, seriously, there are this many cars that you can hack remotely. I don't doubt there would be a lot, but this movie makes it sound like every single car everyone drives is hooked up to a network.
Target immobilized.
You're up, Dom.
Oh, she needed 1,000 cars to immobilize the Russian guy. But Dom is super important as the guy that then goes in to grab the case. Any hired goon could take over here, lady. The more this series focuses on spectacle, the more they raise the middle finger to people who want even a sliver of logic or consistency.
Give me the case.
This is how The Usual Suspects foiled New York's finest taxi service, only way louder and stupider. And I won't be needing this anymore.
I think I know where my team's at.
Where?
Right in front of me.
I mean, God, these movies. Everything has to be some sort of reveal. Looking for someone? They're in the building right now. Found your team? Make your boss gasp before revealing they're here right now.
Police scanners are saying he stole a nuclear football.
What? First of all, would police even broadcast that panic-inducing information on channels they know some citizens and journalists are listening to? Also, how would anyone know that this soon after it happened in order to even broadcast it on police scanners in the first place? I don't know what's funnier, that there's nobody who needs to go down this street, or that this guy just totally ran a red light and didn't give a f***. Or these people casually sitting down next to the cars watching the movie. If only there were cops in this city. I love how this is so clearly impossible that the filmmakers cut several times during this to cover up all the times this car crashed doing this stunt. Whoever put together this scene has clearly never driven in Manhattan before. Miles of open road? Enough to stare down at your ex? Enough to engage the nos? Somehow, of all the stupid they tossed out in brainstorming for this movie, Car Harpoon still made the final cut. Or Carpoon, if you will. I love how these movies show cars that are clearly already going as fast as they can, complete with a nos injection, and yet there's always another gear that these assholes can try. Like, there's a theoretical notch on the stick that summons Dumbledore to make your ride sicker.
You gotta have about 2,000 horsepower in that thing. Try 3,000.
Try 5.
Whatever it is, it's bull. 5 government-made cars can't stop this thing. Also, does nobody have a gun that can shoot out the tires?
No!
While Dom is fake reacting to fake killing Deckard, Letty ninjas up on him and steals the case. Somehow.
What are you gonna do?
I feel bad for Charlize Theron in this movie, because for half of it, she's by herself looking at a screen delivering pointless lines.
I don't know why you're doing this, but I know one thing.
You better have a previously heretofore unknown young son being held hostage, or so help me God.
I will just take it from a dead girl.
Love is what finally makes Dom abandon his evil character and break good. Love for Letty over love for his son, or something. I don't really think character motivation is something these movies give much thought to.
Deckard, he didn't make it.
Movie flat out lies to you to set up a stupid reveal later. But also, why are they sad about Deckard's death? He was the villain in the last movie. They don't exactly love that guy, right?
You made the choice to let her go. And now I have to make one of my own.
So I turned off all the lights and waited until you got here to set up this surprise I'm gonna kill your baby party. This kid would not be calling Dom Dada on his second encounter with him. This is one of the cheapest ploys to pull audience heartstrings ever.
No! No!
Now they're gonna have to find a babysitter.
Connor Rhodes. He's also linked to somebody I'd quite like to forget.
This movie just became Spectre all of a sudden. Hey, remember all those characters from previous chapters? They're all tied to one main baddie somehow, even though that's clearly impossible.
Taking your son got me the codes. The codes will get me the nukes.
Yeah, but shouldn't you have done something with those codes as soon as you got them? You know, besides setting up that elaborate threat to kill Dom's baby mama and kid. Doesn't Russia know that somebody has their codes and are changing them at this very second? Or are nuclear codes that insecure that if they got stolen, someone really has this kind of power?
The problem we've had with tracking Cypher is there's nothing to trace.
Except for the satellite blind spots that Jason Statham figured out to track Dom's secret flight to New York City. But he didn't bother teaching anyone that so I guess that knowledge died with him.
We gotta call this in all the way up the chain.
Unfortunately, the Russian Minister of Defense got himself involved in a little incident on U.S. territory, and two governments aren't talking to each other for a while.
Huh? So you shouldn't even try? Is it really that simple of a reason? Come the f*** on. We're talking about goddamn stolen nuclear codes here, not shooting down a spy plane.
Pray that the apocalypse doesn't come knocking on your mama's front door.
The Rock has reverted back to full WWE mode these days, and his movies are suffering for it.
Take whatever vehicle you want. All bets are off.
Yeah, but you're going to ice Russia, and yet some of these fools will still choose Lambos and stupid ass like that. Did they parachute these cars on top of this mountain? Are you telling me Russian airspace is this awful they didn't spot a large cargo plane flying through here? Or that the separatists who control this base somehow missed them? Yep, about to drive dangerously on ice and snow in a goddamn Lambo. Common sense be f***ed, damned, f***ed again, and left for dead on the side of the road. I mean, really, only 3 of the 5 heroes make sensible snow vehicle choices.
I tried to take a piss. I didn't even recognize myself.
That's a dick joke right there. If this EMP is as powerful as this movie says it is, then why doesn't it also stop Dom's car dead in its tracks? You know, since it's on top of it.
I think Cypher just rebooted that sub to slave its command system.
Wait, are you telling me this nuclear submarine can be remotely hacked just because Cypher used the EMP? A nuclear submarine? Seriously?
If you can get me into that wheelhouse, I can tap the network and counter-hack Cypher.
Look, I know this car was made by God or whatever, but now it's able to crash into a building and an armored truck like they're not even there? And oh look, the bad guys are at a facility that has all these exposed gas tanks around, so things can explode easily. Isn't that nice?
Knock, knock!
Open up the door, it's real! Who is where? You don't care. Guys, I'm just tired. I actively hope Dom dies, or at the very least fails, every time he does a stunt like this. On top of this, he even kills a ton of bad guys in the process. He can't be this good or lucky. It takes all the tension out of the scenes when the guy doesn't ever lose.
Okay, how do you like this?
Well, it's taken roughly a movie and a half for Ramsey to actually do anything, and we know she's a crazy good hacker. I find it extraordinarily laughable that she could counter-hack Cypher this quickly, since she's supposed to be equally good, if not better.
Hi, Ramsey.
And then she counter-hacks, and I wonder how these two amazing hackers don't have any protections in play when they're off doing their hacking.
They're entering the weapons room.
Yeah, my computer can totally show you detailed heat maps of people running around inside a nuclear sub. God's eye my ass. She's just God. By the way, all this punching and kicking and yelling, Is this doing anything for you? These are the scenes where the characters who have nothing to do are inserted into the action to fight basically faceless drones, inducing yawning.
She's locked me out.
Weird that she didn't do that before.
What in the hell are you guys doing? It'll be labeled guidance go.
Why didn't you say that in the first place? Yep, you've got the upper hand on one person when your entire base just got f***ed up. Time for a good cackle, which will ultimately lead to your demise. This is like the guy who sacks the backup quarterback in the fourth quarter in a game his team is losing 67-3.
And we have a countdown.
I'd like to remind at this point that Cypher got access to this missile because she stole nuclear codes from a Russian Minister of Defense. This base was taken over by Russian separatists, and yet the Russian government was still in control of those missiles, apparently. They didn't bother to change or remove those codes from the nuclear football when those guys took over. I find that unlikely, but hey, I guess stupid things happen in the real world all the time.
We got the chip. No nukes for her.
What are you, the nuke Nazi?
Guys, we got company. A lot of company.
A lot of military company. Are they supporting Charlize or just defending a Russian base? Who knows? Who cares? And who let the dogs out?
No. This is not good.
You have no sympathy from me, Tyrese. You chose the Lambo knowing you were headed to ice Russia. Personally, I feel like this is payback for years of coasting on your part. Despite the fact that Roman is comically spinning on the ice, the Russian terrorist guys can't hit him, or really anybody. They're kind of a terrible group of thugs, actually. I don't even know how they took this base over in the first place.
Dom, do you really want to put that car in gear?
While we contemplate whether Dom wants to put this car in gear, who's taking care of his kid? Is there really a bad guy who's feeding his son and changing diapers? I would love to see that movie. Oh wait, maybe not. Forget what I said. Tej starts blasting away and instantly hits one of the trucks, something that none of the assholes behind him could do for a full minute of blasting. And oh look, this one is going to take out more trucks. It reminds me of that old adage, life is always fair and full of constant good luck. Okay, so how's he holding on to the outside of the door? Remember, the door's closed until the tank rips it off. So once that tears off, he better be holding on to the inside of it or else he's done for. Maybe once it rips off, he grabs the outside, but that would be an incredible feat considering the speed at which all this takes place. Come on, guys, kill him! Sweep the leg! If Dom is constantly being monitored on this operation, then how is he getting away with these obvious shenanigans?
Surprise.
Okay, so Dom shot Deckard earlier, and to no one's surprise except Cypher, he's still alive. My question is, how did they plan this? Remember all this shit? How did Dom know it would come to this? As luck would have it, this entire scene leads to the moment where Deckard is able to chase him to a secluded area to fake his death. Also, with God's eye, how did Cypher not track every movement Deckard made until she could confirm his death? See? I told you. But hilariously, the movie made him so paper thin in the opening scene, it doesn't trust you to remember his face, and has to literally show you who he is. Also, you movie. You mean Dom asked this guy from the beginning to fly from Cuba all the way to New York City to do 5 minutes worth of work? Doesn't Dom have, like, closer connections who could easily do this job?
Congratulations, Dom. You just killed your son.
How stupid is Cypher right now? She saw the transporter and barred the Bowman 3 minutes ago. Does she really think Dom would be so arrogant if he didn't have his son secured?
You're wrong. I just saved him.
By the way, to play the devil's advocate here, and I will since Charlize Theron is in this movie, Dom is still a little too arrogant here dealing with Cypher. For all he knows, she's crazy enough to crash the plane with her, the Shaw brothers, and his son on it.
What do we do now?
We start praying.
Fast and Furious crew must have started praying because Dom in his supercar, a literal deus ex machina, comes to the rescue. Also, they made a car that is too awesome in this movie. No flaws whatsoever. You're literally Superman in this car. Not setting the baby down before fighting.
Left and back. What? Turn the goddamn wheel to the left really quickly.
God damn, this scene just broke the f***ing sin counter. Meanwhile, a movie still has the audacity to steal the kid has headphones on during the gunfight scene from Face Off.
It's right under us. Get out the way.
How did the submarine catch up to the cars? If you're telling me the cars are only going 40 miles an hour, okay, maybe I'll believe you. But they're going pretty much full speed as best they can, am I right? And subs can go like 45 miles an hour tops, correct?
We got this.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Help! Chris, the sin counter isn't breathing, man.
I'll dial 911. Oh my god. It's dead, isn't it? Oh, it's fucking dead. Why, God? Why? Take me.
All right. Come and get him.
Dom foolishly believes this indestructible car can be destroyed by a heat-seeking missile. He could just put this in park and watch the thing harmlessly glance off the side view mirror. Well, they finally did it. The Fast and Furious franchise just jumped the sub. No! No! F you. F this movie. That is not how fire works. A handful of cars around a guy generally will not save said guy from damage during a raging explosion fire. Just FYI.
How did you find me?
You want to see the old town? Watch.
If Dom gave Cypher a necklace by which Deckard could track her, why didn't he pass this information on to his team as well? They lucked out finding her in Russia by guessing her most logical target, but that would have been really handy information to have no matter what. Why did Deckard's death need to be a surprise to the team?
There's only one flaw in your plan.
What's that?
Only one of us has a parachute.
That's extremely presumptuous on your part, but anything that gets us closer to the ending of the movie is fine by me.
Because there's all kind of nuclearism happening under this ice.
Relax. Without the trigger chips, those nukes are harmless.
Not to mention, the entire sub exploded a minute ago. You really think the nukes survived that?
Is it gonna be Revenge of the Nerds or The Dark Knight?
Obviously, this isn't even a real choice when it comes to movies, but is this movie really saying that Ramsey wants either of these guys? Are these her only choices in life? Is she even considering going out with one of them? I would have loved it if she suddenly had a girlfriend or a Grey Worm.
You've heard me say that you never turn your back on family.
No, never heard you say that once in one movie. That's a new concept you just invented right now. Comcast.
MI6 wants them alive for questioning. The target's in a metal coffer. Every agency and terrorist cell is looking for it.
Big nasty super virus MacGuffin can destroy humanity, blah blah blah. And two random people, oh, and one was once the bad guy, are the only ones who can save the world cliche. Considering these two dudes were not in her line of sight when she started running, how exactly did she know she was about to do this awesome jump, kick, and roll move?
Get on the ground! Now!
Glad the Fast and Furious franchise finally got around to introducing Heimdall. Also, why does he even need this? If this guy's attack probability was 30%, would he do anything differently in this scene? And excuse me, finger pressure? Don't worry, the editing will beat the ass for you. Never mind that Elba has a built-in computer screen that can calculate attack probability and finger pressure. It can't make him shoot straight. Unless that virus also turned Hattie into a superhuman, there is zero chance she has run this far away from the scene in the time it would have taken Brixton to get to the truck. 2 minutes ago, the movie showed us a split screen of Rock and Statham getting up and going through their daily routine. Why not just do that with the fighting as well? Since none of this shit is all that thrilling on its own. They could have even staged the fights in such a way that the parallels between them could have been funny.
Why don't you ever talk about Samoa? Did something happen?
For the love of God, Skip!
Cheat day?
Cheat day.
Movie you thought was the 9th Fast and Furious film is actually a stealth prequel to the gluttony victim in 7.
If someone leaves a back door open, it's a bit daft not to try and use it.
Porn proverbs.
What's daft is paying one of the screws to leave it open, but not paying them enough to get their mouth shut.
Porn psalms.
Now listen, have you spoken with your sister?
Jesus, this movie should have been titled Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw Bloodlines, with all the surprise family members these assholes suddenly have.
It was called the Keith Moon because
It involved lots of explosive percussion and permanent ear damage.
Jesus, this movie should have been called The Keith Moon. It seems like a good time to bring up that Jason Statham and Vanessa Kirby have a 21-year age difference between them. And look it. So the idea that they were kids together is possibly the most ridiculous plot point in this entire series. And there was a scene in one of the movies where cars outran a submarine on ice.
Lucas Rebecca Hobbs.
Ah, sudden Deadpool.
I seem to remember getting a little something like this.
Ryan Reynolds is a welcome addition to just about any film, but I have zero clue if I'm supposed to think he's just being funny or if he's the creepiest movie stalker since Play Misty for me.
Say hello to the CT-17 virus, affectionately codenamed the Snowflake.
While the document lock shows Hobbs does say Snowflake, it actually says it's affectionately codenamed the Unicorn.
Last night she was part of an MI6 team tasked with securing the virus.
Some say she appeared in a movie that you could refer to as MI6, but confusing those would cause massive fallout between your friends.
He knows I can see him, right?
He knows nothing, Jon Snow.
So if he knows what Game of Thrones is, then why did he say
Game of Thrones, Janet's house?
I've never
Lannister always pays his debt.
This movie thinks someone not knowing what Game of Thrones is, then in a twist reveals that he does know, is somehow amusing.
All right. Who's on the case?
Why in the is Shaw on any CIA case? He's essentially a bad guy. He spent all of Furious 7 trying to kill the main characters, and then they retconned Tokyo Drift so we could see that he killed Han. Remember that? And sure, he helped save a baby in the last Fast and Furious movie, but he also killed like an entire hospital when he went to go visit his brother in Furious 7.
A joke for you, love. What do CIA operatives and baseballs have in common? They are two things I don't give a toss about.
We at the CIA believe that when we hire someone to find somebody, we need to get their sibling to do it. No chance there's a conflict of interest there, no sirree.
I mean, you think you'd be able to put aside any petty rivalries to save the world?
No
way.
Good to know our planet's top agencies feel perfectly comfortable putting two guys who hate each other on the same team just for the comedy. Also, why only two guys if the virus is such a threat to the entire world? Two guys!
Exactly why I hate working with you. It's your voice. It's your nasally, prepubescent Harry Potter voice.
Movie wastes about a quarter of its runtime on Hobbs and Shaw insulting each other without wit for long stretches of time.
Guys, why don't you two take a seat and we'll talk through this?
What are these guys doing in this other room anyways? Why would they be recording Hobbs and Shaw's conversation? Why is this scene?
Me and you, us, have been down this road. It's a total waste of time.
Initial test screening reactions for this film somehow made it into the final cut. I don't undercover often, but if you want to make yourself less noticeable, is going for the exotic and sexy librarian look the best avenue to take?
Got a lot of nasty people looking for you.
Okay, so the only thing Hobbs had to go on to find Harriet was this picture and this map, showing places the cameras didn't cover. How was he able to know exactly where she was going to be and recognize her with a wig and sunglasses using just that? Everything involving this darkly lit, quickly edited action scene with Jason Statham is eye cancer. Well, good thing this grenade they kicked over 20 seconds ago didn't explode and is still spinning so that Shaw can realize it's a danger and disarm it at the last minute.
When you saw her photo, you definitely gave the eyebrow.
Please don't do the eye thing, please don't do the eye thing, please don't do the eye thing, please don't do the eye thing. Damn it! Also, Hobbs thought this phone call was important enough to take while interviewing the most wanted person on the planet, a person he left guarded by an underling.
That is my sister.
How the f does Hobbs not know this? You mean he got the job from Locke, who gave him a dossier, flew all the way to London, got further briefings on the mission when he got there, and the connection didn't come up once?
Bull. She's too good looking to be your sister.
I honestly can't figure out half the time if these are actual thoughts Hobbs is having about Shaw, or if he's just with him and vice versa. I also can't figure out half the time if this movie is for real or is just punching me in the for 2 hours and 16 minutes. What is this place again? Oh yeah, it's a CIA black site. How in the did these guys get up here to do this without being detected? Every time a character survives something like this for the rest of the movie, I'm just going to say, Jumanji! Once again, why does Brixton need this? This seems to be more of an advertisement for The Rock's punching strength than it is useful information. Oh look, it took Brixton this exact amount of time to lift the car off himself so that Hobbs and the two Shaws could get away and the movie could have a chase scene. Nothing like random product placement for a car 99% of the viewing audience can't afford.
You wanna tell me just what in the fresh turkey hell we're dealing with here?
Fresh turkey hell.
Years ago, I put a bullet through his brain.
Great. So being chased by the Terminator.
Honestly, if a Terminator showed up right now, would this film be any sillier? I'm going with no. Will the movie just once show a scene like this at full speed? Is slow-mo the only way this is exciting? Of course, it cuts like 4 times during this stunt, so my guess is it isn't even possible at full speed. And all your movie magic takes all the piss out of it. So why would the motorcycle even have that function? The real weapon is Brixton and not the bike. Was there a meeting where someone piped up, you know, there might be a time when Brixton has to get his bike under a large moving vehicle, and then someone else said, good point, does anyone here know how to build a transformer?
Okay, ride's over. I'm gonna lose this car.
We also might be responsible for a lot of deaths that occurred over the last few minutes, including the people on that double-decker bus we just recklessly sent Brixton flying through. But no need to think about that now. We've got more things to punch our way through.
Just got real.
Even if Eteon can control the media like this, they can't create a script and upload doctored pictures and footage to all of the networks and have the reporters reciting it in the 2 or 3 minutes it took Hobbs and Shaw to walk to this street corner.
No time for your alpha male right now.
Too bad summer movie audiences didn't say the same thing. Maybe they will when Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw 2, 2 Hobbs, 2 Shaw go to space in 2022.
Russian newspaper.
There's only one place in London that sells that.
How the f do you know this is a Russian newspaper that can only be sold in one place just by looking at a grainy photo on Hobbs' phone? And how do you know that's the only place that sells the newspaper? If this guy's been buying this very specific newspaper from this newsstand every day, why did the CIA have a hard time finding it? The guy does this as a matter of routine, and they took a picture of him because he's a person of interest. Finding him would have been super easy.
You kill her.
Excuse me?
No, and burn the body, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
I guess this hilarious comedy scene was written by Jimmy Two Times.
Used it for a job over in Italy.
You might even say it was the Italian job.
Now, regular back channels aren't going to work this time. We're going to have to do our best to blend in.
As brother and sister Shaw have pointed out in this movie, blending in is not a strong suit for Hobbs. And how does he know the regular back channels wouldn't work? Locke is clearly on board with him, and he's freaking CIA, so pretty sure they could figure something out.
I'm Franz Gruber.
Shaw is wearing glasses as a disguise, but this picture on his fake passport looks pretty much the same as the photo that's being shown all around the world. There is no disguise on this picture at all.
Hands on your head, pop small.
Can't believe you did that.
He was gonna slow us down.
I know Shaw hates Hobbs, but that entire Mike Oxmall scene was for the comedy, and definitely not the practicality. Even though he knows Hobbs is going to get out of it anyway, the whole thing stupidly endangers the mission in 100 ways. Why did she take her wig off? They're trying not to get caught, right?
Quicker than I thought.
Yep, because I have a secret weapon. People actually like me.
This is the only explanation the movie gives for Hobbs being let go from airport security and to be allowed on the plane in time. By the way, now nobody's wearing disguises. Hobbs and Shaw have been on every news program saying they're terrorists for the last 24 hours, and if I know TV, every commercial break had a trailer for this movie playing on it, so they're doubly screwed if they don't want to get recognized.
Anytime you ever say anything, it makes me want to take my boot and shove it so far up your ass, you're gonna be spitting out shoelaces all week.
We did this earlier. It's not even believable they hate each other this much anymore. In fact, if I'm reading into what Hobbs' daughter said about two people annoying each other being flirting, then these assholes are about to join the Mile High Club.
Want to do an Irish jig on your arse-ugly face at 30,000 feet.
Okay, skip. And yes, that includes the surprise Kevin Hart cameo that happens during the scene that I definitely don't know about because I just skipped it.
I want our property out of that girl's blood.
Okay, why? You have a scientist who created the virus, but you'd rather extract it out of Hattie's blood because the plot? I know Dion wants Hobbs and Shaw on their side, so capturing Hattie might be important, but you really don't need the virus that's inside her if you can just make it. A group of foxy chicks who steal from Russian mobsters. Why can't we see that movie? Hell, this movie has a cyborg Idris Elba, and yet it's way more concerned with what kind of childish insult Hobbs and Shaw can throw at each other than the badassery of that premise.
McJagger was a job that required one person to showboat to draw all the eyes, while the others made the music.
It also requires two guys to be riding bikes and two other guys running directly behind them and keeping up with them somehow, so that when I swung the paddle, all four of them would end up crumpled on the sidewalk.
I got a shotgun.
I got a shotgun.
No, don't start.
These guys are arguing about riding shotgun on a jet. Next argument, apples versus oranges. To the death!
We're entering the drop zone. You ready?
This drop zone contains neither Wesley Snipes nor Gary Busey. Damn, you guys waited a long-ass time to open those parachutes, didn't you? Jumanji! Yeah, why should we see a good fight? It's not like you built it up to be one or anything. For once, this movie is in sync with the audience.
Access denied.
I was going to say Shaw might need to remove the half mask from the guy's face, but here he doesn't have it, even though in the previous shot, he did. Also, these assholes are on a time crunch, so I don't know why Shaw doesn't simply run over to Hobbs' side and run through his door. These doors go to the same place. Also, why didn't Hobbs' door open immediately after he got the access granted message? Why would these two doors be connected to each other for any reason? To have two people open one door, that makes sense for security reasons, but two people, two different doors? Wait, why didn't you use that infrared thing you used before you walked into the bullshit room with the bullshit henchman? So that's all she had restraining her arm? A band of Velcro? She had a cuff on her left hand and Velcro on her right, which is a mismatch in confinement and when you do 50 Shades of roleplay.
Genocide, schmenocide.
This was the working title of this movie.
Look at the two of you. The fate of the world is in your hands and you can't even get along.
I'm still amazed that Hobbs and Shaw are the only ones taking on this job. Like, as soon as Brixton went to the lab, Hobbs and Shaw should have had all sorts of backup on this mission. Remember, this movie is about a virus that can kill everybody on Earth in a week.
Look at me. I'm Black Superman.
Once again, the movie introduces story ideas that are better than this one. Not only that, but they've wasted the premise of the Elbinator in this movie.
I'm gonna rip the arm off this chair. I'm gonna smash him right in the face, stab him right in the neck for looking that way.
As much as I enjoy True Lies, it's absolutely insane to me how many versions of the chair scene have been created since its release. And this just makes me realize I'd rather be watching Charlie's Angels again over this and that is 100% a sin.
You're not gonna shoot me. Because you need an activation chip to fire that gun.
Feels like Super Spy Hattie would know this, and the gun itself would light up or something to tell the user that the activation wasn't set before pulling the trigger. But I guess this unauthorized gun usage happens so often that they want to keep its activation secret just in case this very situation comes up. They make Hattie out to be the most badass character in this movie, but when it comes down to stopping Brixton, she has to be saved by the Professor. I love Eddie Marsan as much as the next person, but World's End wouldn't stand a chance against Princess Margaret, so having him be the one to save her just seems so wrong. Also, guns needing activation chips, finger matches, etc. to work in movies is so dumb. There are too many variables that would screw everything up. As annoying as forgot to take the safety off is, it still makes way more sense than this common plot device. Hobbs just busts through his chains because he's super strong. I'll allow that, but then Shaw jumps on the chair and does something, and whatever it is sets him free. I hate this entire scene where Hobbs and Shaw need to save Hattie. When we see the car, we don't see her running. When we see her running, we don't see the car. The rooms aren't even numbered sequentially to help provide context for where they are and where she is.
Mick Jagger.
Never fails.
What? That is exactly what happened. The Mick Jagger stopped working once Hattie couldn't fire the gun. And then the Eddie Marsan kicked in and saved all of your asses. As ridiculous as what I just pointed out was, it's still what happened, so own it, movie.
That sumbitch really is Black Superman.
Because Superman is known for his amazing skills on a motorcycle.
Running out of road! Hold on!
There is no way that Shaw knows there's a magic track that he can drive this vehicle onto. He either knows this lab's layout by heart or he just got lucky. He didn't even look in that direction the entire time they were getting chased. Good thing this random metal grate track was at this exact level of the building where Shaw jumped his Jeep through, because otherwise this movie would be over quickly. Wait, this could have been over? Metal grate tracks.
Right yourself!
Pretty sure this whole sequence is going to be Jumanji times 100, so let's just go ahead and Jumanji the Sins.
This ain't gonna make it!
You thinking what I'm thinking, Shaw?
You pretty much have to be, because you guys have nothing equipped to talk to each other. I guess we just take for granted that you have radios or something, but you don't.
I got him.
Unless you both have cybernetic enhancements, neither one of you has it. But by the gods of Too Old for This, Mel Gibson and Danny Glover versus Jet Li and Lethal Weapon 4, something tells me you'll beat him regardless.
I'm tired, Deck.
Me too, Hattie, but we've still got 50 minutes left somehow, so let's all down a Red Bull and some who-knows and get to the finish line. These guys have a little bit more than a day to get the virus out of Hattie, so they take about a 17-hour flight to goddamn Samoa, because that's Hobbs' home where his brother is conveniently a mechanic. But with all the contacts these two have, it's insane they didn't just go back to Shaw's place and get, I don't know, ludicrous to hell.
From Moscow to Samoa, that is not an easy flight to charter.
They went to Moscow to get that flight. They were in the Ukraine, which means they had to drive somewhere around 9 hours to get there. There's no way this is their best option.
Bring your problems here to this house?
These assholes flew from Russia to Samoa and didn't even call Hobbs' brother before they got there, even if it was to check that he was home.
They hopped an unregistered cargo plane. To where?
Samoa. Yeah, finding that out must have been super easy. Show your work, movie. This is goddamn bull.
At least one good thing came out of me jamming that thing into my hand.
Unfortunately, it wasn't this movie. But yeah, I guess Hobbs being reunited with his brother I've never once been told about in previous movies or given two shits about counts as a good thing.
All right. We're going to war with the family heirlooms.
Man, I can't wait until the Ewoks show up in this movie.
War's what, too.
And the name of a terrible movie you were in, so there's that. CSI Samoa. What this montage tells me is that they don't have nearly enough time to pull all this off. But montages are good about making it seem like they do, condensing days or maybe even weeks of work down to mere hours, so nobody asks any questions. How can you question whether they succeed or not? They're working so hard, man.
I'm in. The only thing is, I can only block the signal repeaters on the satellite for 6 minutes.
She literally just hacked in. How could she possibly know that? Also, Hattie was able to hack Etion's entire weapons inventory using just a stolen authenticator glove.
Wasted so much time.
Movie accidentally films Vanessa Kirby commenting on this very scene and puts it in the final edit. Hattie made it so that these guns wouldn't work for 6 minutes, but why can't she do the same thing once the weapons go back online and get another 6 minutes? Granted, Brixton and his guys have no clue that they have to wait 6 minutes for the guns to go back online, but Hobbs sure as does, so maybe less synchronized chanting and more punching. Remember the whole Brixton doesn't want to kill Hattie because they need the virus thing? That should still be a thing, but the bad guys sure aren't acting like it is. Hattie walks toward the helicopter because I guess the virus is acting up inside of her, even though I thought the virus was in capsules and wouldn't take effect for another 20 minutes or so. Anyway, Hattie is the most important person to keep track of, and for some reason Hobbs and Shaw just let her wander out in the open because movie. Even though this helicopter's ready to go and Brixton is getting Hattie on it immediately, Hobbs and Shaw will get in a tow truck and be able to catch up to them in time to do this bull. Because as we all know, tow trucks constantly beat helicopters in races.
You get us close and I'll get her!
I'll keep his nose down! You reeling me?
Once again, I have to ask, how the f are they having conversations in moments like this? God damn it. Every single action taken in this movie gets accomplished on the first try. Like these dicks are practicing this in their spare time.
Hit him with the moonshine! Now!
I mean, Jesus Christ. Feels like this movie has created a new sin in the tradition of this works, and they survived this, and that is called, he heard this. This military-grade helicopter keeps missing with its missiles. Why is it so good at missing, but not that great at missling? Jumanji!
You don't die until I tell you to die!
Oh well, makes about as much sense as everything else in this movie. Look, we just saw Hobbs hold the helicopter in place with a chain, so I don't think he should be losing this fight at any moment.
Work together, we can hurt him.
You're right. Time to work as a team.
What the f do you think you've been doing ever since you got to Samoa?
Here comes the kryptonite.
I don't think Hobbs understands what kryptonite is. Or he thinks that rocks are Brixton's weakness. But considering how much of the rock's ass he's been kicking in this movie, that's clearly not the case.
Brixton never really lived up to our expectations.
Yeah, you didn't need to say anything. They didn't even know you existed. But good job taking away the element of surprise.
You don't remember me, do you, Hobbs? You will. It's gonna be a hell of a reunion.
Sequel baiting.
Hey, Locke. This is Sam.
Sam?
You must want to talk to my dad.
Wow, you sound exactly like your dad.
First off, this is the first thing she said on the phone call. Second off, she does not. Jesus, this movie has more end credit scenes than Guardians of the Galaxy 2. "45 seconds of logos? Comcast." It took 9 movies for us to finally get a flashback to Papa Toretto's racing days. This is some formative shit. This should have opened the second movie, maybe even the first, but not the 9th. This is the biggest problem with these f***ing movies. You just make up new shit and say, this new shit is now super important, like the sudden Toretto brother who shows up later in this movie. By Fast 10, it'll be revealed that little Dom and little Brian went to preschool together and used to race big wheels for nickels during recess. And also they'll be related by blood, which Dom finds out when his long-lost real dad shows up. And also Dom will have 3 arms now, but it'll never be explained or acknowledged, and he just uses the 3rd arm to constantly hold a Corona.
Jack, you realize you got this in the bag, right?
When last we saw Rowdy Burns, he had short hair and was clean-shaven, but in the next shot, he's got long hair and a beard, and his last name is Hubbard. Holy shit, this is a tiny track. I've raced my Hot Wheels on longer tracks than this. Is the winner's trophy a thimble?
He's gonna come at you for that.
No shit. You've been talking about this number 23 car and what a dick he is for the last 3 minutes. What else is he gonna do?
We come in peace.
Roman knows that Dom would react this way to a strange car driving towards his home, right? Why doesn't this family have a way of communicating with each other if they want to come visit? I mean, at least do the thing in All the President's Men and stick a flag in a flower pot or something. Jesus.
We would have called first.
Except you actually need phones in order to get phone calls.
And we wanted to ratchet up the tension for absolutely no reason, other than to show that Dom and Letty are serious about protecting their home, right down to a Rogue One hidey hole for their kid.
Did anybody else get this?
Sent it only to us.
How the f*** do you know that? Is there something about the transmission that allows you to know he only sent it to one place?
Dom, this is Cypher, the woman who killed the mother of your child.
I'm glad you reminded me, Roman, because I honestly didn't remember. I bet Dom doesn't even remember.
Brian and Mia got out of the game when they became parents.
We're not them.
But we did get a house out in the middle of nowhere and armed ourselves to the teeth just so we could protect this family. Going on this dangerous mission where I could die totally jives with that. First off, this is the bullshittiest zoom and enhance that has ever bullshit. Second off, you mean to tell me that the hacker crew Tej and Ramsey didn't try to do this? Also, what would have happened if they had found the cross? Could we have been spared this bullshit that Dom wasn't gonna go on this mission?
I'll take point.
Careful.
Careful's when you get hurt.
Philosophy of half the drivers in Nashville makes it into this movie.
Yeah, well, their mistake was trying to cut into it. But just give me a minute, I can get in.
It kills me that a team that can hijack a plane and break out one of the most dangerous criminals in the world didn't have someone like Ramsey who could crack into this thing. They get shot at and these fools scramble. They've done insane heists and prevented even crazier ones, but they came here with no plan, no exit strategy, no if we're being watched. The aim is so non-existent that I'm actually wondering if this is the worst aim I've ever seen in any movie ever. Like in UHF, in the Rambo parody scene, when the guy is 6 feet away from Weird Al Yankovic and can't hit him, still not as bad as this, right?
What? You don't know who I am? You think I'm scared?
Nope, I just think you're trying to earn your paycheck. Man, Obi-Wan Kenobi is gonna have a fucking fit when he sees Roman kicking all this ass and he doesn't even have the high ground. God damn it. This movie. I'm already done. The military misses every target in this scene with every bullet and later every helicopter rocket. I know these assholes aren't gonna die, but the least you could do is give a better reason than nobody can hit ever. We're only 16 minutes in and I've already forgotten where we are and why we are even here.
Peligro minas. What does that mean?
Movie will now force Roman to ask this question 3 times before anyone answers him. Also, even though Dom and Roman have been talking with radios this whole time, Ramsey and Tej somehow have earpieces to talk to everybody. Why doesn't everyone have an earpiece? How does her earpiece tap into the radios they're using? These assholes are literally going to navigate a minefield and survive, while the people with the best idea of where the mines are located are going to die like chumps.
My ass is in fuego!
Is he trying to unearn his paycheck? There's never been a less tense scene than Roman getting out of this vehicle before it falls on a landmine. I actually called my aunt during this moment, and honestly, talking to my aunt is my least favorite thing, next to scratching my balls with a steak knife.
How in the hell are you not dead?
I was going to ask the same question, and I was about to write a really well-worded sin about it. It was a doozy, but I slow-mowed the scene, and it appears that Roman was behind the tank when it landed. This might be the first time we've ever given a sin to a movie because they didn't actually do anything wrong, and yet the movie thinks it did. This is for self-policing your own sins, you f***ing dickhead movie. Now where the f*** is this thing coming from? Isn't it all jungle to their left? How did this thing gather enough speed to catch up to them on uneven ground through what looks like mostly jungle? This is seriously the speeder bike sequence from Return of the Jedi. Also, why doesn't this vehicle just ram Letty's bike into a tree or something? How did this out-of-nowhere buggy time the jump to do this when Letty only decided to make this jump a split second ago? Yeah, you're right, Dom. Having Letty land on your car is way better than the ground. Good thinking. She would have died if she hit the ground. Also, this series is notoriously mum when it comes to where everybody is in relation to everybody else. So I'm having trouble figuring out how Dom is even in the position to catch Letty with the hood of his car. Dom was on Letty's left when she slung that dude into the tree. And then she made this jump, complete with the collision immediately after that. But Dom is somehow in the perfect position from below to see all this and make his heroic move in mere seconds from what appears to be Letty's right when all the goes down.
That was Jacob back there, wasn't it?
Who, Jacob? My long-lost brother that no one has ever heard of except for you, and somehow you've also seen him in person? That Jacob? Why would he show up out of the blue after 8 movies of doing nothing? That's just absurd.
Are we supposed to drive across that?
Well, I said it looks like a bridge!
There's pretty much no reason to risk crossing that bridge, right? We don't even know what the stakes are. They don't even know what the stakes are. All we know is that Furiosa killed Groot's baby mama, and that's the only reason they're out here. It's definitely not because they have any allegiance to Snake Plissken. Oh, f*** you, man. Why do you make me do this? Why do you make me say, is this the single biggest f*** you to physics ever put to film? This is not remotely how gravity and friction work, you dicks. Eat my ass to the 10th power. Also, why do people like this? Can't quite explain why Letty's grunt here irks me so much, except for the fact that it's the only consequence of getting hit by a f***ing missile! Okay, so I'll drive off the mountain, but that's totally cool because we can send in a jet to catch the car as it's falling down. You'll have to make sure you catch me and miss the mountain on the other side, but don't worry about it. We did this on Microsoft Flight Simulator 100,000 times.
Where's the bridge?
Dom's about to do something insane, but it's less insane when you think about the alternative. Could have turned around and let the helicopters firing missiles miss him 100 more times. Hang on here. Just give me a minute. Okay, I think I'm ready to address what just... These assholes crash into a mountain and nothing happens. Again, when you ask us why we don't think any of this is exciting, it's because there is literally zero danger in anything they do. Dom contacted the guy from Fast and Furious 6 to help him out, but I just want to know how they got off that mountain they crash landed on.
Jacob is, or was, Dom's brother.
Dun dun dun! Except f*** you. The flashback reveals that Jacob was also at the racetrack when he and Dom's father died. They could have simply introduced a character named Jacob in that opening scene, and they could have still made the surprise reveal that Dom had a brother if it wasn't for the fact that the trailer already spoiled that. Way too many minutes of the TV spin-off, The Young Torettos. This is young Dom, despite the fact that when we meet him in the original film, he is not much older than this. But he looks nothing like this. And this is one of those moments where I'm like, why didn't you write young Dom to be younger, yo? Or at least cast a better lookalike? Or just Grand Moff Tarkin his ass like Rogue One?
Do you know who I am?
I know who you are. Do you? Tell me, do you hate him enough that it keeps you up at night?
Look, I love Charlize Theron. You love Charlize Theron. But this Hannah Faux Lecter bit is unconvincing and boring. Mainly it's the dialogue, which sounds like it came from a 1990s CinemaSins movie called Head Games of Desire or Psychological Temptation, starring Shannon Worry.
I should have just hired you instead of coercing your brother a couple of years back.
We forgive you, Cypher. Nobody knew his character existed back then.
The rest of the hardware is a bit dated. Pre-internet, to make sure you don't go hacking into anything we don't want you to.
So, she can hack into a government agency with this old technology, but not anything else because...
Say you get what you're after. A weapon so dangerous it shouldn't exist for another half-century.
She's in a glass case of exposition!
Khazar Khan, Genghis Khan's little brother. Nobody's heard of him either.
What is this stupid insult supposed to accomplish? She's already talked a bunch of shit about how Jacob's not Dom and doesn't compare to him in any way, so how would Genghis Khan's not famous little brother move the needle? This reminds me of that moment in Transformers and the Holy Grail where Marky Mark recited that famous line about any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic and expected a BJ for knowing it.
Ninja Turtle pop out on me? Tell you right now, I'm out.
Let's break down this one-liner for a second. This is the equivalent of saying we are in an underground space. The Ninja Turtles live in an underground space. Ninja Turtles reference, press enter.
Y'all ever thought about how many wild missions we've been on? And we somehow always survive?
Roman's sin script for this franchise ends with Ludacris saying,
Or maybe you just a dumbass.
Oh, that hurts, Fast and Furious franchise. To quote the great Bryan Adams, cuts like a knife. Gal Gadot's character Giselle says, hi, by the way. This is the movie's method of saying it's just a movie without breaking the fourth wall.
Pretty impressive driving out there.
What? This is Letty, your gal, your soulmate. You have seen her drive for years. She's good at it, and that is not news to you, you dick.
You should have told me.
She deserved to know.
Jacob's my brother, too. My kids and yours are in the safest hands possible.
With Brian.
Dom would know that, right? Since he was going to stay behind with little Brian until he saw Jacob's necklace in the SOS transmission, he would have dropped the kid off on his way to the plane. Anyway, this awkward Brian reference is awkward in so many ways and would take longer than we have to discuss them.
That's what we got from Mr. Nobody's plane.
If I had a nickel for every time they said Mr. Nobody in this movie, I'd have at least 4 or 5 nickels. But the amount of nickels isn't as important as the amount of times they've said Mr. Nobody, which is a lot. Way more than 20 or 25 cents worth.
You take Ares and upload it to a satellite, it'll spread like a virus. Then it'll be a matter of time before someone can control any weapon system. Traditional nuclear stuff we haven't even seen yet.
That sounds literally impossible.
Ares is the god of war, right?
Yes, he is. I remember Giselle fighting him during that airplane sequence at the end of Furious 7.
Because of how dangerous it was, the Ares prototype was recovered and split into 2 halves by Mr. Nobody.
Why he didn't just blow it up or bury it next to Parallax is anyone's guess.
Mr. Nobody's transmission had one name connected to the key.
This is huge news about Han, our friend you thought was dead, but we decided not to reveal this information until later. We felt like everyone needed more drama in their lives.
I got this the day Han died.
On an absolute whim, I grabbed this before I left our house, and it turns out it was super prescient now that Han is alive.
What are you gonna do about Jacob?
I'm gonna find him.
Dialogue!
How?
An old friend.
God damn, this movie's exasperating.
El equipo mecánica perdieron la carrera de libremente.
Thank God Dom went to prison, and while there, got to work on cars. And while working on one, another prisoner was able to identify a flaw on Dom's car that had the exact issue his dad's car had when he died.
You win, you come back home. You lose, you keep driving.
Winning equals forgiveness for murdering our dad.
Tell me why you killed Dad. Let's race.
Or, I don't really need an answer at all. We should just race the pain away. Also, tell me why it's so quiet right now. There are hundreds of people around here and revving cars and boomboxes and shit.
Armed robbery in Echo Park. 4th Street Bridge is open.
How does an armed robbery make a bridge open?
The worst thing you can do to a Toretto is take away their family. That's what you did to Jacob.
Sounds like Jacob did a lot of that on his own, right? And can we stop with this Toretto family bullshit? For most people, taking away their family would be the worst thing. This isn't a Toretto exclusive.
Corona, my favorite. You remembered.
How about you? How are you doing?
I realize people have to eat, but this is not a vacation, ladies. Time is of the essence. The Ares weapon is a real threat. The Mystic Portal awaits. This is so casual, it's infuriating.
Cowboys would make a run for the border to get away from the law. How Tokyo was his
Mexico.
I don't even know if they were searching this particular area of Tokyo because it meant something to Han, but what are the fucking odds they'd see this flag? Also, Han sent a postcard with a picture of Mexico and a Tokyo postmark and expected these assholes to know what the fuck it meant. What's worse, he sent the postcard on the very day he died, which means it's been years since he sent it. So why did Dom even think about this postcard when he saw Jacob's necklace in the Mr. Nobody transmission? If you're telling me the necklace reminded him of the postcard because there's a church on it, then you are the screenwriter of this film.
Dominic Toretto sent us.
Who's Dominic Toretto?
I can see why this guy doesn't know who Dominic Toretto is, but why is Sean confused? They raced each other at the end of Tokyo Drift, and then we saw them talking about Han in Furious 7. Even if Sean isn't confused, it takes the sting out of that joke completely.
Nice necklace, Queenie.
How the f*** did Dom know Queenie would be here? Does she steal from this place so often that it's a known haunt? This is the dumbest car chase ever. Here's a seasoned driver in a fucking Noble M600 supercar. This thing costs hundreds of thousands of dollars and goes 0 to 60 in 3 fucking seconds. The Batmobile is jealous of this car. This car chase shouldn't last more than 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah, word did go round on a crew that just turned up, led by an American.
Isn't it great that Dom knows so many people around the world who know everything about every single crime that's going down and just happen to be characters from prior movies? Like, this went down in France, who does he talk to? So let me get this straight. This is a white party for supercar owners and hot people being held in a 3-story Wayne Manor duplicate where most of the beautiful people wearing white are standing out in the rocky, dusty parking lot?
Since my dad is head of state, it makes me a foreign dignitary. And this place, an embassy, which means you just trespassed into my country and attempted murder.
I don't know if this is bullshit or not, but this long-winded explanation got tiresome as soon as he said since. Regardless of embassy rules, I feel like this scene plays the exact same way.
What's up?
These movies really have become the Oceans franchise. A powerful son of a head of state calls Interpol to arrest Dom, and somehow it turns into Dom getting arrested by Cardi B and a bunch of supermodels. They reference Queenie as the reason behind it, and that's all you need to know, because that's how shit works.
Your boy Jacob biometrics are encoded to this gun. You have
no trouble tracking him now.
Biometrics rear their ugly head again. Was there a huge problem in the criminal underworld where people kept getting shot with their own guns, so they started adding biometrics to them to stop the trend? All biometrics ever do is make it easier for the good guys when the biometrics fail, or in this case, allow others to track you.
Han never mentioned a girl. Not ever.
Oh my god, that's so suspicious! Here's the big reveal that Han is officially back, and thank God he was able to shoot all the bad guys in this alley. Phew! But I got one question. How did he know that he would be needed outside of the apartment that Letty, Mia, and Ellen were fighting in? How did he know to set up a sniper nest out here when all the action was inside? Also, Han, the guy you thought was dead, but also the guy you totally remember as a master sniper, right? He was a master sniper before, right? Right?
I pulled Jacob's biometric signature off the gun, and the algorithm I've run says Jacob's team is right on top of us.
Wait, you're getting all that from what amounts to fingerprints? Does the gun have facial recognition software too? You throw around terms like biometrics and algorithm and expect that to be enough of an explanation, but you gotta have more than that to find someone like this.
But tracking chips follow the chip. Before we know it, we'd be chasing some expensive yet tacky jacket to the dry cleaners.
Sure, but stick with me now. What if you had biometrics and a tracking chip, and the chip stayed on the person you were tracking? That would be better, correct?
What the hell, Jimmy?
Blaming Jimmy.
Say we had a big electromagnet turned up right around here. Wouldn't that disrupt all electronic signals?
Including security systems. That's it.
But it doesn't disrupt your discussion over these radios for some reason. That's cool. These dudes must have been oblivious to the fighting outside a minute ago, including all this slamming into the side of this truck.
I got eyes on Jacob.
He then says nothing else and gets in his car to chase a ziplining Jacob himself. I was going to point out how convenient it is that it runs parallel to roads Dom can take to keep an eye on it, but in a moment we see that Jacob has some kind of absurd zipline gun, and he keeps shooting new ziplines. So then, why does he keep shooting in one direction? Surely he knows someone is going to chase him, right? Why not turn, or set it up for turning during the planning stage? This is like the Prometheus school of zipline gunning away from things. Also, this is yet another plan from Jacob that I don't understand. After stealing the Ares, his escape route is multiple ziplines across rooftops? Like, I understand getting out of the immediate area, but why isn't he in a car, or a car that can get caught by a jet by now? It's not that this sequence of Game of Thrones here, not knowing how to drive a car, is bad. It's great. It's just that it owes so much to sneakers, it feels derivative. I'd like to know how Dom caught up to Jacob, since Jacob is ziplining and Dom is on foot. Sure, Jacob had to stop to get another zipline gun, but that's just not enough time for someone to close the gap on a zipliner. Then you have to time it so that you make this crazy f***ing jump off a rooftop. I would have removed all the sins if Dom missed Jacob and fell to his death here. Man, this building has some shoddy drywall work, yo. Wait a minute, that sounds like a tour bus coming to a stop right outside this window. Shrug! I will jump out and expect it to be there. No whammies, stop! Dom sees the yellow truck and is able to calculate the speed and the distance it will travel in the time it takes him to jump onto a van going the other way, catch up with Jacob, and tackle him to the roof of the truck as it drives under this bridge. Bad guy takes off in a sports sedan, good guys are in a huge delivery van. Let's see how long this chase lasts, shall we? Okay, the fact that this vehicle has a massive magnet wall is stupid, and I can't argue with that, but this moment here where she uses that to her advantage and literally pulls the bad guy car to her vehicle with magnets through a building is f***ing awesome. In this rare case, the awesome beats the stupid. But also, Ramsey potentially kills several shoppers and store owners so that she can electromagnet this car to the side of the truck.
Okay, listen up! I want 50 of the best men!
Why 50? Why not
everyone?
Did they forget to put the extra security around Cypher? Earlier, you had to turn off a laser grid to walk to her cell, but I guess she played some head games with Otto's weaker personnel and got them to lift the laser field. Probably called him fat or something.
Me, I'm Luke frickin' Skywalker.
Are you sure about that?
Cypher plays head games with Otto about what Star Wars character he is. It's as exciting as it is. Apparently Dom and the crew drove that yellow truck with a car-shaped hole on the left side of it all the way to this facility, and not a single cop pulled him over on the way. If you have time to lean, you have time to clean. And yeah, that doesn't apply directly here, but my point is, these three are goofing off like there's no mission.
But can you get to the part where the car exploded and you're still alive?
Roman is correct, and yet the movie will allow Han to go through an entire movie's worth of backstory just to get to the part where he's somehow still alive. The bloat on this movie is strong.
In fact, you left out the most important part.
I was 11.
Holy Kumbaya, my lord, Kumbaya. This is a prayer meeting without the religion. Holy sh**.
At first, I didn't see it.
And by at first I didn't see it, I mean I saw it immediately.
Turns out I wasn't the only one looking for this thing.
But on the same night, though?
He taught me how to survive.
Life or death survive, or like disco survive?
We became a family.
Oh, f*** you and your family and all these movies family bullshit that they hide behind for lazy exposition and lazy emotional moments.
My parents didn't want Project Ares to fall into the wrong hands, so they locked it with their own DNA. Something we share.
Please tell me how something like Project Ares can be used for good. This movie is essentially sneakers, but with measurably more rat semen. This object can hack into anything at once, unless you're planning on stealing from corrupt politicians to donate to Amnesty International, Greenpeace, and the United Fund. What's this orb's purpose other than bad shit?
So when Decker Shaw came calling, we used it as cover.
This is some extraordinary bullshit. The movie pretty much figures that you don't remember Tokyo Drift, and they're probably right, but still. In Tokyo Drift, Han was being chased by a guy named DK because Han was stealing from him and his father. There's no way to coordinate DK finding out about that, confronting Han, initiating a car chase, and Han driving through Tokyo to fake his death. None. Also, this is being told as some great love story, how Giselle talked Han into living with her in Tokyo, and when she died, he was super broken up about it, I'm sure, but in Tokyo Drift, seems like he got over her death pretty quickly.
My death
became the best way to stay alive.
So why did you pick some busy-ass place in Tokyo to hide out? Why not go into the country? Is it because you already sent the postcard with the Tokyo postmark and the Mexico clue that Dom didn't even bother to think about until a later movie told him to do it? Man, did they choose a super obvious hideout, or did Batista just get lucky?
You know, the only good thing to come from Dad dying, if he hadn't, I'd have spent my entire life in your shadow.
This movie has done nothing to build up that tension about Jacob living in Dom's shadow other than people mentioning it.
Dad died because he was trying to throw that race. We were in deep debt.
So, at the beginning of the movie, Michael Rooker said,
"You realize you got this in the bag, right? Season's wrapped up, man. Doesn't matter where you place."
Implying that Jack Toretto was kicking all sorts of ass in whatever racing series this is. So, how are they in debt? Gambling? Furthermore, Jack didn't do a very good job of throwing this race if he already had it in the bag and was asking Dom for advice about any obstacles he could see on the track. It's almost like they're already retconning what happened in that race in this very movie.
I do all of it. I kept that promise.
John Cena's pretty good at comedy. Tej has been standing next to this electromagnet the whole time. Could have turned this on while Jacob gave all that backstory, and they could have taken all these people out. But no, they wait until now, after Jacob's taken Ares and the DNA girl. Dom sacrifices himself here when there appears to be plenty of time for him to go through and close the door from the other side. This is an unnecessary sacrifice. Character gets so overwhelmed by baddies that there's no way they can come back, and they will definitely come back from this. Okay, so I know Dom punched a couple guys, but where are the other 500 people who can stop him from grabbing these chains right now? They just let him do this for no reason. This is possible. Incredible, but I think Dom is still dreaming, and he's been using Mal's totem this whole time, so he'll never be able to figure out if he's in someone else's dream. So this is a happy ending, but only in the sense that Dom doesn't know what's real anymore, and this is the best he can get. Just want to remind everyone that Dom is figuring all this stuff out while he's drowning. Given that we've already been over the death of Papa Toretto a few times, both in dreams and flashbacks, it's kind of pushing it to have this entire scene here that merely visually confirms the thing we've heard several times. Fantastic! Letty's coming to save Dom! But how does she drag him out to safety? He fell down a deep shaft. Even if there are ladders, how does she climb back up with him? Does she tie him to her waist?
Is this who we are?
Given it's been 9 movies, yeah, this is f***ing who you are, you stupid idiot. Why does L's DNA jumpstart Ares but doesn't power down when someone else touches it?
4 minutes to launch. You fellas good to go?
So Lucas Black is now flying this plane, and that's acceptable to everyone because... why? It's hilarious to me that Tej and Roman came to visit these fools nearly an hour ago in movie time, told them that Dom needed their help, and then vanished until the movie manufactured a reason for them to need a rocket. Also, they didn't get permission to fly this jet over Georgian airspace, right? How does this jet not get shot down? This worked. Car in space! We have a car in space! Dom assumes that he won't kill innocent bystanders with this move. This is fun, but releasing the magnetic pulse would not shoot the trucks away from the hero's vehicle. It would just release them. There's no force on the other side of them pulling against them. This scene watched the Bourne fight scenes and declared, "We shall make it even shakier." Taking a break from this action to say that the cops around this place don't seem to give a shit about all this destruction and reckless driving going on in the streets.
Putain, tu vas tous nous tuer!
Not all of us.
Han wastes time saying this line instead of opening the back hatch immediately. I mean, taking this car to space and surviving is crazy enough, but I just keep thinking, Sean and his crew modified this car to go into space in mere hours. I feel like this scene deserves over 1 trillion sins for being so dumb that I almost respect it.
I have a new business partner. Maybe you know her.
Surely Otto could have double-crossed Jacob well before this moment, instead of relying on one of his muscle guys to beat him up on top of the beast while the operation was going on. What did he need Jacob for once he partnered with Cypher? He could have left his ass back in the prison he sprung him from. Billboard. Movie perpetuates the myth that cars are mattresses. Dom bumps the wrecked car to save Jacob, and then Mia climbs out to grab Jacob, further saving his life. And I know he's your brother, and I know someone on his team has usurped him and taken over the evil mission, but that does not make Jacob a good guy now. Let his ass bounce and flesh scrape off as he hits the pavement. He was trying to take over the world. God damn. It's amazing how these people use technology for the first time and everything works perfectly on the first try every time. So many unseen innocent people have died in this movie that they're making another Batman v Superman to apologize for it. Awesome, guys. You showed up right on time.
The download's almost done.
I totally forgot there was a time-sensitive download happening. Is it HD porn? I sure hope it's not a car. You wouldn't download a car, would you? What the hell is that guy looking at?
Dom, I can't get to you.
But I can.
The f***? This dude wanted the end of the world 3 minutes ago. Then his underling kicked him out of the evil club, and now he's a good guy? This is like Kim Jong-un's sister overthrowing him, and then him deciding, well, I guess I love democracy now. America, here I come. Also, John Cena, despite being pure evil this movie, is going to be one of the good guys next movie. But this is par for the Fast and Furious course. The Rock was an antagonist before he was a protagonist. Jason Statham, even Dom was the antagonist in the first movie, and then became the leader. That's what this series does. Repeat, rinse, 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 repeat, repeat, repeat. Also, how the f*** is this guy in the right place at the right time? Ever since Mia let him go, he's been sad driving in another direction, probably thinking about highlights from the first 3 Rocky movies during the driving sequence.
Guys, what's happening up there?
Do they really have radios that have this kind of range? Oh man, there goes HBO. Dom throws an explosive, gets down into the beast, the explosive somehow flips the f***ing thing over, and why didn't he just jump off? Does he need this vehicle anymore? They blew up the satellite and they have the Ares. What is this stunt even for? Meanwhile, Dom's in a vehicle that is flipping over and over rapidly, but he can maintain his balance as he runs to the driver's seat. Yes! Why don't you just have them fight a predator in a car with lightsaber headlights and be done with it? What the f*** is Dom even steering? The f***ing front of this vehicle is on its side. You're an asshole for even suggesting Dom can control this anymore.
I'm sorry, Dave. I can't do this anymore.
Okay, I think the sin counter just went full self-destruct, and the timer is borked. I think we still have to rattle off a few more sins, though. I haven't been this disappointed in a movie starring Vin Diesel that featured failed remote drone warfare since Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It was a simulator, and she wasn't in the plane. Dun dun dun. But this is an open-ass f***ing hangar. This is the least secure place an escaped criminal could have done this shit from. This is the hangar from Paris Hilton's infamous Hardee's commercial.
I lost you once. Don't let that happen again, okay?
And these guys really do value family above all else. This guy literally set the entire movie in motion by trying to end the goddamn world. Then, a biscuit later, hugs, and here's the keys to my car, and I love you, bro. F*** this movie. F*** this movie.
Pourquoi est-ce qu'on dirait des mignons?
Comcast doubles down on their awfulness by mentioning Minions in a Fast and Furious movie. What's next? A barbed wire reference?
This is where my daddy died in a horrifying wreck. I wanted to share that with you, little gupper. Now let's go get an ice cream.
Everything I needed to know about life I learned on this track.
You did?
I did.
He did. Oh, Christ, we're doing another flashback.
I couldn't believe it when I heard you were alive. It's a long story.
When I tell it to you, you'll be in a unique position to point out all the plot holes.
It's still an empty chair.
What is Brian so late for? His wife is here. Was she like, I'll take a separate car to the barbecue while you dick around at home and wait to make a dramatic entrance? 12 and a half minutes of credits! Holy shit! Han's alive! You guys have made 10 of these things. 10! You made 10 of these f***ing films. Goddamn 10! 10! Roman numeral X! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10! 10! Not 5, which would be excessive, but 10! 10 f***ing holy shit, bastardized, bitching, damning f***ing 10! Not 1, not 2, not 3, f***ing 10! I'm so upset about it that I'm gonna replace the sin counter ding noise on this video with a sped up version of me screaming 10 of these things! And we will all probably regret it. 10 of these things. Comcast. 10 of these things. Maybe originality ain't worth what it used to be. 10 of these things. 45 seconds of logos. 10 of these things. Movie cares about time but has no regard for the other 3 dimensions. 10 of these things.
There is nothing a father wouldn't do for his son.
Nothing? Hey, Dad, I really want you to eat a whole ghost pepper.
10 of these things.
I have a lot of questions about the money in this vault. Why are some stacks up to the ceiling and out of frame, but others waist height? Why do almost all the stacks of neat, tight bills have random, carelessly tossed individual banded bills tossed on like an afterthought? Why are some of these bills green while others are blue?
10 of these things.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
10 of these things.
Forgetting to put rebar in these concrete bollards.
10 of these things.
Well, it's a good thing that all of these police officers are bad guys and none of them are actually just innocent men protecting the police station, because this might seem rash.
10 of these things.
Also making me repeat sins already addressed in Everything Wrong with Fast 5.
10 of these things.
Aquaman Origins.
10 of these things.
If you want to do donuts in the Dodger Stadium parking lot, go for it. No security whatsoever, apparently.
10 of these things.
Car becomes suddenly airborne without reason. Ha! That would have been a pretty good name for this franchise. The CBSAWRU.
10 of these things.
You're not afraid of anything.
Because he is obviously a Highlander and these movies won't just come out and say it.
10 of these things.
Imagine paying however many millions to have your foldable phone show up in a movie and prominently feature its obvious crease.
10 of these things.
Ah, sudden Rita Moreno, Grandma is sudden. I checked, so you don't have to. This is her first appearance in a Fast and Furious movie. But she's Grandma, so she's super important, and this is kind of maybe 20% of why I hate these f***ing movies. They just make up whatever the f*** they want and act like the previous movies don't exist, even though this movie opened with a sequence from a previous movie.
10 of these things.
Tej's very funny seat change is undone by the very next shot.
10 of these things.
Look at all those Corona Butt family.
10 of these things.
Also, why doesn't this family ever eat indoors? Do they like ants?
10 of these things.
Making your kid drink orange juice with his backyard cookout food.
10 of these things.
The agency put you in charge, and you said I get to drive.
The agency put Roman in charge?
10 of these things.
Tomorrow, a next-gen quantum computer chip will be transported through the streets of Rome.
And these assholes are in LA today so they can all be jet-lagged during the mission.
10 of these things.
I checked Roman's intel. It's legit.
Well, if you checked it.
10 of these things.
Only thing you know about Rome is Roman noodles.
This movie is over 2 hours.
10 of these things.
But you better watch out. Little man's gonna be a better wrench than any of us by the time he's 12.
I mean, that's the whole point, isn't it?
The point of doing the car drills or the point of having a kid?
10 of these things.
Roman asked if he could lead this mission. How could I tell him no?
By telling him no.
10 of these things.
Just what the f*** is going on here? This grandma character's emerged from the goddamn ether and she suddenly dominates Rock of Gibraltar and shit. It's fishy.
10 of these things.
Holy shit, that neighbor's fence is either protecting the Torettos or protecting the neighbor from the Torettos, and honestly, either is believable. The sin is for that fence being so fucking high. Honey, I'm going out to relax on the prison patio. Okay, babe, just don't try climbing over that fence without the Toretto's permission.
10 of these things.
You will be better than me.
Movie thinks telling your kid you will be better than me is inspirational parenting, when in reality, it's a projective, abusive parenting mindset.
10 of these things.
Doc Brown and Marty don't get out of this car and tell us they're here to set right what this franchise has broken in the timeline.
10 of these things.
Also, shot or not, she could easily have parked parallel to the curb.
10 of these things.
I met the devil tonight.
That's all? I meet that dude damn near every night.
10 of these things.
So after his dad died and he was left with nothing, he somehow grew to a level of power or wealth that he could afford to not only find out who all of Charlize's guards are, but also get to and kidnap people close to each of them? Listen, if he has this kind of power and reach, then this is all theatrics. And he could be in Dom's living room right now with Dom's balls in a vice and his wife in a dunk tank.
10 of these things.
Ingesting the blood of your victims. This is a problem on a whole bunch of levels.
10 of these things.
Running all the electricity in the room through one plug.
10 of these things.
I don't recall anyone calling this elevator. Cypher is a hacker, not a magician.
10 of these things.
Yeah, me and Brian are safe.
Phew. Guess we don't need to worry about them during this international globe-trotting revenge tour against us.
10 of these things.
You and I will finish that driving lesson.
Really? Because at 8 years old, he is really breaking a lot of laws driving a car, especially the way you were teaching it. And you are too, actually.
10 of these things.
No matter what happens, I always keep my promises.
Unkeepable promises about unkeepable promises.
10 of these things.
So can somebody please help me understand how we're pulling off a mobile heist, but I don't even get to drive?
Can somebody please let him drive home so we don't have to hear him be irritated at everything all the time for no reason?
10 of these things.
Well, the sooner we break into the truck and steal the chip, the sooner you get to live La Dolce Vita, okay?
Oh, they dragged Fellini into this.
10 of these things.
And now they will pump gas into the cabin through what looks like the transmission.
10 of these things.
Back is blind.
This armored convoy let you get in between them and just kept going? It's not you guys that are good at heists, it's that everyone else is bad at stopping them.
10 of these things.
The truck's being steered remotely.
I'm surprised that you're surprised, because I had thought that was what was happening all along, considering the driver passed out 20 seconds ago and the truck hadn't veered off the road yet.
10 of these things.
Found it.
I can disarm it with an agency kill switch.
Holy convenience, Batman!
10 of these things.
We gotta block its path.
I'm gonna get ahead of it.
Letty thinks getting ahead of it with this motorcycle will help.
10 of these things.
The truck's about to go over the hill.
We have to crash into it.
Of course you do. And with no further communication, we will both know that means sandwiching the truck between our cars in a Sistine Chapel maneuver. In France, I believe that is referred to as an Eiffel Tower.
10 of these things.
It's not stopping.
I, too, thought friction would have ground these movies to a halt years ago, but here we are.
10 of these things.
Mando cazzo.
How does this cop not see the sewer great move?
10 of these things.
This is not the sewer of a country known for its cheeses and salted meats.
10 of these things.
The wheels don't fall right the f*** off this car.
10 of these things.
The Prometheus School of Running Away from Things Study Abroad class of 2023.
10 of these things.
I can lock onto your location and transmit cellular interference through your phone. That should jam his detonator and buy us some time.
Tej realizes he is a Deus and that he has a Machina in his pocket.
10 of these things.
This thing is still rolling towards its target because Vatican City was designed like a pinball machine, apparently.
10 of these things.
These wimpy Italian cars get thrown around, but not this American muscle car because it's so damn heavy and gets poor gas mileage.
10 of these things.
So the movie is saying he had time to outrun the bomb's shockwave?
10 of these things.
The Vatican has sustained some structural damage.
No lives were claimed.
Trying to make me believe that the people working on the bridge survived this.
10 of these things.
Reminding me that I'd rather watch Captain Marvel and Jack Reacher have a conversation in Cerebro. I wouldn't even ask any questions.
10 of these things.
Street racers who became hijackers. Graduated to high-speed smuggling.
Describing the progression of this franchise, won't make anything that's going on less absurd.
10 of these things.
And at least one nuclear sub.
I love how the dude is using footage from the movies to accentuate his points. Like, in your world, man, where's camera?
10 of these things.
The real question is, how did we let this go on so long?
I asked the same thing, but someone keeps going to watch these movies. And he apparently goes to see it like 35 million times in the theater.
10 of these things.
They've driven to the gates of hell and back for this agency.
I'll give like 1 or 2 cents back if that happens in the next movie. But for now, I'm adding 1 as a deposit.
10 of these things.
We should be standing with Dom and his family. That is the very least that we can do.
Man, she was great in Room.
10 of these things.
The fallout will be existential.
Did he mean exponential? How can the fallout from a violent bombing be existential?
10 of these things.
When Rome falls, so does the world.
But as long as the Colosseum stands, Rome shall stand, and you just showed us that it was fine.
10 of these things.
Any attempt to contact your team will be traced.
You literally just said...
Your team's gone to ground. They're safe for now.
So what the f*** are you talking about?
10 of these things.
These fake-looking trucks driving past your fake-looking mountains.
10 of these things.
Bring God's Eye online.
I'm so tired of the God's Eye in these movies. It first showed up 4 movies ago.
10 of these things.
Earlier, they literally said Mia and Brian are safe. But Mia is right here, Brianless, babysitting little B at Dom's house in L.A.
10 of these things.
Search everywhere. We need them alive.
You wouldn't have to search anywhere if you tried the doorbell instead of smoke grenades. Everything's a nail with these hammers.
10 of these things.
I know she's tough, but these are agency SWAT guys in full riot gear. Come on.
10 of these things.
Here we have a completely unnecessary bar fight.
10 of these things.
Why is this bartender giving the random stranger a gun?
10 of these things.
Beers. 2 of them.
This is one of those tough guy dive bars that interpret the order of 2 beers as Stella Artois and serve them in the branded chalice as they do.
10 of these things.
Nothing's impossible. You just have to have faith.
Tell that to 8-year-old me about to confidently jump off the roof wearing my homemade cape.
10 of these things.
Why do I feel like the kayak on top of this car is going to be revealed to be some kind of heavily weaponized kayak? Or maybe not even a kayak at all.
10 of these things.
In case you confused it with Agency Blacksite, Connecticut.
10 of these things.
Did they need to keep Letty in a cell designed to contain a child of Krypton?
10 of these things.
It's one of those iconic car parties that no fast movie is complete without because family and boners.
10 of these things.
The most wanted man in the world pulls his signature car into a car racing event in Rio and hundreds of spectators cheer, and this is how you get caught. He won't get caught until he wants to, but still, I don't think the agency even needs God's Eye to find Dom here.
10 of these things.
Ball through the city was a bit of an homage to my family's safe, except it was on fire.
Don't act like any of that was on purpose. The only reason it got out of the truck was because they flipped it, and the only reason it was on fire was because it hit those faulty gas pumps completely by accident.
10 of these things.
And I own this city.
This is the greatest scene in American film history. Holy f***.
10 of these things.
So how about we all just start shooting each other and see what happens? Or we race. If you win, you take me in. If you lose, don't lose.
All right, they're gonna settle it mano a mano. Why are there 4 cars lined up?
10 of these things.
I can't believe I'm gonna race the great Dominic Toretto. I have butterflies.
This performance is really distracting. I realize he was probably given notes and direction, but the play it like a 5-year-old hopped up on red Kool-Aid doesn't actually play very well at all. It's not menacing, it's not humorous, it's just distracting.
Kennedy thinks.
The car's on fire, Dom parks directly next to it, pulls the driver out, and then just cuddles her right there next to the burning car.
Kennedy thinks.
Looking this surprised that the person who tried to blow up the Vatican didn't race fairly.
Kennedy thinks.
Every account, every dollar we made over the last 20 years is gone.
This happened to Bruce Wayne in The Dark Knight Rises, and he ended up okay.
Kennedy thinks.
Decrypt the blockchain, I'm on it.
Just decrypt the blockchain.
Kennedy thinks.
The coding is next level.
Next level? Oh no!
Kennedy thinks.
Walking around during live or die heists while wearing several $100,000 of cash money on your person.
Kennedy thinks.
So where do we go to shop off the grid?
I know a place.
Of course you do.
Kennedy thinks.
They drove from LA to Yuma and found a rest stop with this much Daytona 500 swag, even though the United Rentals 500 is right there in Phoenix.
Kennedy thinks.
This movie is 10% shots of this statue, Jesus Christ.
Kennedy thinks.
Your sister smiled with her eyes and led with her heart.
Skip.
Kennedy thinks.
Sometimes I would think that the wrong sister died. Why the good one and not me?
Why, good sister, why?
Kennedy thinks.
A cop and a street racer. I'll tell you something. They traveled down the same road long enough, and they realize how much alike they really are.
Oh, you movie. You would say this about a baker and an accountant if the movie involved quick breads and TurboTax.
Kennedy thinks.
She's still doing it, isn't she? She's still helping people.
Nah, she's dead.
Kennedy thinks.
You started eating this muffin less than a minute ago. Get the out of here with this hallucination starting.
Kennedy thinks.
The hell was that?
You know what it is, bruh.
Movie is just as confused as we are about what happened, so it asks itself a question but doesn't answer it. So I end up asking the internet, which tells me it's a LeBron James reference, to which I reply, why?
Kennedy thinks.
Cypher is able to pull out a wire that overrides reality instead of just shutting it down.
Kennedy thinks.
Why would the prisoner-patient table have access to the mainframe in order to guess? I should have just yelled, God damn it.
Kennedy thinks.
Anyone that thinks those finger movements did anything but order a coffee. They did not authorize this robot to spring into action.
Kennedy thinks.
Here are several seconds of Fast X learning all the wrong lessons from the MCU about how to shoot combat.
Kennedy thinks.
I think I took the bus.
Talking about public transportation.
Kennedy thinks.
Swearing is for song lyrics only and stub toes.
That.
Kennedy thinks.
That's Rosé. Not gonna work. Long story, but good initiative.
This road trip with Jacob and his nephew is fun, and one of the high points of the movie. I'm sure they wouldn't break this pair up.
Kennedy thinks.
Passenger planes with Bombay doors.
Kennedy thinks.
Movie says, you to the previous movie post-credit scene. Justice for Han's hair.
Kennedy thinks.
Should have stayed dead.
I think I might find this awesome if I had any memory whatsoever about the relationship between these two. The only thing I know for sure is that they both died in this franchise and then came back to life, so it's tough to feel too deeply about this fight, if I'm honest.
Kennedy thinks.
You ruined my snacks.
This was written by an AI.
Kennedy thinks.
These agency doofuses are mostly unsuccessful because their plans have zero chill and zero planning.
Kennedy thinks.
Great, he saved Han. Now the internet can safely remove its seatbelt, move about the cabin, and orgasm in its collective pants.
Kennedy thinks.
I only care about protecting the people that I love.
So Dom is Batman now, taunted by the Joker? These movies just get lazier and lazier. Fast 15 will literally be security cam footage of Dom sleeping for 2 hours.
And a little embarrassed you saw my vision board.
Vision board, my ass. This is you dumping your Google Photos account onto multiple monitors. I see no creative goals here whatsoever.
Without family, you got nothing.
Sorry, orphans. They are arresting the #1 fugitive in all the world, but they do not put cuffs on him. If this is Antarctica, how did they dig the massive deep hole and pour the concrete for this structure?
So this guy doesn't just want us dead, he wants to erase us off the planet.
You had to see his detailed plans before you figured that out?
You need to see this.
You better come take a look at this cliche. Since he's angry about his mom being in danger, we're forced to watch him load up on guns for all the sometime. Oh no, it's that girl who's the sister of the other girl and who's only been in this one movie.
No!
How does a fucking helicopter sneak up on you?
You're gonna be okay, Tess. It went clear through.
Cinemalistic ballistics.
And I messed this thing up every step of the way.
That sounds like a leader.
Oh, all the way off.
Ready.
That kid just did a murder.
Dom, there's really nowhere to land.
Who said anything about landing?
Maybe this is an indication that you need to explain your plan better and not scoff at the fact that normal people don't start their day butt-chugging a bottle of NOS. No one can convince me this movie wasn't written by a child playing with Matchbox cars. Also, Dom's car survives this. This kid just climbed out the back of a speeding car to fix a cannon. Why isn't he biting Dante or punching him in the balls or otherwise behaving like a regular-ass hyper child? He's just sitting here like, well, guess I've been kidnapped. For no good reason that I can think of, Jacob decides to die instead of just not dying.
Dom, you got 1 mile left.
Correction, he's got 4 quarter miles left. Dom just threw a burning helicopter at the moving car his child is in, and I'm not getting lazier as the movie goes on. The movie is getting stupider, so that jokes aren't needed, and merely stating what is happening in the film lampoons the film enough on its own. Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got into this mess. The answer is a lot simpler than you might think. I am an idiot.
I'm real proud of you, son.
And I will celebrate as I always do by shifting gears.
Cavalry's here. We got you, Dom.
How the f did these guys with cars inside a cargo plane think they were gonna help in this situation?
Problem is, Amsel's mine first.
Movie twists the titty of this plot so hard that I wish we had established a safe word.
And you're gonna die knowing that you couldn't save your son.
No, he's probably just gonna drive down the face of the dam and everything will be fine. That's what's gonna happen, isn't it? Dom is the best driver in the Milky Way, but he can't see a way to drive around one of these two trucks. If my calculations are correct, Dom is now driving faster than the expansion of the universe, and those calculations were based on every physical occurrence that has ever happened in a Fast franchise movie. Oh, she's alive again too. The people who love these movies and the people who love soap operas don't have a lot of overlap, but that's weird since they are the exact same thing. They made a 2-hour and 20-minute part 1. There is zero resolution. None. Vin Diesel could die tomorrow, and then what? I mean, yeah, we'd be sad about him dying, but this movie never gets its part 2. The problem with this new trend of making part 1 movies is that part 2 is never guaranteed. That and there's no emotional payoff whatsoever. Anyway. Say, Vin, Black Adam didn't really pan out, man, and I need a lifeline. What are the odds you can squeeze me back into the F&F movies? And for the record, I was talking about a different candy ass, not you.
I sped. I followed too closely. I ran a stop sign. I almost hit a Chevy. I sped some more. I failed to yield at a crosswalk. I changed lanes in the intersection. I changed lanes without signaling while running a red light and speeding!
If I'm going nuts, I'll calm down tomorrow. We'll slip the hot can off the pier. If I'm right about this, they'll thank me. Make sure nobody's living in that can when you stack it.
I want all that in here. They said it was me who was screaming. They say most of your brain shuts down in cryo sleep. All but the primitive side.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
You have a hair trigger aimed at your head. What do you do? What do you do?
Remember when I said this car was death-proof? Well, that wasn't a lie. This car is 100% death-proof. Only to get the benefit of it, honey, you really need to be sitting in my seat.
Nope. What, Jess?
I think it was an Asian gang or something. I saw someone, he looked Asian, and he was speaking another language. I'm pretty sure it was Asian.
Hey, where did you get those clothes? At the toilet store?
Hey, man. You just f***ed up your Ferrari. It's not mine.
Think you can shoot at me? I'm a goddamn federal agent!
I am an FBI agent!
Long about now, I bet that boy wishes he had a parachute. Like a piece of cake.
Cut that one awfully close there, Hoss.
Oh, no.
American muscle.
I'm gonna go take a piss.
That's a little bit more information than I needed, Vince, but go right ahead.
Danny!
How you doing, Gino? How are you? Good, good.
So how'd you end up over here anyway?
Well, you know those old westerns? The cowboys make a run for the border? This is my Mexico.
Don't change the subject, just answer the fucking question.
Boy, crazy boy. Get cool, boy. Got a rocket in your pocket.
like the way you talk.
Well, I like the way you talk.
意図やんごとなき際にはあらぬが、優れてときめきたもうありけり。我はと思い上がり、たまえるお本方々。
Jinx is the driving cat, the cat who could drive a car.
I close my eyes only for a moment, and the moment's gone.
You always say that, the same thing every time. I'm through, never again, too dangerous.
I know, that's what I always say. I'm always right, too.
But you forget about it in a day or two.
Yeah, well, the days of me forgetting are over. The days of me remembering have just begun.
Tommy! How's the peeping?
They ran over here. They were followed.
The belt!
Tracks lead away from the battle.
Into Fangorn Forest.
I once caught a fish this big.
Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
I hear your sister is very beautiful.
And your wife moaned like a whore when they ravaged her. Again and again.
What I want out of each and every one of you is a hard target search of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse.
This guy he's Old Testament. Blood, bullets, wrath of God.
Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling.
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes.
The dead rising from the grave. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together.
You realize we're talking about going up against the most powerful guy in all of Rio?
Yes, we are.
Then we're gonna need a team.
You think we need one more? All right, we'll get one more. They say most of your brain shuts down in cryo sleep. All but the animal side. Guess that's why I'm still awake.
Maybe it's because you don't realize how much you appreciate something until somebody takes it away.
Take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel. Know what they say where we're from?
You do not truly know someone until you find them.
You just earned yourself a dance with the devil, boy.
Like I said, I'm here for the team that crippled my brother.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
In a van down by the river.
And his name is John C. Worse, they created a monster.
I created a monster, cause nobody wants to see Marshall no more. They want shady, I'm chopped liver.
I'm bringing Han home.
Chewie, we're home.
They say an open road helps you think about where you've been, where you're going.
Mom always said there's an awful lot you can tell about a person by their shoes. Where they going, where they been.
I close my eyes only for a moment.
Attention, attention, all personnel.
Besides, we have to be it.
Don't just look at it!
He drives around all over the town, chooses the driving cat.
halfway there. Breaking news out of Los Angeles.
This is AC. I have OJ in the car. Okay, where are you? Please, I'm...
Mr. Anderson, welcome back. We missed you.
It's about time.
Showed up not dead yet. Let that be a lesson to you boys and girls. Don't ever argue with the big dog. Big dog is always right.
Dead man! Dead man walking!
That is one scary-ass Decepticon.
Joe, you had one of those Potter houses, didn't you? Well, have you forgotten? Have you forgotten what he charged you for that broken-down shack?
You are 9 hours behind the toughest target you have ever tracked. Now, I want everyone to sit down, strap in, and turn on all you've got. That would mean now!
Every dime that passes through each of the 3 casinos above it, we're gonna rob it.
Smash and grab job, huh?
Slightly more complicated than that.
Oh, yeah.
How are we doing in there, guys?
We're all good in here. How are things looking out there, Nick?
Things are good. Hey, can you not say my name over the radio, please?
Step of your master plan.
Crashing displayed.
Oh, you can!
I believe that's the cyber terrorist known as Cypher.
Cypher?
I know. It's from the Franklin area.
You stay. I go. Give me the case.
Give it a f***ing thing! Give it a f***ing thing!
Мы не можем их ему отдать. Move! You are 9 hours behind the toughest target you have ever tracked.
How'd you get your balls from freezing up?
Got to keep moving, that's the secret. Walking's good, fighting's better, f***ing's best.
You are who you choose to be.
Ebas von Sindicho Uni. I want to buy them all. I will have them all or take none.
Schießt den Fenster. Shoot the glass.
The last time I put a bullet in it.
If you want to get laid, you really don't have to pretend to be interested in the pyramid scam. Go into war then.
I'll give you a war!
We're running out of roads!
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
So say it now. Say it.
Say it! Say it!
First try. It's like dragging my balls across shattered glass. And it hurts.
Formula has infinite depth in its efficacy and application, but it is staggeringly simple and completely consistent.
Virus gets in the wrong hands, that's it. It's game over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
You thinking what I'm thinking, partner? Aim for the bushes.
This sticker is dangerous and inconvenient, but I do love picking.
We come in peace.
I come in peace. My world is fire and blood.
The worst thing you can do to a Toretto is take away their family.
I mean, how the hell do you know who your daddy is? Because your mama told you so.
In the captain's quarters, there's a prototype fin. The thing I wore on my head, there's a drawer next to the bunk. It's in that. It's red. You got it?
I am Groot. He's not your cousin or something, is he?
He's my brother.
He's my sister and my daughter.
He ain't using roads.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Oh, sorry. Oh, should I write them a note?
Okay. First, I'll access a secret military spy satellite that's in a geosynchronous orbit over the Midwest. Then, I'll ID the limo by the vanity plate Mr. Big and get his approximate position. Then, I'll reposition the transmitter dish in the remote truck to 17.32 degrees east. Hit West Star 4 over the Atlantic, bounce the signal down into the Azores, up to ComStat 6, beam it back to SATCOM 3 transmitter number 137, and down to the dish in the back of Mr. Pig's limo. It's almost too easy.
I want 50 of the best men. I want guns.
I want him dead. I want his family dead.
You stay. I go.
They should have sent the poet.
What? He has a piston cup?
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
I'm trying to put Tiger Bomb on this jungle's nuts.
Dom, the bomb is out.
Everybody stay clear.
It's gonna
I'm looking for someone.
I know that some scumbag in here knows one of the guys who murdered my wife.
Nobody can.
Nobody would.
Nobody cares! These movies are terrible!
And then he was like, boom, and I was like, blam.
I went down to the beach and saw Kiki. She was all like, eh.
All right, so where to now, huh? Jail?
Little Caesars.
Coolant leak! We have a coolant leak, everybody!
B, what are you doing?
I am the man who grabs the sun riding to Valhalla! I get a Peter Pan right here